Why, hello and welcome all. It is your boy Niran, and welcome to the Last Lap show for our watch along for the Singapore Grand Prix of 2022. We're a little bit delayed. Apologies for that. Hopefully you've got your coffee break in and all that jazz, and you've been able to have a little sit down, have a snack, boil a kettle, whatever. Drink a cup of tea. I'm not a hot drinks man personally, but whatever you do at home, to get yourselves ready for what is going to be a pretty chaotic Grand Prix. And today I'm joined by Tommo, seems to have morphed into a...
He's got a bit skinnier.
Yeah.
A bit taller as well.
Haydon Gullis. Haydon, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be on here. And I'm very excited. Singapore, one of my favourite races on the calendar. Good to have it back. And it's raining as well. So
I'm going to say, we are due for a chaotic Grand Prix. One of the longest Grand Prix already, and it's going to be even longer now that it is raining. If you've only just joined us and you don't understand what's been going on, basically, it's been raining all day, chucking it down, and the track's very wet, but it's drying out. And we've got Haydon here. We've also got two guests as well, Durk and Cameron. How are you doing, guys?
All right, mate. I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you very much.
It's been a while since I've seen you.
Little hot minute, yeah, bro. Yeah.
Back actually with you.
Yeah. Excited for the race, both of you?
Oh, mate, I'm ready to go now. It's going to be techie. It's going to be hectic. It's raining. Listen, green lights, ready to go. I see some racing. I'm here for it.
Yeah, well, we were very concerned we were going to get Spa 2.0 of sort of last year with kind of...
I still am, if I'm honest with you, mate. I'm getting Spa vibes right now.
Already?
It's drying out.
It's drying
anymore.
We said that last time. Oh, yeah, the weather's passing. It'll get better. Don't worry. Just give it like 15 minutes to have a window.
Don't jinx it, bruv. Don't jinx it.
Where's the optimism, man?
I struggle. When was the last time we had a wet race?
Why are you so sad?
Spa ruined my childhood. Bro, when was the last time we had a wet race? Exactly my point. Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure it was literally like earlier this year.
Maybe
there's one in
full wet.
Monaco
Full wet.
definitely does.
Yeah, Monaco.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, introduce yourself, lads. Who do you support, Dirk? Who are you hoping for a good result today?
I'm a Dan Ricciardo fan, but it's a bit long for us right now, I'll be honest. But Dan Ricciardo, and I'm interested to see how Carlos Sainz does. I'm a massive advocate for him.
Are you getting ready with the Carlos Sainz just because obviously Ricciardo's out next year, so you're like just slowly moving,
slowly transitioning over. I'll be honest with you, but we'll see how it goes. So maybe Dan Ricciardo can make a miraculous recovery today.
Daniel Ricciardo, mate, what are you doing with your life?
I didn't say I was hopeful. You can see the reluctancy of me saying.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad. I
love him. What about you, Cameron?
I'm all about Sir Lewis. If he can do it today, mate, it's gonna be chaotic in here.
Well, he's starting third on the grid. The Mercedes looks decent, but obviously it's raining. A little bit different in terms of conditions.
Mate, he's finally got the wheels underneath him, mate, and it's not like he's any slouch around Singapore. Fresh in the memory, 2018, that god tier quali lap in Q3. Here's hoping, fingers, toes, everything crossed that Sir Lewis gets a decent run. George Russell at the back, he doesn't have to watch behind him anymore. So, listen, here's hoping. Sir Lewis, let's go. Come on, Sir Lewis.
Yeah, you mentioned George. Tough stuff for him yesterday. Didn't even get into Q3. Mr. Consistent. Mr. Saturday.
No, I mean, Mercedes didn't look that good in FP3 on like the Inters. There was a lot of talk. I mean, they've struggled with the whole season. It's why they're good in the races, because they struggled to get their tyres like fired up. So they looked a little bit dodgy with George, unfortunately. But yeah, it's good to see Lewis up there. For me, I'm also, I'm British bias. I backed Sir Lewis Hamilton. I wanted him to get the 8th last year. But this year, we've got different goals. As long as he wins one race, how he's on that streak of winning every season he's taken part in, I don't care who wins the championship.
Absolutely that, mate. Recalibrate your expectations, eh? Just continue the record, please. He deserves it, man. He's had so much bad luck this year. The bloody pit stop, safety car. As soon as one comes out, he's on the bad end of it every single bloody time. And I, as a Sir Lewis Hamilton fan, have had enough. I want to see some.
Had enough. I wouldn't have it, mate. I would not have it, Cameron, if I was you.
I'm not having it at all. We need to see some good luck for Sir Lewis Hamilton, and he's hoping, fingers and toes crossed.
Well, he's got a good opportunity today. We'll take a look at the grid, but he's starting third, obviously, for today's Grand Prix. But Charles Leclerc on pole, very decent qualifying for him. So, what are you reckoning for his chances? Obviously, he's had a few opportunities. To grab wins this season. Has obviously missed out, as you can see from the Drivers' Championship right now. That was on the screen. He's obviously starting pole now, though. What do you reckon about him today?
Well, that's the thing with Formula One. Pole position usually puts you in the best place for the race. But if you're Charles Leclerc and you're in that Ferrari, it just doesn't seem to work. I think he's won 3 races this season, and one of them wasn't from pole. And he's got 7 poles or something like that this season. It's mad. So, yeah, you would think that, George Russell's starting from the pit lane.
He's in the pit lane.
That is going to be...
Change the
That's
engine.
going to be
Took
a
engine
tricky
penalties
one from
anyway,
there.
obviously, for being in Q3.
Difficult to overtake here, but obviously with the wet weather. But yeah, I think, you hope that for this championship with Verstappen a little bit further down, that if he wins, obviously it's going to take it over to Japan and maybe then after Japan as well. It's just so that we get something a bit more rather than it's ended in Japan and then it's like, okay, now what are we
It's not
what are we
happening. I'm
watching?
here to tell you that it's not happening.
It's probably
You
not
think-
going to
you
happen.
think
I feel like
Singapore's
it's going to go...
You reckon Singapore is not going to be Max's? I mean,
No, he
obviously
won't. He won't.
P8,
He won't win it here. I mean, he could. Obviously, the wet weather. We've seen it before in the wet, where the front runners come together. It could happen. Leclerc and Perez, and then Verstappen wins from 8th, and then he's got the championship.
All I'm saying
but
is
it's highly unlikely.
it's wet. He loves wet weather. We've seen him drive in the wet all the time. The chances of safety car are very high, and he'll get 3 positions on the start straight away. Well, then P5, 5 more to go. Wet safety car comes out.
There's a lot of assumptions in there, Durk.
I'm just saying.
there is-
If buts and maybe.
Listen,
So obviously, if this and if that and if...
in the words of the great Murray, anything can happen
Anything can
in
happen.
F1, and it usually does that.
usually Max delivers.
And Nicholas
It's-
Latifi can win this race.
shut up.
4,000
what were the
to
odds?
1.
What were the odds? Yeah.
4,000 to 1.
4,000 to 1 at home, stick a tenner on it.
Yeah.
Stick a tenner on it. We're
Yeah.
actively telling you to do that. But yeah, for those that as well don't realise that obviously Verstappen started 8th on the grid because of a fuel infringement. Just talk us through that one, Haydon.
Well, I think so obviously you go out in qualifying, you're set for a certain amount of run. Obviously, you know this quite a lot. obviously doing the
shut
F1
up. Just
manager
explain
game.
the thing, man.
Running out of fuel a lot. But yeah, so you set a certain amount of fuel, and I think he had to back out the first one because he was held up, I hear, by Gasly. So he had to back out that first one. Obviously, that would have been his fast lap. Then he would have headed back to the pits. Obviously, he slowed down, gone for another one, but they got the calculation wrong, or he just didn't have enough fuel. So if he'd have done that extra lap, he wouldn't have made it back on the pit lane. They wouldn't have had enough for a fuel sample. Therefore, he would have been disqualified.
Yeah,
so it's
had to start
better
from the
to
back.
take the hit and start P8. You're in a championship. You don't need to win the race because you're in a really good position that you can just win it next week at Japan anyway.
I think he would have started from the pits had he not had the 1 litre requisite to not to comply. But I would say this: if you go back and look at the quali lap, he was on a god tier.
It was like
it was a lot.
Before 8 tenths up on Charles Leclerc's lap.
Yeah.
8 tenths just before he pitted. God tier.
What?
He would have dropped it on pole. Would have dropped it on pole. So
Yeah, no, it was a sensational lap, to be fair. It's a shame that he had to back out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the same thing happened to... It's essentially the same thing happened with Vettel last year. Was it Hungary, where he lost out? Was it Hungary where he lost the position because he got a podium, but he didn't have enough fuel in the car?
Yeah.
Same thing would happen there. But he cancelled his lap before to do another run, and I'm confused as to why these engineers didn't say, just finish the lap because we might not have enough fuel for another run.
That's why he was effing and blinding.
Yeah, like I would think that's something that they're monitoring, right?
Fair play.
They should look at that and be like, finish the lap. We don't have enough fuel, or come in. Let's put a little bit on.
They made an uncharacteristic mistake, didn't the Red Bull guys?
Yeah.
But they haven't made many this year.
No.
So you can forgive
We can let them off.
You can forgive
I think the 2 mistakes I can think of from that team and the driver this season were obviously this one, which has cost them, P8 in a championship they pretty much got wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then when Verstappen spun in Hungary and then was just like, I've just overtaken Leclerc, let's do it again the next lap.
He was just bored, honestly. He was just like, might just mix it up a little bit.
Haydon, I do want to pick on something that you mentioned, though. Pole premium. I think this is as good a track as any in 2022, where we're going to see whether the regulations have worked as far as people being able to follow other cars easier, right? Because last year, set up the car for quali, all good, hang on to it through the race, right? This year, you can't run that, right? Max Verstappen started from 7th, 10th, and 14th, and won each and every single one of those races at Bahrain, Monza. Bahrain, what's he on about? Belgium, Monza, and
Netherlands.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, Hungary. Boom.
Yeah.
Hungary. So it'd be interesting to see whether he can nail it through here and side through the field like he did in those races. I'm not 100% sure if I'm
It's
honest.
going to be tough as well in the wet. As well for
Singapore,
first part of the race.
Difficult to overtake, but we said the same thing in Monaco. When I think Ferrari won 2 on quali, it was so long ago. It's been a long season. And look what happened there. So you can't trust them, unfortunately, to get it right. So hopefully they can do that and get him another race.
Ferrari. Here's hoping they don't do around
Well,
here.
we'll see how much faith you guys had in them. We'll check out the predictions that you guys gave for the Grand Prix today. Hayden, you are thinking Lewis Hamilton. Sir Lewis is taking that one. win this weekend?
It's the only track that I think Mercedes, it's their last chance to get a race win, I think, for what suits the car. And as I said, I want him to get that one win. I don't care what happens over the rest of the season. I just want that one win.
Go. Let's go.
That's what's required here. That's what's required.
Can't lie, I'm looking at my prediction. I'm thinking, why did I do that?
Just a lot of faith in Max here, Dirk.
I don't even know why I didn't put Lewis like P3.
How
I did not,
rude, Dirk.
Okay, no, I'm going to stick with what I've said because I knew
You can't change
You
it now.
can't.
No,
You
no,
literally
I know,
don't.
like, listen, what I'm
You
saying
literally
is-
can't change it now.
I knew you ought to be picking the obvious with Leclerc, and I thought, you know what, let's do something brave here, and I went brave, so I'm quite happy with that. And I honestly, as much as I really like Lewis, I just don't think the car overall is going to outpace, especially Carlos, who was having a really good FP session this week. I just don't think that he's going to be able to.
He's very good in the wet, though.
He is. As is Lewis, though. That's the thing. But just one thing. No one rates Sergio Perez. What's going on?
Well, I think the Perez thing, obviously, Red Bull are just going to tell Perez to move out of the way, I feel like. Even though he has a chance of the championship, he's the number 2 driver. It's as simple as, and I think they will just, to benefit Max. Sorry. So even if it's, like me and Niran have got them close together, as well as Cameron there. Obviously, Dirk, you've got them in two big separate positions, but I think we all understand that, Perez is unfortunately going to have to move out of the way.
Haydon, I will say this about Checo Perez. I think people are overlooking him, right? Just a tad. The bookmakers are giving him an 8.3% probability of making the win, and I think they've under-egged that. Here's why. Checo Perez loves 90-degree, these rare limited type turns that Singapore is full of, right? From turn 16 from turn 16 to turn 21, they are all 90 degrees. So you would expect then, if that's something that Checo Perez can do very well, which he can do, very, very nice and smooth, modulated on the loud pedal, he could go well around there. As I'm looking at my predictions, I feel like I've disrespected Checo.
A little bit as well, to be fair.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes well, first or second maybe.
I don't discount Sergio at all in a race. It's just this specific weekend, the other guys have looked very strong. Charles has looked very strong. Yeah. Max, like we saw his pace on his final lap. Lewis is having probably one of the best races this season, and Carlos is one that I never discount because, as you saw in the free practice sessions, he can pull it out of the bag. It's just that Sergio at the moment hasn't performed as well in the last couple of races.
Disrespect, Dirk. How dare you? How dare you take Checo's name in vain?
I respect him. I think he's an absolutely fantastic. At the start of the season, Haydon will know I didn't rate Checo. I didn't think that when he got signed, but I'm also a Alex Albon fan, so when he lost the seat, I was a bit salty, I'll be honest. So there was a bit of that.
The Checo Perez story of the year is one of development, right? It looks like they've developed the car in favour of their best chance of winning, which is, of course, Max Verstappen. But I just think, Checo's thing is always, it's track dependent, right?
Yeah.
His strengths of a driver speak to these rare limited tracks. So again, Singapore is that, Monaco was that, and we saw what he did around there. Victory, of course. So again, let's not. I don't want to discount. Put some respect on Checo's
I respect him. I respect him. I'll hold my hands up.
I think the difference in it is Checo is a great driver, but Max Verstappen is an unbelievable driver.
Yeah.
And at the start of the season, it's new regulations. Max wasn't comfortable with it. Checo and him were even. I think he was even beating him. He got the Saudi Arabia pole, obviously won in Monaco. But then Max started to get more comfortable with the car. And there probably is more development going his way. It's where their future is. I mean, he's signed a whopping contract. He's there for a long time. Yeah. They want to make him comfortable and they want to make sure he's winning. So it's just unfortunate for Sergio Perez because, like I say, he's a great driver, one who, in the right position, maybe could fight for a championship. But unfortunately, where he is, it's the choice between getting race wins or being a midfield runner for him. And, he's got the chance to get race wins. And I'm sure he's happy with that. But, of course, he's a racing driver. He's going to want more. Yeah. But unfortunately, just in the team he is in right now, he's not going to have that chance.
Do you remember, was it Monaco? I think there was a race where he was clearly basically put to the side to let Max through, and he was not happy. And he made that very clear.
I think.
Barcelona. I can't remember the exact race, but I just can't see Sergio being the guy that Red Bull will throw under the bus it can happen, but I don't think he'll take it very lightly.
Dirk, to your point, mate, I think Max has been so exceptional 90% of these races has been down the road, right? They haven't needed to make a decision. I think Barcelona was the only one, and then Baku temporarily. But
maybe Belgium as well, because he did start quite far back, but it was just obvious once he got past that he was just gone.
Clear,
So
they
it's one of those things.
Team orders, mate.
But
Check
when they
that out,
have, he's been very outspoken about it.
Oh yeah, fair, but ultimately he's still moved over. Mate,
argue
know
that.
who signs your contracts.
But you're
who
always
pays
going to
the
have
bills
these
checker.
drivers where there's, you look at Mercedes. Bottas is a very quick driver, and we all saw that at the start of the season as well. Bottas was a very quick driver. He, was able to get poles. He was able to match Lewis in quali, but in the races, he just didn't have that consistency, and maybe Perez is sort of not as consistent as Max Verstappen, unfortunately, but we're always going to get these drivers. And Red Bull don't necessarily need to worry, because if Max wins the race and Checo is still sixth, if the next team is second and third, I think they still get one more point than the next team. So they can still win the Constructors just by finishing first and sixth every single time.
Mate,
Fair
there
point.
you go. How
the reality.
depressing is that for F1 fans?
Yeah, it really is.
Competition.
Yeah.
Nora Haydon.
I mean, well, Max won the Drivers' Championship last year, obviously, in dramatic fashion at Abu Dhabi.
Or has he?
Or has he? Dun, dun, dun.
Max Verstappen.
Kostkappen, yeah. So the big news really this week coming out of F1 is that Red Bull may have majorly overspent. So there's a cost cap, obviously, for teams every single year, and they have to stay within it just to make sure that it's kind of an even playing field for all of the teams. There's been a minor breach, allegedly. I have to say allegedly, or is it? It's not alleged. It's actually. It's happened.
Two teams
rumour,
but it's
still.
Yeah, it's still not
Allegedly
being
for now.
confirmed.
Okay, it's allegedly.
Being
Yeah.
investigated.
A minor breach from Aston Martin, which is quite impressive.
Well, apparently one team has majorly gone over.
Yeah.
One team is
Minor.
That's the rumour.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And
But Red Bull
and
got
the Red
back end
Bull
of
have
it.
sort of, it's come out that it's like 10 million, which would still
As a major.
be inside
Yeah.
the 5%. So that's a minor.
Right.
And then, so it must mean Aston Martin a major, which is confusing because it's like, Aston Martin, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
What was that money spent on, lads?
Horace Straw just spending
helicopters. Lots
They
of-
just
lots
went
of
on holiday.
helicopter pads.
It's parties for days. No, but like it's an interesting one because you have. I'd imagine something like this would be really tight in terms of information being leaked. Because, and I'm just sat here thinking, where's that? Especially rumors as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously Red Bull have gotten the worst. It's funny because Aston have gotten none of this as well. Like Red Bull have gotten the worst of it.
Well,
and
it's
probably
because it
of the
doesn't
World
have big
Championship.
complications for Aston Martin. They were down near the back of the championship.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
they're going to lose. If
Yeah.
it is major, they could be disqualified from that season, maybe this
Yeah.
season, and lose a lot of money and maybe potentially even sponsors as well. Like, it
Yeah.
could be a big hit for them. But the big talking point, obviously,
Is the championship,
it could be results of the championship.
Yeah.
Max could have his points taken away, and Lewis could win. Like, something does have to happen if they did go major over. I'm not in charge, so I will not make that decision. But
But
I
if you
think just-
were
I think-
in charge, Hayden, what would you
Hypothetically,
do?
since we're here now, let's chat about it.
For me personally, I think a fine's not enough because then other teams like Mercedes or Ferrari will look at that and go, to be fair, we have money in the bank. Fine, we'll spend more. We'll take the fine. We're paying extra so much million because they have that money.
Yeah.
And then it just makes it worse for the other teams.
Yeah.
But there's also the talks about, like Mercedes have got enough. If they wanted to, they could fix their car, but they can't spend the money because they've reached the cost cap limit, so they can't make their car better to catch up with Red Bull and Ferrari, and that's just how it works. So it is fundamentally cheating. So therefore, Red Bull were able to cheat to make a better car to then compete with Mercedes last season.
Yeah.
So obviously, Constructors' Championship points obviously would have to be taken away. The argument of the driver is just like, yeah, but Max Verstappen didn't do that,
Yeah.
so it should be taken away from him. But at the same time, he's only in that
He's
position
benefited it
Yeah.
from
because
that, I
the
guess,
car
yeah.
is in there. So
Yeah.
it's a big dilemma. And obviously, I'm British biased, so I don't have a leg to stand on really because I'm going to go more towards there should be a punishment. Lewis would get, if it was to come out, he should have that 8th title. But I can understand from Max fans, they're going to be like, whoa, like he doesn't deserve it. Like he doesn't do, he's not the accountant at Red Bull. Like it's not him doing all the numbers. So
That would be impressive, Jewel. He was just in the
Maybe
car
he is.
sending off invoices at the
maybe
same
that's
time.
why it's gone wrong.
Yeah, maybe.
He's not
Just
good for
hire,
numbers.
just hire someone.
He's an
please.
accountant, and he sat there going, "Yeah, what are you all about invoices?" Just sending it's invoices that we do, you know.
No, I am an accountant. And listen, accountancy can be more of an art than a science. I'll be honest with you, it can be. You can always make an argument for recategorizing. I mean, if they're talking about, I think the forensic accountants, as they're going through the accounts, I think it will come down to categorization of timesheets, right? What we're talking about is I think Red Bull are saying that they seconded out X, Y, and Z employees away from F1 technology. So how much of their time was away, seconded, and how much of their time was actually based on F1 technology? But how do you police this, fellas? This is the issue, right? And this is my biggest bugbear for the longest time. The rules and the regs, the sporting code of conduct, when you read through them, they are written like a 5-year-old has written. I'm going to be honest. This is the truth. The terms and conditions aren't defined. And any sort of rule or reg, any contract that's worth its metal will always have at the outset terms and conditions. We saw it last year, chaps. I don't want to do the Abu Dhabi thing to death. But 2021, what does any car can unlap itself mean? Why don't you switch that word for all and then it's clear? Any could mean anything.
Yeah.
Is there any 5 cars? Is there 6 cars? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Any cars that choose to unlap themselves can do so if they want
what are
to.
we
It's like,
doing?
what are you doing?
But change the terminology, make it easy for fans. Listen, you've done a fantastic job, FOM and Liberty Media, of attracting a massively new a young demographic, right? The 18 to 35-year-olds that they're so keen on attracting that Bernie just spurned. They've done a brilliant job, but you're going to repel those fans if the rules and regulations aren't clearly written and easy to understand for everyone. And this again with the cost cap nonsense that the cost cap adjudication panel are going to review over the next week or so. Again, that's going to be weird. Who's going to be on the panel? Apparently teams vote and the FIA have a vote. Imagine Toto on there, like he's going to smash them, right? So again, they just want to make their lives easier for me by rewriting the rules so it's easy and copacetic for everyone to understand, new fans, diehards, because at the moment it is a shambles.
Yeah. Durk, obviously you are a Max Verstappen fan.
Whoa, what?
You are a Red Bull man.
Duh.
What do you think should happen in your humble opinion? You're running the show right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
What's the deal?
oh, right. Okay. So in my opinion, respectfully, I think that I agree with you. To be honest, there are rules, and the rules should be very clear cut on what should happen. But I think the problem with this is a fairly new regulation, the cost cap. It's only been 2 seasons that's been.
This is the second season.
So I think there is no historical data that we can look at and be like, okay, in the past this has happened, so this should be the punishment. At the moment, no one knows what's going to happen, and that's the issue, because it's a question of, yes, Max won the championship last year, but if they went over, should he keep that championship? But he's not. He drives a car, so he's being reprimanded. But they lose constructors' points, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But in the past, we've had McLaren. They had their issues with the designs, and they were disqualified from the championship. But Alonso and
Hamilton.
They kept their.
I think
their
that
points.
was different because I think if they had won the championship, it could have been a different story. But because they were second and third, it's like in the Drivers' Championship, you finish second and third, it means nothing.
But in the past, even then, Jensen Button and Takuma Sato in 2005, they were deducted points for a regulation breach. So but there's nothing defined for this specific regulation that says if this occurrence happens, then this is the penalty, and that's where it's a problem.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Well, there is, Dirk, but again, it's written in very vague.
It's not. Sorry, my point is, it's
we
not clear
may
cut.
well apply some sort of financial penalty as we see fit.
Exactly.
If it's material, then it's this. Well, define material, chaps. What does that mean?
Yeah.
How material? Are we talking 10% of the 145 million, 20%? What's material?
Yeah,
and again, they've already said that you can spend over 5% of the 145.
Yeah.
So that's 7.25 million. But then what if they spend a penny above that? Are you going to start issuing just be clear?
Yeah.
It's very frustrating, and I just think they owe it to. It's one of the best sports in the world, and the rules, the regulators need to. They owe it to us as fans and the drivers and all parties included to be more specific and explicit about the rules and regs. It's not good enough, lads. Let's be honest.
And I think, and I hate this because there's still controversy on last season, of which everyone's trying to get past because it's almost the end of the next season from the championship. It's happened, but stuff like this is just not helping, in my opinion, because we're forgetting about this season and going back to last season. And I think for me, it puts a really negative note on the sport as a whole. I've always said that motorsport is a competitive sport. At the end of the day, it should be highly regulated, and there should be no situation where it should be done for the entertainment. The entertainment's a plus, but at the end of the day,
mate.
it's a sport. All sports are regulated.
They're turning it into WWE at the moment.
I would like to see.
Let's be honest. The way that it is, it's more entertainment than sport, or at least it has been.
And that's the
You got to
problem,
ride that line. I think with Abu Dhabi, with the safety car, I think red flag for the entertainment, but also the fairness. It would have both been there. And I also think with Italy, when we were moaning under the safety car, obviously it was they followed the regulations.
Yeah,
so they're not wrong there.
Yeah.
But I think there should be a rule change that just would be like, if it's 5 laps to go or something like that, and you don't see that you're going to get back to racing, just red flag it. Everyone can change tyres. They can all go in brand new softs. We've got a 5-lap sprint,
And then
it's there. And it's fair for everyone. And also, we get the entertainment as fans. It's a bit of.
And then
both.
if it's a rule, it's there.
Yeah,
the
it's
teams
there.
know
Everybody
it's
knows.
happening.
It's not like
it's like being made up on the fly.
It's like a safety car. Obviously, safety cars are a thing in Formula One. That Abu Dhabi one came out. Then Max was in a perfect position to pit and be on fresh tyres behind Lewis. That's F1. Like that's what happens.
I don't know,
It's
man.
racing.
So if it's it would just be if it's red flagged, everyone knows what's happened. You've got unlucky with that. If you are like you're leading and then you get overtaken down at turn 1 on the restart, that's just unlucky.
That's where I disagree, though. That's where I disagree. That's where I'm saying there should be a clear-cut line between sporting regulations and it being.
But they are
entertainment.
sporting regulations.
No, but
also
they're
helping for the
entertainment.
entertainment.
for
They are.
entertainment, and that's where I'm very anti that.
But then you'd be anti-safety cars and anti-virtual safety
No,
cars and just
see,
on straight racing.
with the Monza
right?
situation, I was like, I'm happy they followed the regulations that are written. That's
No,
absolutely fine.
yeah.
On an entertainment value, like it was very anticlimactic and it ruined the race. But I'm like, I'm not annoyed that they did that. I'm like, I understand why they did that, but I don't think they could just bring a red flag out just because it'll make it more entertaining.
Just be consistent in it.
Exactly.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's the main thing.
Scrap
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
rule.
Be consistent.
Do that.
That's what I'm saying.
but-
Like, if you rewrite the rules, so next season go into all teams agree, and it's like, okay, from now on we're going to red flag it. If there's 5 laps to go, then everyone knows,
Okay.
rather than just being like, okay, we're going to throw a red flag.
That's what
now.
I mean.
We've never done it before.
If it's in the rules and it is a set rule and it's been, everyone's agreed to it,
Yeah.
happy days.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine with it. But don't just slap a red flag out just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it'll be more
yeah, yeah.
entertaining.
If it's in the rules, then
That's where I'm like,
Yeah.
this is pointless. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, anyway, we are just over 3 minutes away from the start of today's race here in Singapore. I don't know if we've got an update about whether it's going to be a standing start or I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out about that pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, we are in the wet for today's Grand Prix. Last time we saw rain here in Singapore, very dramatic start to the race.
Yeah. One of my favourite team radios when Max crashes and he's like, I've got damage. And he gets hit again.
Yeah, I feel so bad for him, bless him. He'll be hoping that the same thing is not happening today, obviously starting in the pack, starting from P8. What are we reckoning for the first lap here today? Any similar carnage?
I'm gonna say this, it'll be controversial, but I can just see a Hungary 2.0 from the Bottas.
Who is Bottas going into? Name him.
I know you're a Stroll fan. He was part of it. He was a part of it. He went into the grass, but no one saw that.
I'll give you that. He was a part of it. But usually Stroll is actually very good in the wet. Like
Yes, I agree.
that was the 1 out of 10 times. 9 times out of 10, he is usually solid in the wet.
And to be fair to him, he kept it on the black stuff yesterday. He's one of the first one on the soft compound tyres. And he didn't improve on his inter time, but he kept it on the black stuff. Which
I think one more lap and he actually could have done, to be fair.
in and
as
of
well.
itself, that's an achievement. Fair play to Lance.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what tyres people go for as well. Obviously, on the formation lap, we'll go into the grid. We saw Lando, one of the Ferraris, going on to Inters, Max as well, but going off into one of the escape roads. Do you reckon it's going to be dry enough for Inters when we
Could
get
you
going?
imagine if it's like Hungary again? Everyone's driving around and being like, it's actually dry. Everyone boxes but one dry. Just we've got Charles Leclerc this time on the grid.
Honestly, one of the most iconic pictures in Formula One history. I can't lie.
It's Lewis Hamilton's world and we're just living in it.
We are just living in it. We're ready for the formation lap to get underway here. Fernando Alonso starting, what, P5 today? Really
Incredible.
No, P4. P4?
P5.
P5. Okay, yeah, P5. Yeah, no, impressive. I think for me, and I've said it a lot, I think there's 3 drivers on the grid who could fight for a championship throughout a whole season because they're consistent, and it's Alonso, Verstappen, and Hamilton because they have the consistency. They don't make errors. Charles Leclerc can, challenge, but he can't fight for it. As in, he can be in a position to get race wins and start off the season strongly, but there's just a few little errors at the moment, which he's going to learn. I think he has
he'll
the
iron that out.
capability.
He has the ability to.
This is the first one he's fought. Max Verstappen has been at the front for a good solid few years, and obviously last season was the first proper chance we could really fight for it, and he was unbelievable. Finished on 1-2 every race, bar Hungary where he had half a car. So Alonso's still got it. Like, the man's in his 40s, and he's still.
How long do you think he can carry on?
Till he's 92.
Haydon, how dare you praise such a skullduggerous character as Fernando? How dare you? I can just hear F1 Twitter go, no, don't praise for. But I agree with you there, mate. He's absolutely ridiculous. And I suppose his race awareness and his craft is, again, another level. I absolutely agree with you. They're the top 3 on the grid for me still.
And I love his shithousery more than anything.
Oh,
honestly, that radio message in Belgium about Lewis was just sensational.
My God.
In the moment, you've just been launched into the air and you're like coming out with classics straight off the bat. Really, really good stuff. Right, let's see what tyres everybody's
I don't think it's going to be time for dry yet. There's a little bit of spray going on.
I don't think we're on slicks. Don't think we're on slicks, ladies and gentlemen.
And we haven't even got down to turn. Not even down at flooded turn 8 and turn 13.
I want to see what Sector 3 looks like. That's what I want to see.
Raise the question a little bit. I know we always talk about this when it rains and we have a delay. Why do we have wet tyres if we don't let them start on them?
That's what I was saying before we went live. I was like, this is.
It feels like a very boomer opinion to have. I don't know why. It just feels like a very 57-year-old from Pete. From Pete from Grimsby or something thing to say, but I don't know what, but it's true.
There's sometimes it makes sense. I think the Monaco situation when we were all going back under and it was just we're going to go safety car. It's like, why? We've waited till it's dry. You've got 2 lines and one line is going to be wet. It's very tight down in Monaco. One person's going to have no grip. Someone else is going to have grip. They're all going to crash. Here as well, I think we saw big puddles down at turn 2 and 3 on the outside.
I mean, you had to swim
if they're
through
wheel
turn
to
3
wheel,
earlier.
whoever's on that outside is just in the wall. And then you've got everyone on the outside, just a big pile up. But maybe there should have been half an hour ago. Maybe we should have gone. That's when the race should have started.
I think the issue isn't the actual rain itself. I think if they had if the tracks basically clear the water, it'd be fine. I think the issue mainly is waterlogging. That's where the danger comes from, and I get that on that standpoint. But when you've got when you see a little bit of water and it's raining, it's like you send them out, let them drive. But when it's a waterlogging issue, I understand the danger that at that point you just put.
But surely, Durk, that's part of.
Absolutely not, because if you waterlog the car, you've got no control.
Mate, this is the best formula in the world, the best drivers in the world. What, they can't manage? I don't want to do what Niran said, be the old dude at the pub back in my day. They would have sent them out. I don't want to do that. But, mate, they're the best drivers in the world.
Not when you're waterlogged, though. You're going where the car's going.
They can't navigate a bit of water. Mate,
you see the puddles and you're like, I was going to turn left on this puddle and just...
They're the best drivers in the world. Yeah, you think that's too far? I don't know.
Well, a bit of water, mate. I'm sorry, mate.
I see where you're coming from, but when it comes to waterlogging, you're on the right, mate. You have no control of that car. I see what you mean, but you can avoid the curves. But if you're going at 200 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour, you're not seeing that.
What I will say is, I understand a lot more a track like this, where it's a street circuit.
Yeah.
You're asking for a serious accident if you go out too early, and Monaco's the same. But I think sometimes we're a little bit too cautious, I think.
Yeah, sometimes, we are.
Then again, can you be too cautious? If it's for safety.
Lando, they let him go out in the wet during quali. He went up Radion. Lost control.
Yeah, true. Massive accident.
Exactly. That was too far.
That was too far.
And
that's
where the fine line.
Something like this where it stopped raining an hour ago. Then
let them go.
Obviously, I think it was because once it stopped raining, then it started to dry up quite quickly, and the whole procedure was delayed, so they had to go for
let them go.
Fair enough. George Russell sat in the pit lane. He's ready to go out and start from the back.
Squeaky bum time.
Squeaky bum time for Mr. Consistent. I'm still back him to get points. I'm not even sure.
He's finished second to fifth is the only places he's finished the whole season. He had that DNF in Silverstone because he was helping out another driver and said, "Don't touch my car." And the next thing he knows, it's on a trolley. So
yeah. I love that he thought, let me just get back in the car Anyway, we're on to the grid now, lining up. The final cars just getting into position then for the Singapore Grand Prix. Lights on, ready for a start. The 5 lights are on. Charles Leclerc from pole position. We are underway. Really poor start from Verstappen in the middle of the pack. I can see he's been Charles Perez goes into P1 at turn 1.
Interesting.
Lordy Lord.
Oh, well,
Hamilton
that's right.
puts Hamilton by Sainz. He's
Carlos
fine.
has
He's
done
fine.
it.
Fine.
Mate, not the greatest of starts at all there. Who was it, Alpha, that just went on the alternate line all the way off the
They've said
grid?
for the longest time, right, there's something inherent about that Ferrari design concept that means that they can't launch. And we see it again. Charles just bogged down massively, didn't he?
It was quite a poor start. I'm going to be honest with you.
That spray
None of us back Sergio Perez is currently P1.
I was going to say, I was literally about to say that. We all slandered him earlier.
left to go down.
There is indeed.
Don't.
There
we
is
delete
indeed.
live
Anything can
footage. Is that
happen.
possible?
Put some
Start
respect
again.
on his name.
Where is my man? Oh, he's been overtaken by his team.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Someone spun, I think, in the background. Into
What happened to
turn,
Verstappen?
7.
He's dropped down quite a bit. He's behind the Astons.
Yeah, we got really
Was he getting
far. He got
overtaken?
a really,
Was it
really poor
overtaken
start. He bogged down. I saw it immediately because one of the AlphaTauris had to like dodge out to avoid him.
I've had that a few times this season where the car just does not want to launch.
Just didn't get started at all.
Oh, there we go.
He's
Max
going
up
up
the
the
inside.
Jesus
at the
Lord.
Singapore
God,
Singapore
Max
doesn't give up.
I was
does he?
about to say,
Max-
neither of these two.
Magnussen, what that is?
Verstappen squeezed over the bridge and
days.
Ricardo's gone
Someone's
through
getting
now as
a
well
turn.
around the
He's had
outside.
too much time at the front. He's like, welcome to the midfield, boys. We don't give you room round here.
Magnussen.
I tell you what, though, that's new age Max Verstappen, and they're saying he's not evolving, and he's still got a crash in his arsenal. Listen, testament. Look how cautious he is. He's seeing the bigger picture these days more and
Long
more.
race to go.
He's definitely matured since last season. Last season was a different drive. This season is a very mature drive for him.
Yeah.
He
I think-
picks it out nicely.
I think last season, because it was like, you never know when you're going to get a car to win a championship again.
Yeah.
So I understand the
Keenan
desperation
Eager.
sense and stuff like that.
Keenan
Because you,
Eager.
you just never know. This season, everyone predicted Red Bull to not be as good because they were putting so much effort into last season. Obviously, everyone
Yeah.
was wrong, or maybe it was just me. But yeah, like, you never know when you're going to get that chance again. Obviously, this season, he's already the champion. He doesn't need to fight Leclerc as hard because there isn't that desperation there. No matter what happens, he is always going to be a world champion. Unless the cost that comes
To
in.
play devil's advocate, though, Haydon, he's clearly in wheel-to-wheel combat with Charles. He's playing a completely different game to everything that he did with Sir Lewis last season. Very, very different game. And people say, well, he only did it towards the end. No, he didn't. He was on it from Imola. He was overcrowding and hanging Lewis out to dry very, very aggressively, very early on in the season.
Max already making moves, by the way. He's just gone past Magnussen. He's got a little bit of front wing damage, I can see.
Yeah.
There's a end fence.
Now he's got
hanging
the
off.
now he's got the real goat to get past. The boy.
A goat v
Stroll.
goat scenario. Stroll versus Verstappen.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, that's done. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go over.
Textbook
Two
left
corners.
against the goal. That is why he's my goat. He knows, there's no need to fight that battle, you know.
He knows the battle's
Don't-
to fight, mate.
don't
He's an
lose
intelligent
time.
driver.
You know, just get on with it.
Play smart. He's
was
lost a
having-
lot of time there,
was
though,
having a
Stroll.
great
He's
time.
getting
5
swallowed up, isn't he?
Yeah, Stroll there, overtaken by Verstappen. Max already back up into the top 10 after a really poor start. Leclerc is right on the back of Perez, by the way. I saw a message in the chat asking when Ferrari were going to bottle. And
That's already happened.
straight away,
Yeah, he just did not start at the back
I think that
there.
was,
and then the
before the
Astons had a great start.
First corner.
Sebastian Vettel, insane start, comes from really far back, then gets this nice little inside line on a Haas there.
Yeah.
And then also gets Stroll on the inside as well, I believe.
Yeah.
So really good start there from Sebastian Vettel.
Mr. Seb.
Mr. Seb.
Mr. Seb.
I feel lost Seb.
Hamilton got a really good initial, then just had a little
Aston
slip
He
there.
I mean, they've
found
gained
the tag,
Alonso,
didn't he?
but
They have gained Alonso,
that's
but
great.
Seb
But how have
just,
you lost Seb, man?
Seb's just like, yeah.
Seb's
Hamilton, man.
just done with it, I think. You know, I think he's
Yeah.
not been the Seb that we knew from
He's dialed out, mate.
the early 20.
Collected his P45 a couple of months back, didn't he?
And he wants to go do other things, so fair play
Yeah.
to him. And, you know, I think he's being very conflicted in that sort of.
God.
you
Look,
know,
Max
being-
didn't even go at all. Look at that. What happened there? Completely
Yeah,
sacked
just
off
really
the
poor
start.
start overall.
Jeez.
and you're
just
three
not like
wide
that
at
for
that point. Yeah.
Look how-
Yeah.
Look how careful he's beat. Like,
This man,
super cautious.
this man has played F1 Open lobbies. He knows the way through. He knows what to do.
Not
All
that
white
like
into turn
mate.
one. I'm actually good, mate. Thank you
See,
very much.
let's see Perez's start. Mate, look at that.
Same reaction time.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
The grip just far better on the launch. Just didn't have
Yeah,
any
very
slip
well
at
there.
all. Has the inside line.
No
Bish,
issues.
bash, bosh. Job done.
Let's
Yeah,
go
simple,
check
simple
over
stuff.
Roll.
Put some respect on Checo Perez's name.
Some respect.
You know what? You were backing him the entire time that we were basically slandering him at that point.
I'm not going to do the old "I told you so," but
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Sorry, did you put Sergio Perez winning the race in your predictions?
I didn't. But I didn't. But
Jumping
I did
on the
comment.
bandwagon now.
Oh, Hamilton is not happy again, telling his team that he's not happy with the tyres. And basically saying, you need to listen to me.
In future, you need to listen to me.
The problem is, the
Wow.
question I have with that is, what tyres does he want to be on?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have
True,
other
true.
options of
Can I be on the
intermediate.
medium inters, please, mate?
But I was saying, like, Mercedes struggle on the intermediates. They struggle with firing up tyre temperatures, and with the intermediates, that's the issue that they're going to have. They're good on race pace on the dries because they don't overheat their tyres, but they have that problem in quali where they can't get the tyre temperatures fired up. So on the wets, they're just struggling. So yeah, they have no grip at the moment.
Yeah.
But if it starts to dry up, maybe we're going to see them come back into it if there's a safety car.
Yeah.
It can be right on the back.
And realistically, as Verstappen goes up the inside of my boy Yuki Tsunoda, yet another GOAT versus GOAT battle there.
That's let him through, or we're going to rip up your contract.
You know that contract we just go to? Yeah, in a bit, bro. Yeah.
You know what? I'm a massive Yuki fan as well.
Oh, I love Yuki Tsunoda.
He's a good lad.
Obvious last season, he was all over the place, but this season he's really like matured again. He's been driving really well, and even Herman
He
Marcus
stepped
saying
it up to
he's
Gasly.
been
Lots of people have
leader.
talked this season about Gasly's not the same Gasly that we had last season because
Yeah.
he was phenomenal. But obviously, Yuki was coming into it as a new
Yeah.
teammate. I think it's more Yuki stepped up and also the AlphaTauri's come down.
Yeah.
The AlphaTauri is not
And
as good of a
that's
car.
why
as last year.
Gasly doesn't look as good as we have previously seen him. But Yuki Tsunoda stepped it up. And there were people saying, yeah, I don't think Yuki Tsunoda is going to get a contract for next season. And I was just like, I don't know why you're saying that because there's
Yeah.
still the Honda partnership. Plus, he deserves another year. Like, he hasn't put a foot wrong
Exactly.
He
in
also
a way that
improved
says,
at the end of last season.
Yeah, he
He
did.
started match. I think it was after. He had a race where he spun like 4 times.
I think that was Imola. Was it Imola?
that was quite early on. I think
Silverstone he spun, didn't he? Or
there
did
was
he
a
take
few.
it?
Yeah, there was a few races.
Been a bit
where he had
sketchy. He's still got a
I think
mistake in him,
The
let's
mid-stage
be
of the
honest.
season, he had a bit of a.
I'm going to ask a really dumb question. Were we in Turkey last year?
No, that was
Yeah.
2020.
Season before?
Were we in
2020.
Turkey?
I want to say no,
No,
but
2020.
don't quote
There
me.
was a race.
Oh,
where
we
he
did
spun.
Turkey again. We did Turkey 2 years in a row,
Oh,
didn't
yeah, we did. That
Yeah.
was a
I think he
dead
spun
Was
like
it last
4
year?
times that race.
Yeah, 'cause
but
it
then
replaced-
after that, he improved. Someone tell me if I'm wrong.
race.
replaced-
No, I don't think.
It replaced somewhere. It replaced another race.
No, we didn't get Turkey last year. I'm pretty certain. Unless we didn't, it was dry.
I'm
It was
sure
dead.
we did, but then maybe we didn't.
Just
I don't
chat
know.
now. Ask chat. Chat
Oh
with
man, I've made a Mandela effect there by accident. I don't actually work. I don't
I feel
actually
like
know
we
if
did go to Turkey
Three-
last
Someone
year.
let us know if we went to
Turkey
Turkey last year because
I'm
that's
so
actually.
confused.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because Yuki Tsunoda held off Lewis Hamilton for ages last year.
Mate,
We did go to Turkey last year. Yeah, Bottas won it. It was his only win last season. Bottas
did?
won in Turkey.
Hayden
Yeah.
with the
Sensational. Yeah.
Right, well
Anyway, after that, Yuki Tsunoda started matching Gasly, and it's been great this season for me.
as Charles just drops out of the DRS zone as it becomes activated.
DRS is active.
Right, sure. Oh no, that's true. Actually, not with this wet. It would have been. it would have been after lap 3.
There are inters.
Yeah.
When seeing
probably
Spring, why is
Well,
why is DRS
that's
activated?
another point that we need to discuss. Though. Why not activate DRS? It looks dry enough.
It's dry enough down the straights, but obviously, you know.
I think there'll be some corners still. That's there's still spray.
These two have checked out, haven't they?
I was going to
It's
say.
corner.
So,
Checo checked out.
I was
ladies,
thinking
isn't it?
that, but I didn't know how to work it in.
Oh, yeah,
So I'm glad that we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Who needs Tommo? You know?
Exactly. Who is he? No, come on, man.
It's Lance Stroll conducting that train once again, mate.
That's not Lance. That's Seb, all right?
That's Lance Stroll,
That's Seb.
P11, and then
That's Verstappen.
No,
No, you
he's
know
talking
what?
about just the general train along.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Lance Stroll in 11th place right now.
Maxton's a second off, so I wouldn't say that. You know.
It's actually
Yuki's
Magnussen
gonna-
conducting
no,
the train. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
indeed.
saying?
So shut up.
he looks happy, doesn't he? Max's old man, as per
he
usual.
never looks happy. What do you mean?
That's
I
what
know, I know you.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I know what you mean.
Sarcasm has lost the translation.
He's watching his son in P9 at the moment, just kind of stuck behind Seb at the moment. He's kind of. I mean, I said we're only 5 laps in. I'm being a bit harsh here, but the progress is slowed
Sorry,
down
is
a
this
little.
not good enough for you?
It's not
Why
good
are you
enough,
not
mate. No.
winning the race?
No, why are you not leading already?
What's George doing? Is he?
Making a move on a Williams here.
Nailing it up the
Inside of
inside.
Latifi, I want to say. I think Albon spun.
Behave yourself,
Yeah, he dropped
George.
back. Latifi's 4 positions above him, which is weird for me.
Go to Latifi. Yeah, he's lost his drive, hasn't he? I haven't spoken about it on this show yet.
He-
I think
Right.
because it's no surprise for anyone. I think we all knew he lost his drive
Yeah.
before he start
Before
the
he
season.
got the drive, if we're being
Before he
totally
got the
honest, we
drive.
knew he was going to lose
Honestly,
it.
coming into
Great
this
guy.
season, when they re-signed him this season,
Could do well in other race formats,
Formula E.
you know, GT cars or whatever. You know, could
Haydon.
have a
Formula
good
E.
career.
Oh,
Such
you're
a
doing
Formula-
dirty.
Niran,
That is a
have you
par.
watched Formula E?
Formula E.
Latifi in Formula E will get eaten alive, mate, by
I
Giovinazzi.
didn't say he would do well. I just said he could be
He
there.
could go into he could go into Formula E.
Let's not get ahead of
But
ourselves.
you know, Formula One is the best of the best, and when you're beaten by your teammates 3 years in a row, and
Mate, it's not even that. It's that Nick just rocks up off the couch.
Yeah.
So, like,
Good, man.
that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Am I
if you
driving?
wanted any more proof positive that Nicholas isn't for this formula, then you saw it at the
Nick
last
De Vries
race.
had F1 on Series Link up until like he was there ready to record it. He was like, oh wait, I'm driving. Oh, wait, hang on a second.
Yeah,
Wait, which
yeah.
car am I
Don't worry
driving? Was
about
it the Aston? No, the Williams. Oh, I don't think I've drove that one in a good while, actually.
Nick De Vries is
Yeah,
the
remember
guy
a few
of FIFA with the fan who's just wearing all the different
Boots ready, mate. Constantly. He's collecting like Mercedes power unit, like Infinity Stones, like Thanos. It's crazy.
Nah, how he got a sit this season it baffles me still. I'll be honest.
Latifi,
I'm
sorry.
sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure, but the fact that he's kept a seat in F1 for this long
Brings a lot of sponsorship money, doesn't he, to Williams, like the Lavazza deal and
20 to 40 million, depending
Yeah.
on who you talk to through Safina.
But Williams said that they don't need money anymore last season.
Well, because of cost cap, eh? Cost cap kind of makes that
Yeah.
pay driver money a bit less important.
So why are we signing him then?
just maybe just a safety thing.
Yeah,
just
I
one
think
more
it's a
year of
safety
money.
buffer.
We'll just
Then never
grab that and then
on
you're
the
off.
side
lad.
of caution, but I think they've been nice to him, mate. I think he's had maybe a couple of seasons.
It must be a
Over-
great
over
hobby for
past-
him.
Tell you what, he was solid at Silverstone
This is true.
for some reason in quali. He got into
but that-
Q3,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah.
But it's because that Williams car is a drag racer. That's why.
It is a rocket in the straight line. Sector 1, Spa. Oh,
But
Go
I wasn't like he going purple or something.
Yeah,
through
every
sector
time.
one,
Free
like,
flag.
nuts.
Hungary sector 1, he went purple, and then green,
straight in
and
one
then
corner.
didn't improve, he went yellow.
it's very slippery, is that Williams. But
Rocket.
the downside of that is around a track like this,
Yeah.
you're in a
in the mud.
20th and
It was the
18th.
perfect race for Nick De Vries to jump in, and because like there's a lot of hype and everyone's jumped on the bandwagon of Nick De Vries. We've only seen him for one race. Obviously, he's a Formula E champion, but we have Dirk's made the joke of Formula
Two-time
E.
champion.
No, he's one-time champion.
No,
of
it's
Formula
2
E.
times, isn't he?
No,
But it was one.
no, he's one.
He's won F2.
He's one
Oh, sorry, I don't
F2,
think
and
so.
yeah, he's one FE. But you know, a lot of drivers who go to FE are kind of like dropouts from Formula One. So coming into Formula One from Formula E, you know, has a very solid race at a track where the car was solid. It would be interesting to see him up against Albon and see where Albon could have put that car rather than Nicholas Latifi. But you know, it's great for him. He's put himself in the right position, and personally, I don't think he should do any other races for them this season because it could tarnish how you look. You know, at the moment, he looks the best. The best
Good
option for them, and even AlphaTauri want him.
Isn't
So-
he rumoured to be going to
AlphaTauri.
Alpha? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's that happen?
Which I don't understand because they've got so many people in their junior.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, who do you put there? Obviously, Dennis Hauger was F3 champion.
Yep.
I feel
Liam
like he's had
Lawson-
a struggle in his rookie season, but it's a rookie season F2. A lot
Yeah.
of people takes time to adapt. Not everyone's going to be a Piastri or a Leclerc and just win it off the back or Russell. But you've also got Liam Lawson who's doing well in there and other
think
drivers.
Daruvula.
Yeah.
Daruvula is part of them, but I think Daruvula, unfortunately,
Not quite.
Not quite.
He's good. He is actually a
good.
solid F2
He is
driver.
good, but I
I don't
just
think
feel
he's
like
F1 potential.
Yeah, and obviously they want to put people in there that can, you know,
Ready to go.
replace Max if they ever need to. If Max just goes, I want to go elsewhere, then they need to be ready to replace him with a very strong driver who's got a
I
yellow
think-
flag.
Yellow flags.
Yeah, we've got yellow flag out.
Right.
Sector
Do you have
1. Guan Yu Zhou's just
Guan
dropped
Yu
down,
Zhou,
so I'm
yeah,
going to
it's
assume
your-
it's him.
It's your boy.
No.
Shout
He's
out
just-
to
No.
Oh,
Is
again.
it
Is this the
reliability
wall,
again
or-
for that car?
Has he slapped it in the wall or has he
Nah, it's
broken down?
reliability that's by Marshall's
Mate,
post,
that
isn't it?
Alfa Romeo.
Oh.
Yeah.
That looks like.
Oh,
Unless they have
well,
had a crash.
no, that does. Given Latifi's got a puncture.
That rear left does not
I'm
look good.
adding 2 and 2 together here. I'm getting 4.
Where's the front left hand plate gone?
That's a very interesting incident. How's he managed to
Has
damage
he-
the back and the front?
go
Has he
TC
smashed
again.
into my man,
Oh,
Joe?
mate.
Has he taken out my man?
Hey, what if it was Zhou going
Oh,
into
he
him?
would
Like,
never
listen.
do that. He would never do that.
This is going to be interesting.
He only does that in open. obviously.
Yeah, I was
He
going
only
to say,
takes
I'm
out
pretty sure
drivers.
I've seen him send it into me a few times.
Oh,
So Guan Yu Zhou getting out of the car, then he's officially out. DNF for him. We've got yellow flags out. Do you reckon we'll get? He's by a
Well,
Marshall
it could be
post.
Surely.
a virtual though, because here it's slippery. It's easy to lock up and go down
good shout.
deep into the corner there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout
He's
out-
quite
Yeah,
far off.
Shout out to Zhou Guanyu as well for getting his
I don't know how-
contract
it
extended.
must have been a
yeah.
crash or something.
Shout
'Cause he
out.
could easily just go, as he hit
Here we go.
Latifi, or Latifi hit him.
So it's down into turn, what, 4?
I reckon Latifi's going to turn left here and go into
He's
the
not
right
gonna give
looking.
him any space,
No
isn't he?
mirrors. No mirrors. What?
Latifi!
Oh my God!
So
What
poor.
a
What are
nutsy.
you doing,
That's
son?
really, really poor.
That's a Lance Stroll vibe incident right
Oi!
It's
Get
a
out of
Canadian
here!
thing.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah,
How do
so-
you not look at your mirrors when
One of
you're
my
going?
drivers is out, and you're slamming
You know,
the other one.
I-
What are you doing?
Yeah, so Guan Yu Zhou's obviously expected some room on the outside down into turn 4. Latifi's just not seeing him, squeezed him into the wall, and
Love to hear what Latifi said. Oh, what's he doing there? He just
Why is he trying to overtake
What are you
me?
doing?
My
Yeah.
wheel feels a bit dodgy for
Just
some
doesn't
reason.
I think I hit a wall,
no
guys.
awareness at
What are
all.
you doing?
Reminiscent,
Yeah,
reminiscent of
black
the
and
incident
orange
he had earlier.
yeah, I was
eh?
about to say front wing change.
So he must have picked up damage quite early on for that.
Is that yellow? Is that a VSC or is that just
No,
a constant
no, I
yellow
think-
flag?
There you go.
Perfectly
Full.
I'm just sat there going, what are you
Full
doing?
as well.
You're just
There's
going to keep
only a
that
matter
yellow
of time.
flag out.
They
and
do take a while to bring
Yeah.
out safety cars and virtual safety
Mate,
cars, which
thing-
does worry me.
There's
Mate.
a delay between what because we saw Haas pit. I think we just didn't see the graphic like in time.
No, but like we get the graphic when they get the graphic of the safety car, and we get the knowledge at the same
And he's
time.
only
he's
just
just
left.
gone-
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
And
gone.
yeah, so the safety car hasn't been deployed, and we've seen this the last couple of seasons where they are quite slow with
Yeah.
safety
Make a
cars
decision.
and virtual safety cars coming out because a lot of the time if you see a car's bogged down, it's like we're not moving this; it's just safety car.
But Haydon,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
the
yeah.
but you know the modus operandi of the race director already. They're keen to play on.
Advantage ref.
Play on every single time. Yeah. Yes.
All I've seen.
Sensational stuff. Sensational stuff. Well, Latifi's in with his broken front wing and his puncture.
It's all right. He can pay for that.
Just
Has he actually got away without suspension damage? No,
Is
he's
he
just
out? He's out.
The guy at the back's gone like, nah, it's done, mate. It's done.
Done.
It's done.
And
you
Wrap
know what?
it up.
And you know what,
There
fellas?
actually isn't anything wrong with the car. They're
I
like,
was just about to say the same thing. I was just about to say the
do
thing.
it again.
Just sack it off,
It's
lad.
safety car. He's going to be close to other drivers.
Yeah,
It's not worth the risk.
That's not.
Wow.
This is for safety. He's the non-safety car.
It's
You
really,
are
really
a hazard
unfortunate.
to everybody's health, Nicholas. Let's just sack it off.
I have been mocking the boy on my F1 manager streams all season, saying every time I see a yellow flag, I'm like, Latifi, and most of the time is the game violates him so badly, bro.
They coded him so.
And I'm watching this thinking, maybe it is just what it is, and I feel bad, but he's just he's turned into a meme of the season, this last 2 seasons. It's really unfortunate.
There's worse drivers out there. There's worse drivers we've had on the grid. But
Don't
like I
agree,
said,
yeah.
he is, he's just
You've
not cut
got
out to be.
Latifi.
I was going to
He's just
say
not cut out to be.
Keen Hayden. Who has been worse than?
Oh, well, I think a driver for Haas last season
has won a
potentially
tournament.
up there in the list.
Named.
Fair take.
Yeah, I mean, Formula One always has paid drivers. It always, well, it might not now anymore because of the cost cap, but you have paid drivers that can be good. Pastor Maldonado, for example, paid driver, very inconsistent, but on his day,
He was
can win
decent.
a race. Like, he won a race.
Yeah.
I will put my hand up for Lance Stroll as well. On his day, he can put it on pole position. He can get podiums. He can potentially even win a race in the right car.
Extremely rare,
But-
though.
There's the consistency issue that it's like, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 10, which one are you going to get? Are you going to get the good Stroll? Are you going to get the bad Stroll? And
Yeah.
as a fat Stroll fan, I can admit that. But you are going to get on his day. He's going to be,
Oh
George
no,
Russell says,
George!
I've taken your seat, and now I'm going to take your front wing.
Oh no!
Thank you very much. I'll take it all.
But yeah, with paid drivers, like there's
that-
a lot of them on the grid. Even Lando Norris, had a lot of money from his dad. And you get a lot
Yeah.
of
Pay driver is not a new thing.
It is,
Schumacher
it is.
even,
It's always
Michael.
existed as well.
Yeah,
It's always
it's an
existed.
Schumacher was a
sport
pay
to get
driver of
into.
sorts.
I think this is the thing. You literally have to have money to get into Formula
Yeah,
One. Everyone
you
is
do.
a paid
yeah, of
driver.
course.
to
You
an
have to get
extent.
it.
Of course, it's a
Even
myth.
someone like Lewis Hamilton, his family didn't have money, but they benefited from Mercedes and McLaren helping them out. Even Esteban Ocon,
Yeah.
someone who didn't have money, sacrificed a lot, but then managed to get into a program that helped them out massively.
Oh,
Get there.
mate, the
Lando
dream-
Norris,
the dream
for example, I used him because it wasn't like he paid for his seat, but he got testing in
was
junior formulas
talented,
to
yeah.
get more experience. And with anything, the more you practice, you go play football. If you're just rocking up for the first time ever, you're not going to be good. But if you've practiced for 7-8 years, you're going to be at a
10,000 hours.
Because
Yeah.
even
Mate.
karting is so expensive.
10,000 rule.
You know?
Right.
10,000 hours, mate. You've got to get it in. And the dream to be an
Master
F1
anything.
driver can't happen otherwise.
We've got a comment here saying the record of safety cars in Singapore continues. Is that
Yeah,
a
every
safety
year.
car in every
Yeah.
single
Every
Grand
single
Prix?
year.
An
Wow.
average of two. An
Average of two.
And again, we've been there since, I want to say 2008. 2008, 2016, I don't think we went. But yeah, an average of two over that time.
Yeah.
How long away do you reckon it is from dries? Because there's no spray coming off those cars. Obviously, we've got a McLaren
On the
now
alternative
using
line, yeah.
the driving
Cool
off
it
line
down.
to cool down the tyres in
Yeah,
the wet
yeah.
area. How long? Obviously, you don't want to go too early, especially around here, because you lock up or something like that. You're in a
don't-
barrier.
The problem is, it's kind of like yesterday where there's
Slippy, though.
patches that are
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really wet still, like down towards where is it?
Turn
The
eight.
end is like sector 2, like start of sector
Safety
3.
car ending, by the way.
Yeah, safety car in at the end of this lap. It's still very wet in certain situations. So
Yeah. You run offline on these slicks and you're just done for. But
You've
that is
seen,
Formula
like-
One. We see it. As soon as there's a dry line forming, you have to stick to that dry line.
And it's interesting that it's been safety car. Nobody's, as of yet, come in
Yeah.
for a cheeky pair of...
Don't need to because you're going to two-stop at the end of the day, aren't you? If it goes dry and you stop now, you've put yourself at the back of the grid.
But I mean,
There's no
get
point.
the free pit under say. I don't know. I
You
thought
won't-
it was
you're
some
just,
of the...
you're just losing positions.
I've won a lot of F1 Open lobbies by pitching under safety car and taking that gamble because I know what the weather's doing.
As have I. Don't you get me wrong. I understand it. But in this situation, remember Turkey 2020 into slicks from Lewis Hamilton? Stayed out the entire time.
Sometimes it is better
Risked
just
it.
to stay. But that track was zero grip. Like there was
Yeah.
no grip, so it was better just to basically be like the old days of Formula One where they had the tread on the slick tires
Yeah.
instead of.
yeah, it was such an abnormal surface, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think in this situation, though, specifically, because of the fact that, as Haydon mentioned, there is going to be a dry line forming, and there's a question of when they're going to go. There's no point dropping positions by pitting. You're not going to gain anything from. You may be a little bit faster. I get that, but if it dries up quickly after that, then you just stop for no reason. It's just
I think if this safety car happened 3 laps later, I think you'd see someone gamble.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's just a tiny little bit too wet in certain areas. But,
you wanna be-
into this, for example,
Yeah.
you know.
But it's the line thing because you can see the dry line.
forming, it's
But
coming.
at normal
Still spray.
tracks,
There's
there's a bit
just
of wet
still spray,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
At normal tracks, if you go a little bit wide, you can maybe run off, use a bit of runoff there. Here, I mean, there isn't runoff. You're in a concrete.
And I suppose
barrier when
around-
the race is done.
Around here as well, mate, you make a really good point that this is a story of track evolution since they haven't been there since 2019. So every single lap they're going round, right? They're putting more rubber on the track and the racing line, of
They
course.
said goodbye.
becoming
I
more
would-
racing.
That McLaren
This
just said
this
goodbye.
safety car has.
Bolted.
What's going on?
It's gone.
Bolted. It's gone.
Back to racing.
Yeah, we're back to racing, but there's some massive gaps between.
Yeah, what happened there? What?
The
Wow.
pack has just not closed up properly here. Lewis was on the radio saying that the safety car didn't actually switch his lights off.
And they
So I don't know if
backed
that's a bit of a howler from Bernd Mailander as to not actually switch, and everyone just thought we were still going for another
Mate,
lap.
yeah.
Surely they communicate on team radio.
Standard near, and after they picked up the wrong car at Monza, it's just you got to expect it. Eh?
Yeah,
Standard.
no, fair enough.
Sometimes it's just a bit of a meme sport, isn't it?
It really is, isn't it?
Sometimes it's like, this things happen. You're like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. Verstappen has managed to get past Seb.
Yeah.
So at least he managed to stay close to a man in front of him.
Send it, Seb.
Could you imagine on
that
the
far
inside?
back.
He's not here next season. He doesn't have any allegiances. He doesn't care. Just dive it up the inside.
Although Seb is handy around here, right? The most winningest
Yeah.
driver with,
Yeah,
with
five
five
wins,
wins.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just remember that race in I think it was 2013. It was a late safety car, and then within 15 laps, he had a 30-second lead, and that was the first. Because I used to be, I was when I was that age, I'd listen to the British media and just be like, "Yeah, I don't like Vettel either. Yeah, he's winning everything. I don't like him." And then I watched
British
that race,
bias is
and, my
strong.
whole family as well was just like, "Oh, I hate."
But he was
hate him every
incredible.
time he gives that finger. I hate
Oh,
him.
mate.
And then I watched that race, and he just built that gap, and I was like, "This guy's actually phenomenal."
Oh, mate, he was incredible.
Yeah. You
what
just
I'm
have to
talking
allow it. Lovely
Yeah.
move, by the way, from Verstappen on Pierre Gasly. Just
in
there to
that
move up
in
into
that Red
seven.
Bull,
7, yeah,
he was
lovely.
sick.
No further action,
Ricciardo.
by the way, apparently, for Verstappen and Magnussen's little clash at the start.
Okay. Was there a big clash? Oh,
It was just going across,
didn't
yeah,
it?
just going
Yeah.
across
I don't know
Yeah,
why I'm laughing.
thingy.
I was just saying
F1
Ricciardo's
wows
fit,
fans
but then
for
I just
Singapore.
realised where Lando is, and I'm thinking,
I
it's
mean,
not comparable.
chaps, are we going to talk about the underperformance of Danny Rick? Are we even allowed to?
Can we not?
I mean, on average, there's like 10 places between Danny Rick and Lando Norris at every single race. Man,
It's tough. He found it tough yesterday as well in qualifying. I do.
He's a
It's
great
a
driver.
struggle really because I do genuinely think that he's a genuinely solid driver. he's, for whatever reason, just doesn't get on with this car. And I think if you put him in a different one, I think you'd see somewhat of the old Daniel Ricciardo back. It's just he's got to take a sabbatical.
Yeah,
take a year
because
off
he is such a likable character. I think there's a lot more people are unhappy with what has happened because he is such a likable character.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people sympathise with him. You know, say that would happen to someone further down the grid who doesn't have a big social following or anything like that, then they probably would understand it. They'd see the results from the last 2 years. Yeah, okay, he got a race win, he did a phenomenal job that weekend, but one flash in the pan, it's not good enough, unfortunately. So I agree, they're a business and they're a team. At the end of the day, they need to be fighting at the top. And when Lando, who's got what's the percentage of the points that Lando's got?
Mate, he's far down
75
the road.
plus
It's a joke.
percentage of the points from McLaren. You do have to kind of look at it and unfortunately be like, okay, what do we do? And yeah, okay, he had the contract, but as we saw with Sergio Perez being kicked out of Aston Martin Racing Point, contracts don't mean anything in Formula One.
No.
Yeah.
What if it's just Lando is just that talented? Maybe the car is just subpar, but Lando is just genuinely an incredible. Because Lando is admittedly an amazing driver. He really is. Like the things that he's been doing in that.
Yeah.
And have you ever watched his post race or his last year's post race interviews? In fact, no. Earlier this year's post race interviews, just slandered the car, man. He just absolutely talked like the complete nonsense, and it was bad. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Like how much he was saying, we're just nowhere. We're crap. This car can't do anything.
The upgrades that I've got that Danny Rick doesn't have around it don't even make a difference. The car is slow.
But
says Lando, what's the point?
Even then, he's still been driving incredibly well. And I think
Danny Rick or Lando?
No, shut up, man.
I'm just clarifying. I didn't know what you were talking
We're
about.
not talking about Danny Rick.
The thing is as well, because they're a midfield team, and the midfield is so close that if you're 2-3 tenths off your teammate, that can be 5-6 positions.
Yeah.
And then they're stuck in that train, and he's stuck back there. So Lando is. That's the thing with Lando. Like, yeah, they've been able to match each other a bit in qualifying, but Lando's been able to put it.
His
he's got
race
a podium. He's the only
crazy.
person out of the top 6 drivers who have got a podium, like out of the top 3 teams who's got a podium.
It's a completely different season this year, isn't it? The top 3 have just dominated.
Yeah,
in terms
exactly,
of podiums
yeah.
and stuff. So it's impressive.
In the first season, by the way, the new regs that were intended to do exactly the opposite, of course.
Close everybody up.
I said before this season, I was like, there's 5 teams fighting for this champion. It's going to be Alpine, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull have just said, bye-bye, everybody. See you later. Ferrari have said, what are we doing? Like,
I know we've talked about like Lando. I think Niran, we've talked about in the past where we've talked about what he's going to do long term. But I'm sat here thinking, I know that Lando will probably want to go long term with McLaren, but at what point do you go, this team is not going to be able to provide me a championship winning car and he's going to have to jump ship and go somewhere else?
When Lewis leaves Mercedes.
That's
You
the
reckon they're going to nab
truth.
him?
I don't know about nabbing, but I think he'll be interested. That's just speculation. I think maybe he'll look at that seat, and you've got to see where the teams are at the time as well.
Yeah.
If McLaren are they've made great improvements this year. They were back of the field in Bahrain, and now they're I think they are best of the rest with Alpine. There's a good battle between those 2 teams.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what McLaren can do to step it up and close the gap. But if they can't, then maybe one of those top 3 teams is going to be a tasty option.
I think if I'm Mercedes, for me, because Lewis, you're getting maybe 2 seasons more out of Sir Lewis.
Yeah.
Nah, he's going to his 50 as well. He's a Fernando Alonso. He's going.
I would love that, but he also has 94 different hobbies that he could pursue.
He's got 94 different hobbies that he could pursue.
I'm waiting
He could do them all at the same time.
I'm waiting for him to drop that album. I can't lie.
I'm waiting for him to drop the EP. Lewis, make it happen, fam. 2029.
Playing Doctor Operation,
Yeah. No, obviously that is something that Mercedes have to prepare for. And if I am Merc, I'm looking at Lando and being like, that's.
He's a viable option. He's a very viable option.
I've heard rumours in the paddock that there is a F4 driver who is signed for Mercedes Academy, who they are looking at replacing Lewis within 3 years.
What about
An
Frederick
F4
Vesti?
driver.
Wait,
F4,
hold on.
So he's going to move into F3
What
or
about
F2.
Frederick
That is
Vesti then?
very far. He's not good.
You don't rate Frederick Vesti?
He's not good enough.
He's not good enough.
Nah.
He's not.
For Mercedes.
Where is he? Where is he in F2?
He's I think he's like 6th, 7th. But
For me, he's never
been
stand out
fighting-
of being at the top of a
He's
championship.
been fighting for podiums in
Whereas
some
George
races.
Russell going into that has won pretty much every junior formula that he's done.
But you can't.
You know what it
compare
is
Georgie's.
about.
No,
But
yeah,
that's the sort of driver that they're going to want, isn't it? They
yeah, I'd
want
agree.
the best of the best.
The thing about F2 is it's so cutthroat because there's just no seats available. I always say if you're not challenging, like Guan Yu Zhou to me is an exception. If you're not challenging for a title in F2, seriously, like you're not top 3 in the championship within 2 seasons, you're not good enough.
So like a Theo Porsche Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, you literally
Yeah,
know
you
the
have
Star
to.
Boys are literally the only
always said
guys
as well,
that are
two
good enough.
seasons, if you're not fine for the championship, if you have a third season and you're still not fine for the championship, you're just not cut out for it. But again, for me, I said at the start of the season, I really was quite harsh on Joe. I was just like, Bottas going to wipe the floor with him, I think.
Joe-
Because,
I've been so impressed with Joe.
And
Yeah,
I have as well.
legitimately,
Like,
hold my hands up.
the first part of the season, he wasn't on the pace with Bottas. He was off on the quali, but he kept consistent, was not putting the car in the wall, was getting more data, more experience.
Yeah.
And now, I think he's pretty even with Bottas, if in all fairness, maybe even doing
agree.
better.
Yeah,
Not
when
just
Bottas's
because he's
form's
now
dropped
I
off a
know
bit.
him a bit more.
Joel's in F2 for like 4 years though. But
Yeah, exactly. But that's
Yeah,
the
last
last
two-
exception.
last
But that's
2
why
years
I
was
said
very
it,
good,
because
yeah.
he'd never won an F2 championship
No.
and never took it
But
to
he was always
a
competing,
final
like,
round. He was always
He was
competing.
always sort of in the
round.
top 5, like with 2 races to go. He was
Yeah.
like mathematically in with a chance, but he was never like the front
Yeah.
runner, like grabbing the championship by the
And that's what I based my thing off. But now it's made me realise, okay, maybe there are some exceptions that can come into it and do a really solid job and do a great performance. And he's definitely deserved his renewal of his contract for next year.
yeah.
I tell you what,
1000%.
fellas, can we? I think we've missed the trick here. Can we put some respect on the driver that Danny Rick was once upon a time
Oh, yeah.
at Red Bull when he came in there brand new, fresh, and completely destroyed 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. He
Yeah.
was once upon a time the next one. Very
He
similar
was
to the way
driving
you
the
look
season
at
that year
Mate,
as well,
1000,
2014.
yeah.
Driving
very
the season.
similar to the way that we look at Max, right? The next
Yeah.
generational driver who's going to take the mantle from Lewis when he retires.
He's the one that
That was Daniel, but again, probably made a bad decision in much the same way
Yeah.
that Fernando
100%.
If
has.
Max Verstappen was never
the wrong team.
conceived, he would be winning the championship last year, and he'd be fine for the championship this year.
Max Verstappen was never considered
Sliding doors,
on that
eh?
one central evening.
Or would Danny Kvyat be winning the championship?
Wow, yeah, exactly.
He did beat Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, he
in the
did. He
season.
did.
I
Just this
agree
for
with you there.
Kvyat.
Danny Rick was the one that made me go, you know what? I enjoy watching from him because that Red Bull
Under the brakes.
Baku
Mate, he was
2016.
ridiculous.
Mate,
Dive
some of the
bomb
moves he was
extraordinaire.
making. Oh,
Yeah,
Very
crazy.
similar to the things that
Fighting
Max
that.
is doing. Like from miles back, right? A completely different piece of track he was pulling off the moves.
I see that space. I'm having that space. Thank you very much. See you later.
He was incredible. It's a shame. Needs a stable rear, does Danny Rick. That's what he needs.
So I'm just still wondering when we're going to get to dries round here.
Fellas.
Because this track is just so static, mate.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's usually the case with Singapore. It's one of those races where I don't know why we love it so much, because not a lot really goes on in the race.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because there's always going to be a safety car that you never
Yeah.
know what is going to happen.
Spectacle.
Because
Yeah.
it's not like a Monaco where you watch a hot lap and you think, wow. Like Monaco, it's still close to the barriers. And same with, I think, Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
that
mate.
circuit is just incredible to watch a hot lap on. Like
Spectacle.
Max's lap last year, if he'd have finished it, would have been a better lap than Lewis's
did.
lap in Singapore.
Oh,
Like, it would have been the
Oh,
best
yeah.
lap.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
even
yeah,
get me
yeah.
onto it, because listen, Twitter will come for you. How dare you speak so glowingly about Sector 1 and Sector 2, as I have done in the past. But no, they will come for you, Haydon. Be careful, mate.
That's one track that genuinely makes me scared to watch.
Oh, mate, it's
I can't
incredible.
watch that.
The
Jeddah
onboards.
scares me to watch.
That
Bro.
Max, let's talk to it for a second, right? That Max Sector 1, Sector 2, every time I watch the onboard,
It was just clipping the wall.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
The hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. It was okay. So he stacked it, and the mistake was a very bad mistake.
Yeah.
The unforced error towards the end, but I mean, in
How else do you
isolation,
find the limits?
Overlap was just sensational.
I was watching that quali with my girlfriend. She's Dutch, so she is a Verstappen fan. So as you can imagine, things were quite tense last season. And I remember watching that, and I'm like, I just hope Lewis stays on pole. And I'm watching that, thinking, oh my god,
done.
please no, please no. And I'm just looking, make a mistake, no mistake, no mistake. It's perfect. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is insane. Like,
I was watching it all.
how is this not going to be pole?
Yeah.
And then I did have a big cheer when he did put it in the wall, and I was laughing at her. But
Are you
It just was like.
Are you still together?
we are still together. There was a lot of tension. Monza, there was a bit of an argument after that one, and Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi was fine because she was very happy. So it was nice to sort of enjoy it from another side. Just see how Verstappen. No, but see how like Verstappen fans. Because I remember when I'd watch some other fans react to like when Verstappen won, and it made me not feel as salty to the result, because to see how much it meant to them, like them crying and all of that sort of stuff, like of joy, and it'd be like, do you know what? Okay, I feel bad, but this feels amazing for all these sort of people, and that's how it was when I was watching Abu Dhabi with her.
We
Mate,
had a
I
very
rate
different
you at the
conversation
extent of your empathy, mate.
we had a very different conversation last time about this.
No, I cried. I did. Abu Dhabi. I cried.
That was
tough.
Very sad. Heartbroken. How do you mean cars can unlap themselves? What are you talking about, Mike?
No, we can't do this again. We can't go into this again. I'm sorry. We can't do this again.
It will be talked about for years. To be
will
fair,
be.
I would love to see like a documentary, something made like, I don't know, like 20,
if that-
30 years
if that-
in the future.
if they
And I
make
feel
a
like
film
people
from
who are inside now,
Yeah.
outside of it, even someone like maybe Christian Horner and Max would be like, maybe not Max Verstappen because it's obviously his championship, but maybe Christian Horner because he obviously, at the moment, I respect what he does. You know, I don't like him at what he does because I don't agree with it all the time. I'm like, you're just chatting shit all the time. But he's got to back his team. He can't just come out and be like, yeah, no, this and that.
You know
because he's got to back
Who
his
would
team.
you rather in the trenches with you, Toto or Christian? Be honest.
Toto's
Toto's
got more
built,
fight.
though. Have you seen him? He's
Like,
a
look at
man.
that man. Like,
was
Toto's
about-
wham.
I was about to say, just physically, just in a
Yeah.
physical
Bro.
battle of like actual scrap. Like, we need
but
to
the
I'm
man
standing
who's going to
behind
back
Toto,
you
bro.
to
Like,
the death
yeah,
is going to
sorry.
be Christian Horner. Like, he is going to back
I
you.
don't even blink, chaps. Christian
Listen,
Horner every day.
I would rather
You having
work
a
for
laugh?
Horner than Toto because I reckon Toto beats you. But I think if you work for Christian, he takes.
beats you,
not like
I
that. Not I mean like a stick of beating, but what I mean is like Horner takes a lot of blunt for his team. I've never seen him like say anything
Like last season,
that.
with the Brazil thing, when that wasn't like a penalty, and he's just like, yeah, no, he got to the apex first. It's like, what do you mean?
no, it's just
He
I
doesn't
can just
care.
send it for a mile back. As long as I get to the apex first, it's fine. But, you got to respect that. He's
You know, there's a
team.
line, if I remember correctly, in Drive to Survive, Christian Horner, again, probably the star of the show right at this point, Spice Boy and all that, Christian. But there's a line, there's a line where he goes, if you really want something, you'll do anything to get that. And I thought that just, on his epitaph, you just want to, that is...
You will
he's-
spend all the money, even if you don't have enough money, Spendy Spice will go for it. All right?
And he's called it, he was on Beyond the Grid and he said it's more the accounting championship than it is a sporting and technical challenge.
Yeah, no, he saw it
Mate,
coming. He saw it coming.
it's all in
Chat,
there.
what do you think? Who would you rather work for? Christian Horner or Toto Wolff? Who would you rather?
I'd rather work for Horner than Toto.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
working
Who's
for Toto would
backing
be
you in the
What
beats
about Bonotto? Who would you?
Are we even going to do that, really?
no, there's just no need. There's no point.
Has he even been, I haven't seen him. He's been AWOL this weekend.
Not far from Slick.
Lando was just saying,
Man like
actually.
Silas knows.
Now,
Nino.
how are
Shout out
Ferrari going to
Silas.
mess this up?
Man United
Will
again.
they
bring
go
him
to
in.
full wet?
Don't even look at him.
Slow button on, wet tires on.
Toto.
Watching George Russell here in P16, he's not making his way through the order, and I feel for him.
Yeah, he's got the Hamilton
Self-fault.
experience from Imola. hasn't he? He's got the Hamilton experience from Imola.
Yeah,
where he just got
yeah.
stuck.
He's
Go-
just not making it through.
Go on then, chaps. Who are we backing? If not George Russell to go in and put on the slicks first, I think that's a half decent shout. George
I think
probably.
just send Latifi back out on slick, see how he does.
Just three wheels. just like, yeah,
three
just see
wheels,
what
drive
happens.
around.
I don't know. I can see someone like Ricciardo or Stroll going out first.
Someone has to do this soon.
Yeah.
Someone has to do this
I don't
soon.
think none of the top three are going out first.
And, it,
going
and, it's,
first.
and it's going to be interesting, right, lads? Because whoever does switch on to the red labelled soft compound tyres first is going to be used as a guinea pig by the rest of the field, right? All of the pit rate, the guys on the pit wall are just going to be looking at those
data,
splits
the deltas, the
straight
deltas
away,
are gonna be
compare and
looked at.
contrast.
Yeah.
I think whichever team doesn't get a lot of airtime, it's going to give them great airtime. Just send the car out. Just go, our sponsor's going to be happy now. Yeah, we're laughing.
Mate, if I'm Williams,
That's Williams then,
if
basically.
I'm Duracell, I'm on the phone right now.
Send
Get him out
Latifi
in
back
drive.
out.
1,000%.
How about you get pit for softs? Why? Why are we doing that?
The Christian Horner shaky leg.
That's because they don't know what they're doing as well. Like the Ferrari mechanics are like, are we going to get a call?
Do you know
We
what I
don't know to do.
rated so much yesterday? That's the first time that Ferrari went, Charles, come on, we're going to pit for softs. And you just went, no. And I rated that. It's the first time I've seen him this year just being like...
But what happened ultimately? You put them on, didn't you?
He put them on.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. That's not the point, though. He did
Put
it.
them on.
But he...
Good little boy is sharp.
Carlos...
Does what he's told.
I watch F1 TV quite a lot, and I listen to the radios heavily. I love listening, and the way that Carlos talks to his engineers and the way Charles talks to him is very, very different. Because Carlos really dictates what he wants,
Yeah.
and he'll argue every single point.
And that's what Charlie's missing, right? I had an argument with somebody that almost you want to take the best traits from Carlos in that he's the race awareness, the ability to think in an agile way.
Decision making
when
is
change
really good.
His call in Monaco to stay out, and it was his
Straight
call, and
to
it was the
softs,
right call
exactly.
because
So-
everyone knew it. Even the commentators knew it.
So
Everyone knew it was the right
And
call.
therein lies the point, right? You want to take the best traits from Carlos and pair them with the absolute raw speed of Charles, the
Yeah.
ability
Yeah.
to deliver on
Yeah.
a qualifying lap. And
And I think
there's
any
your
other
Ferrari
team,
driver.
you'd be right to maybe be like, why are you questioning all the decisions all the time? But because Ferrari unfortunately, they just have a habit. They have a stigma around them that they just make the wrong calls. Like Vettel for the last few seasons, it would be a meme that he's this, he's that, he's engineer for the team, he's a tyre delta, all of that sort of stuff. And it's just, you have to question everything. You have to be like, you have to have knowledge of what you want to do, and Carlos does it really
At the end of the day, you're the one that's driving the car. You're the one that, you have a feel. You have
Listen,
to make that.
I think you've been very kind to Ferrari there. They've been a walking, talking disaster this season. Everything that they could have got wrong, they have gotten wrong, from strategy, operational. It's just and even Mattia Binotto, after a catastrophic race, comes out in front of the world's media and says, that was a good performance. What are you talking about, Binotto? What are you watching?
Is terrible.
Because you're not watching.
You say the same thing, obviously, of Christian Horner. Like, you've got to back your team, but as long as he's going back behind the scenes and giving them bollocking, but I don't think he is. Like, that's the thing. Like, he can do it in front of the media. Be nice to the team, obviously motivate. But if you're not going into the background and being like, right, we need to fix this, then that's where you got a problem. I just don't think he can do that.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he is either. But they and let me play devil's advocate. They have got, Mattia has to manage conflicting demands, right? Banco Santander, being a title sponsor, aren't looking to see Carlos Sainz being subjugated to the role of number 2 driver. And he should be, because Charles is the guy that's going to take that team forward, right? So how do you manage that, right? How do you manage the shareholders and balance that conflicting demand? I don't know.
Quick one, we might
Be
have
a
missed.
team principal.
Yeah.
Max is having some gear issues. It looks like lag on the upshift. He just said on the radio. Maybe that's why he's struggling to get past Alonso.
Little gearbox gremlins, just like an update on Max date.
Blaming lag in real life.
He's lagging. He's on like 500 ping in Singapore, bro.
There's a radio from last year. It's just saying the gears are lagging. And I remember him streaming. I think I need to clip that for my streams, man. That's so good.
Nah, he's P7, still just stopped behind Fernando Alonso. And he was asked a couple of laps ago about the conditions and said it was too early for slick still. So he might be on these inters for another maybe 5 laps before someone tries something, maybe.
Just so
There's
long.
no
I've looked at the
spray,
lap,
is there?
we're 20 at 61.
Well, this is the thing. It's the longest Grand
halfway.
Prix. It's the longest Grand Prix of the year anyway, even without some rain and the odd safety car. We're going to reach the 2-hour limit just off the bat, to be honest with you.
So. You've had a safety car as well, so.
Incoming some effing and blinding from Max in short order, surely, if he's got a...
Incoming crash gate. Let's go. Make it happen again, lads. Let's do it. Why not? Nelson Piquet just jumps out of nowhere. He's in the wall.
Send Nicholas Latifi back out and put in the wall again.
No one will suspect a thing.
He's already lost one wheel. Why not lose another one?
No one will suspect a thing. We're getting constant fastest laps, though, by the way. So the times are coming down.
Ooh, the mediums are getting prepared.
Here we
Or it's
go.
the bluff that they're going to call. I wonder if Lewis Hamilton's going to call it. He's going to do it again.
Nah,
All right. Yep. Box
It's,
for mediums. Everyone else box
I
for
just
mediums.
feel like
He stays
Mercedes are
out.
the worst ones to do that because, like I say, they struggle with firing up the tyres. So the undercut, obviously this year, because you don't have the tyre blankets, your tyres are just going to be really cold. We've always seen it. They come straight out of the pits and, the overcut is usually better because you can fire up your tyres a lot quicker. So the guys that are still in the inters are still going to have temperatures, whereas especially going from wet to dry, it's going to take you ages to get those tyres working and get them into a good position.
What's wrong with using Russell's not in the points at the moment? What's wrong with using him as a
It's a fair point, but if you get lucky with safety cars and stuff like that, that's what I think that what Mercedes kind of need to do is get a bit lucky. But I just feel like,
But then you're taking the luck element out of your control. Whereas here, you're taking calculated gamble. If you jump on the mediums, it might work. If they work, then it'll still be better than 16th than he is now.
he ultimately has literally nothing to lose.
Essentially, you may as well just use him as a...
there's 17th and 18th there. He could lose
but
2
There's
positions.
17th and 18th to
All the
lose.
glory drivers have been 17th and 18th in the past, man.
Could be overtaken by Albon, and then it's clear to see that Albon should get that Mercedes seat over Russell because
Oh my
Albon's
gosh.
also been destroying Latifi. It took him
Brilliant.
less time to get a point in the Williams.
I love the
like
logic.
clearly.
Just
we
missed it.
missed it.
Verstappen
Somebody has put it in the wall.
Verstappen's
gone
got
past Alonso.
Yeah,
And
Somebody.
Tsunoda.
no.
There's yellow flags in sector 2 right now.
Alonso.
and-
Gasly's got it. It's
Alonso!
Alonso! Alonso, Verstappen, Alonso.
Alonso and Tsunoda, they just done the same thing.
I wonder if
on the track.
What's happened then? Because Yuki's lost like 3 places in one there.
12.
Rolling the point.
That's a long radio. Someone's getting
Oh
pulled off
no,
right there.
Fernie. I
Do you
feel
reckon there was
devastated.
contact with Max, or do you reckon he just had a problem?
No,
I don't
I think it's mechanical.
Where's he gone off? He's gone off down the sling.
12.
It looks like he's just gone straight on.
It's
hasn't he?
a shake of the head. It
We've
looks
got
like it
a
was
safety car. Now then. Now this is where you gamble, surely, lads.
Oh, I can't
If
disagree with
it's
that.
dry enough, yes, but
I don't think it is.
I don't know. He's kind of like gone straight on. So has he
I
gone into the
reckon-
barriers,
So
or has he
he
just
stopped at
parked
turn
it up?
10, but
I reckon
we
he
obviously
tried
haven't
to
seen a
defend too
replay
hard.
yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume it's something
I'm
mechanical.
gonna guess his brake late to defend an overtake from Max and just kind of miscalculated
Let's
the
see
braking.
if you are
no,
wrong.
he's just
I don't
overcooked
know,
it.
he's
Look,
not-
nowhere near it.
Nah, he's just problem.
Oh no, yeah, technicals.
mechanical
Oh,
issue.
poor
Again.
Fernando Alonso.
It is
Poor
actually mad
Fernando
how
Alonso.
he's been performing so much better than Ocon this
He's been
season. I'm
smashing
pretty
it.
sure Ocon's still beating him in the Drivers' Championship.
Teams
just
let him
because
down.
He just doesn't have
Cars
the car.
let him down.
No wonder he wants to leave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alonso's
right,
not
mate.
season has
Aston's
been
looking
shocking.
so
Even though
much
they are the
What happened to Yuki?
So Yuki's gone off on his own, hasn't he?
better.
Oh,
Well saved.
His
Well
hand came off
saved.
the wheel. I think he's gone into anti-stall
Yeah,
by
yeah,
accident.
yeah,
Yeah,
good shout.
he's an anti-stall still. Can't get the car
Unreal
going.
save,
There
but
it
yeah,
goes.
ended up going into anti-stall, so he's lost 3 places.
Oh.
Russell is in.
It is Russell. Ah, there you go. Hey.
Durk is hired
I
by
am-
Mercedes as their chief strategist.
Get me in. Get me in.
Chief strategist.
Maxon's already pit, hasn't he, for that?
Yeah. That was earlier on. So George in. What's he putting on?
It's gonna be mediums, surely.
Full wet.
It's it is a set of the mediums.
Yeah.
Yellow stripes.
So now
clear. Yellow flags.
he's going to be the eyes of what am I talking about? He's
The
going to be
eyes of the world.
Everyone's going to be watching
guinea
him
pig
now.
settings for
Yeah,
George
what
Russell.
I'm trying to say.
Let's have a
Ears will
look
be
at
burning.
that sector 2 on the outlap. That's
Everyone
what's
got
going to be critical.
I love. This is where I love F1 TV because then right now I just be on the data page just looking eagerly
Yeah,
at these
yeah.
times, bro. I
Yeah.
love that.
Purple
You know what
sectors,
I use F1 TV?
Deltas.
Yeah.
Bro, the data is
don't even know-
glorious.
Big slide out.
I didn't even know you can get F1 TV over here.
There are. You can.
There is.
Oh
There is.
my! What a drift!
The power
Too
slide.
soon.
He's lost. He's like, you know what? Let's just put a show on for the fans. It's been a bit of a boring race so far.
Right, someone get the Tokyo Drift music out because that was sensational.
He's trying to get the heat in the rear tyres. He's just, drifting around.
What's Max saying?
Yeah, guys, I don't think these tires are working.
It's like, George just got on the slicks and he's doing donuts, so don't worry about it.
So that's not going to help. To your point, Haydon, about putting and keeping temperature in those medium tyres for Mercedes. That's not going to help.
It will put temperature into.
Oh, the
It will
slide
also
specific-
burn them a
That
bit
well,
quickly.
yeah.
And it
on the
also
rear.
put temperature into the wall when he hit it. So
Fire, air, and deg.
that's the only problem.
He had
Oh
zero grip.
no!
That's
Too
Too
soon.
early. It's too early.
This is looking like Lando Norris Russia vibes right there.
Do you mind?
I'm sorry. Just wanted that nibble from you
Excuse
there.
me, sir. Excuse me.
Yeah,
let's
this
watch this
slide is
again.
crazy through there.
That catch was
Get it round.
sensational, though. I can't lie. That catch was brilliant. Look at that.
Yeah,
Fair play,
baby.
sir.
Lovely
Oh,
Fair
that sort of
play.
gets you going, that does. That's beautiful. An F1 car shouldn't drift, but why not?
Ah,
Let's go.
he must have loved that.
Yeah, George saying no grip on the radio. He basically backs it into the fucking turn 3. We're back to green flag racing now. This could be one of those where people stay on those like worn out inters that just lose a bit of tread
And
for a while.
Turkey 2020
Into
into
slicks,
slicks.
It could be into slicks
It is a
one for a
thing.
little while.
that was exactly the same at Monaco, right? That's what Sainz pretty much did.
It's definitely the best
Sainz,
thing
by
to
the
do.
way, how are Sainz and Hamilton 15 seconds off the lead? By the way, Perez and Leclerc have checked out here.
They have.
You reckon
They
George is
have.
going to brave it and just stay out in the mediums at this point?
I think you have to. Like,
Oh, you
what's the point?
can't come back
Yeah.
in. You can't come back in because he's going to get dry eventually. So
He's made his bed and he's got to lie in it. Unless it does go, into slicks, then maybe you have to come. But then at that point, you've also got too much grip. So I think that was the problem that a lot of people had on Turkey 2020. Is a lot of people then went, okay, I'm struggling here. I'm going to have to pit again.
Yeah.
And then you just got too much grip and you're just worrying that. Whereas Lewis was just like, yeah, we're chill. Same with Checo.
because then you reach this like area where you can't pit for new tires because the inters aren't worn, so they're going to be too overheated.
Yeah.
and the dries don't give you enough heat, so you're almost in this weird like
No
middle
man's
part where you
land.
need a middle of like something that's in the middle.
We're saying we need a brand new tire.
Yeah, we
to
need a brand
slot
new
in the middle.
into slick.
Into slick.
We're 23.
Hey,
laps into this one, I just thought it would be a good time to maybe get our predictions up and see how we are doing in comparison.
I'm 3 out of 5.
You're 3 out of 5.
I'm 3 out of 5.
Let's have a
Look
gander.
at
Yeah, you are.
me. Put some respect on my name.
You are severely wrong with Max Verstappen.
Listen,
though, so I feel like you need to take points
If only
off.
you
Swap the Red
those
Bulls
two
around, I'm sorted.
You're nearly good.
Yeah.
you actually would have been sorted.
Why have I not
Give
got
it
any
time.
green on
There's
mine?
still a
That's
long
bad.
way left to go for Sir Lewis Goat Hamilton to get P1.
After I called Perez so nicely as well. Look at my
you-
predictions.
So Haydon, you've got Leclerc correctly in second place. No look of that changing right now. I've got Sainz in P3 correctly. Cameron, what is
Mate,
going on?
Long
the
day. for you.
F1 gods haven't been kind to me. After my spiel about Checo, it's not going so
Thing is,
well.
there is potential for that. And obviously, if we do start getting pit stops, the order could change. You know, Leclerc pitting maybe a lap early could make all the difference if we do get to dry conditions.
Max fastest,
Is
158.
it spitting? Is it
George
raining
is
again?
saying.
No,
Oh,
must
okay,
be
fair
spray.
enough. I was going to say.
Getting a little bit wet in the car.
George is just saying that. He's like, just put me back on Internet. It's raining, I swear. It's raining. Just listen.
Keep an eye on Delta, 18.1 seconds. I just keep an eye on that because if it does start coming, never mind. So I just saw it go from 18.1 to 18.7.
It's done.
But that's the shout,
So,
though.
Dirk, you said that they should go to be the guinea pigs and go to the.
Yeah,
the
no,
meetings.
he's
How's
the
that
guinea
worked out for them?
pig, right? He's done his job. They have the data. It was a bad call.
Fernando's watching the race, just chilling.
Oh, no, that's going to be.
that's a meme when it's
I was
happening,
just
isn't it?
about to say.
Yeah.
Just like the one of him at Brazil on the deck chair. That's.
Wait for my Aston Martin's car to get here.
That Marshall's just sitting there, just like, I really want to chat to him, but I don't know what to say. It's like, just.
I'm going to get an autograph. 350th.
So,
Grand
what are
Prix
you
there.
doing here this weekend?
Yeah. Are you racing?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
imagine one of them ones. 350th Grand Prix for Alonso, and it's ended in depression. Yeah. Bit of a shame for. That makes him the most raced Formula 1 driver.
does
though.
indeed.
That's Kimi Räikkönen, I'm pretty
350.
sure.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
this weekend. What a way to market.
What a way to market.
What a way
That's
to
where
market resigning at a P6.
it either usually the driver wins like one of those races or they're out. Like
Yes,
it's
yeah,
one
yeah,
or the
thousand,
other.
thousand,
I remember
yeah.
Button's like 200th race. He won that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, for most of them, it's just like, yeah, you're going to get a DNF. It's just luck of the draw.
Oh, Checo.
Aston Martin are having a great day, aren't they, mate?
They are.
All the
Yeah.
points. What's going on there?
Goat in
What's happening?
P9.
What? What are you seeing that I'm not seeing here?
He's in P9. He's great.
Oh, I heard P1, not P9. I was like,
No.
what?
time.
No, having a great day. Fair play on that. I was just looking down the board and I was just thinking, wait, hold on a second. I don't remember the last time they've both been in points.
Shout
Now,
out.
Aston Martin have had a couple of races this season where they've just sort of randomly stumbled into, like, Vettel grabbing sixth, I think, in Baku?
Yeah.
Or was it
Can't
Monaco?
honestly work out what kind of track suits them.
They
no, I-
are a P11 team, and that has frustrated me so much this season
Yeah,
because
I
Lance
remember
Stroll
that.
would always finish P11 and it'd just be one place off points. And if you're 11th, you might as well be where Latifi, Alonso, and Joe are right now. You might as well be out of the race because you don't get anything for it.
I disagree.
And
with
then Vettel, fair play to him, when the car's been able to, be good, he's been able to put it up there like Monaco and Baku. He's been able to put it up there. And that's obviously where he's got so many points from. But Stroll just, it's been painful. P11 all the time.
P11, P45 for Seb Vettel.
Ricciardo's in the
Bless him.
points.
Love
Good
him.
now.
day. It's a good day.
Can we talk about Ferrari and why Carlos Sainz Jr. is
He's always
so
been a bit
far
like that,
behind
though. I just
Charles
feel like this
Well,
season.
I wouldn't say he's so. In this race he is, but I
you
wouldn't
having
say.
a laugh, mate?
I feel
We've
like
had-
most
look.
races he is unfortunate. I feel like Leclerc is that driver who can put it up there. For example, I want to put it back to Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, where Verstappen and Leclerc were brake testing each other for the DRS, playing DRS chicken, and still Sainz was 15 seconds off. When those two are slowing down each
Yeah.
other and battling so much,
what-
you've
that-
got to be there to capitalise.
that? And that's bonkers, mate. That's a chasm between the two. Look, we've had safety car and all sorts, right? What's the delta? 11 seconds between the two of them.
It's been
But
15
that's-
laps, I think, from the safety car, Max.
But-
So that's
ooh,
the second
yellow
allowed.
flags.
Yellow flag, sector 2.
That's
Is that our
outrageous.
boy George?
Now
mate.
that's going to be a safety car. Unless
yeah.
you can get unless you
It's
can't
not
get out.
actually Albon.
Oh,
During the
got
virtual
it out.
He's
safety
got no
car,
wing.
I've got nothing left.
Reversed.
Incredible.
during that virtual safety car, they actually got Latifi in, and Yeah.
Latifi's gone out. Yeah, he's put it in
Do
the
you know
wall.
what? They're more streamlined now. They're going to be quicker down those
Yeah,
straights. Look at that.
even faster.
It's still going to be a yellow flag because they need to get rid of the front wing as George is approaching.
Do you know what? I
Albon in
think
the
F1
background.
cars without front wing looks quite cool.
They do look.
They
Also
do.
would be a big...
It just looks like an Indy car.
Yeah, would be a big baton if you go like side in on someone. Just
Oh,
definitely
Jesus
punch
Christ.
the car.
Yeah,
I
just
reckon
punch a
it should
hole
be-
in it.
On
I reckon
safety,
it'll be a
maybe
VSC.
not.
I think it's going to be
I
a VSC.
think it's VSC, yeah, because you've got to get the front wing off. The track.
Or is it safety car though? Because the field's quite spread out, so the VSC might be quite difficult to get a master out there. I just want a safety car because I want it to bunch up the pack a little bit.
Well, how's he done? Oh, is he?
Straight on.
He's just gone straight on. Fair enough.
He's just halfway. He's like, I'm not going to turn anymore. Do you know what?
Just simply the slowest
helps.
incident you've ever seen, isn't it?
This helps out Russell so much, though, if there is a safety car.
Yeah.
I was going to say, to go back to your point on Carlos Sainz, though, Cameron.
Yeah, we've got a virtual safety car, by the way. Just been confirmed. VSC is at.
Carlos has been very, very, very clear that he's not happy with that car. Since the start of the season, he's been like, I don't like the car. But last season, when he had a car that he was happy with, he was faster than Charles. But he was faster, and I think
Towards
He
the end
had
of the
more
season.
points than Charles, but when both drivers were in the top 8, Charles always finished ahead of
There
them.
you go.
I understand
Don't
that.
let the
Pretty
points,
regular.
don't
Charles-
let the points change.
It's
Charles
like
wasn't-
Bottas v Joe this season. Like,
Yeah.
There's a very clear
Yeah.
reason why there's a difference.
Virtual
Raw
safety.
pace alone, I think Charles is the faster driver, and I'll agree with you. But
Yeah.
as an overall driver, for me personally, I think Carlos, if you give him the right car that he's happy with, I
Science for me
think
is the
Carlos
same
is
as
up there.
science for me is the same
Is that what you're
as.
saying, really?
Genuinely,
That
if you
is
give Carlos the right
outrageous.
car,
He's got the right car.
I think no, he's been very clear. He's not been happy with the car.
I think
he's
the
not happy with it.
F175, we can all agree, is a bit of a diva. You've got to hustle it along, right?
Yeah.
Very tail happy. You've got to be careful. You saw Charles lose it. You can stack it in that
Yeah.
car. And because Carlos is his dad's son, right? He's
Are you gonna say he's a rally driver now?
Mate, but you see, those are all the incidents that he has. They're all
Yeah.
like very tail happy. He loses the rear. Carlos isn't that guy, bro. Let's be
No,
honest.
He's for me,
Carlos.
same as Sergio Perez. I said he's a great driver,
Yeah.
can win races,
Yeah.
but is not consistent enough to be a champion.
I agree right now, but I think give Carlos a car that he's happy with the setup and he's happy with the drive. I genuinely think he would contest Charles most of the time. Not every time, most of the time. He would contest.
That's going on someone's wall. I'd take that home with me. That's going on that marshal's wall. He's like, no. I saw when I went to Spa, I saw someone come up to me who recognised me. He said hello, and he was just like, "Look what I found on a marshal's post." Just showed me some like F2 front wing. I was like, "That's mad."
Yeah, take it home.
Yeah.
We're back under green,
Carbon fibre.
by the way. So the front wing's been gotten rid of. No one pitting. I mean, it's just not.
Just down
Russell's
one
ready.
over.
35 seconds off of the next car.
How's he done that when it's been a VS? What? He's lost like 50.
I think because obviously Albon's pitted as well, so I don't know if there was a gap between Albon and Magnussen or whether. But yeah, those mediums just aren't working.
Nah, they're not. It's just too early. Wait, 34 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
that's what
19.
you see what I
Sorry,
mean?
Yeah, sorry, I was zoned out there for a second.
Just lost like 10 seconds out of nowhere.
Max has got his racing line on right now.
I was just
Trying
about
to
to
catch up
say.
to Lando. Oh, big slide through there.
Too much curb, mate. This is going to be interesting. Lando's not going to want to. He's not having this from Max. This isn't going to be an easy overtake to pull.
I
know the
reckon,
interesting
they went
thing?
clubbing the other week and they were like, you know what, Max, if you end up behind me, I'll let you through.
The mad thing here is that, like, if Max actually gets Lando in the next, I don't know, few laps, could get on the podium pretty
Yeah.
easily. He's only 10 seconds off Hamilton.
Good shout.
After that,
Oh, Lewis on
he's
the
probably got
radio.
the pace for that, realistically.
Well, you can't hit for dries, Lewis, because we've seen it doesn't work.
Yes.
That's the reply from the engineer going, what do you want me to do?
They literally have all of the data. George is in your team, mate. Like they know everything.
I'm losing too much time behind this guy. Well,
All right.
overtake him then.
Nah, it's a tough round there, to be fair.
I need more power.
Yeah, it's not just brake later than the other driver and then make
And then
sure you
change
get
the line.
through
Yeah,
the corner
yeah.
first.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And,
You raise a good point. They should actually
Yeah.
just do that more often.
It's
mate.
like
I
in
don't know
football
why.
when people say I can't score, just put it in
Oh, we've got Ocon off here in sector 2, yellow flags. Is that another breakdown or has he gone off?
I think he's gone off because he's reversing it back up.
So that's,
Well, that's a very odd place to go off, though. That's the
I think
hairpin.
I reckon the top.
He's looks like he's gone wide, like he's gone too deep. He's trying to get it round, and he's just
power unit. Oh,
he's
yeah.
smoking. But I don't know if that's
Is
just
that
on
the
the car
brakes?
being stopped.
Might
Yeah.
be the brakes.
That is spicy.
Has he glazed the brakes again like he did yesterday?
They were having issues, weren't they, Alpine?
He glazed the brakes.
with their brakes.
He glazed
So
it.
was it? I think it was Ocon was having issues with keeping the brake
Right,
pads
yeah.
up to heat.
It looks like he's more rolling backwards than reversing. I don't
Russell's
think
in
this is,
neutral.
yeah, he's
Russell's
literally
just
neutral.
gaining positions. You know, this might work out for him.
Yeah.
He's into P15 now. He's taken 2 drives. Albon's out, by the way. I didn't know he retired.
Yeah, no, he's done.
He's out. I
I
don't know.
really
The
hope.
three laps was a weird
Going
sound,
on.
but-
Okay.
I hope he hasn't glazed them again. That's really poor form. You shouldn't. F1 drivers shouldn't be glazing discs.
That's
That's
something you do in baking, isn't
That's
it? So, you know, don't down the Formula 1 track.
it's just poor form.
Krispy
mate.
Kreme.
Is it
brakes.
yeah. Also
Schoolboy errors.
cooking as well. You know, you glaze a turkey or something like that. So
This now we need people like Lewis here or Max would benefit massively from a safety car.
we need a safety car. Like, come on.
We
Like
really
you
do.
said,
This
there's
race does
always
need one.
2.
Are we
Give us
doing
the
this?
second one.
Yeah.
I thought we just said that we wanted it to be a sport of integrity. Sack off the WWE stuff. Now we need safety car. Bring out the safety car for some
Virtual safety car's been
No,
deployed.
none of this virtual. I don't like the virtual
I want
anymore.
real life
Yeah.
safety cars. Oh no, Ferrari, what are you doing? Ferrari, what are you doing? No,
Here we go.
Are they,
Ferrari,
they're going
no.
into they're going another set of Inters, are they?
Please don't do this.
No, they told us they'd be like that.
God, Jesus Christ.
Get out, mate. I
I'm
don't
really
want
scared.
those.
I really
Ferrari
hope that
pit
was
crew.
like I hope that was like a Carlos come box for
Would
stuff.
The Ferrari pit
I'm
crew are out in the
interested-
pit lane.
I am interested though whether another set of Inters would work because, like we say, Interslicks could possibly be where it's going.
Yeah.
But would another set of Inters be like what we've seen, where they overheat and they don't work? So it's better just to stay on the old ones.
What's
Or
the point?
would it be better?
What's the point in pitting though? You're risking something for nothing.
Yeah.
We'd lose. It's a long pit lane, so yeah,
Lose
you'd probably
15,
lose out
16
to Norris and
seconds.
Verstappen.
But why? What are you trying to gain? Like you don't know if it's going to work.
What's going on with
It's a
Lewis?
risk
Is
that's-
Lewis
it's a
going
pointless
slow?
risk,
It's
in my
just in
opinion.
case these Inters won't last for the length that they need to go
What, you
on
think
them.
degradation is going to be the issue?
It's quite high around
Wouldn't you
Singapore.
It's a tough one. 64% of people in the chat, by the way, think Max Verstappen is going to get onto the podium.
I think
today.
he is.
What do you
I
guys think?
put him P3. I still think he can do it. You know, the man and machine are working together so well this season that I do think that he can get that.
Good luck getting around Sir Lewis Hamilton round this track. Sorry.
Oh, wow, we didn't see that
blew
angle.
up. Okay then.
Yeah, no, we
All
didn't.
right.
See, we didn't see that angle of Esteban Ocon's car. Yeah,
So much for the
massive
glazed
Car
brake theory.
farted right in front of Bottas' face.
Yeah, I would not have that if I was the Alfa. I would not. That's rude.
That's the second time we've seen an engine explode
out.
this season.
And just
Yeah.
roll him.
Maybe Alonso hasn't made it such a bad decision going across to the green
Well, that's
ball.
the thing, because obviously Alpine are currently like the 4th best / 5th best team, but no one wants to go there. In all fairness, like
Apart from
it's
Gasly.
like lots of people have said, yeah, nah, like Alonso's left, and then you'd think Oscar Piastri, there's a seat in a car that's very good for you. He's like, nah, I'll go to McLaren.
Yeah, no.
mate.
That's what confuses
I
me.
think
That's
that
what-
was more an issue of like
But I
availability
do
of seats.
understand. No, but I do understand it as well because Alpine, Renault, Lotus always have a habit of sort of switching up, and there's no sort of longevity in it.
Yeah.
And
There's not much stability. In
like
that team,
I
don't
come
think.
back to the Aston Martin point of like, there's a lot of people that slam Aston Martin and like, oh yeah, they're not going to be good. They're always going to be a backmarker, but they have got a 5-year plan. They've said it. But the one thing that impresses me is they have put a lot of money into their new facilities
Big
on
factory.
campus.
Exactly.
Whereas other teams would just go, oh, we want to be at the top. It's like, but how are you going to get there? Oh, we don't
Yeah.
know. We're just going to try and make a better car.
They've
Like,
done the critical path analysis, haven't they? They
They've,
know the line of least resistance between A and B. I will say this though, lads, that Oscar Piastri thing, I don't blame. Initially, I thought he was being a bit rude, coming out on
No.
Twitter and saying, you know what,
Alpine messed up.
I shall not be driving for you in 2023, definitively. But then when you look, but then when you check it out, right, they were looking to ship him off to Williams for a couple of years. He, at the earliest, he would have been back in that Williams 2026.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into the McLaren.
Yeah.
We all know that that time in F1 is commoditized. Right? It's hard to get a seat.
Yeah.
And you'll lose your
If one
prime.
opens up and it's a good one, you might
Mate,
as well go for
sack
it.
that
Like, you know.
right off.
And
I
people
don't blame
have
us.
short memories in Formula 1. You have too many years out and you don't come back. Like Ricciardo can have a year sabbatical. People are still going to know about him because they're still hanging about the paddock.
Kimi,
And
Kubica, like, mate, you can't
Mika
come out.
Hakkinen sabbatical. He's still on a sabbatical. He could come back. Maybe he will replace.
He's
Nice.
going
He's still
to
lingering.
lingering next year. Yeah, no. Hamilton on the radio here. What's he saying?
You don't even need to see the text. You know exactly what Lewis will be saying.
The
He said-
medium's viable. No,
Gonna be
Lewis.
smashing them.
No.
Russell's still losing time on the virtual safety car.
He's saying that Carlos brake checked him, by the way.
Oh,
Okay. Oh yeah, he did kind of like move over, didn't he?
What?
What are you
Is that during
doing?
the VSC?
That was during the VSC, yeah. I mean, it's keeping to deltas, isn't it? But like, you've got to be,
Ending.
got to be calm about it. VSC's coming to a close, though.
53 seconds off.
Oh, my Lord, Verstappen's gone past, well,
He's gone
tried to
too
go
early.
past Lando before the VSC ended and almost ran into the back of
Jesus
him.
Christ. I think that was a similar thing with the Perez-Russell, remember, back in like France. And they just got the timings wrong because you have like you get told when it's
Oh,
ending. You get, like,
George
8
done him
seconds
like
or
a
something
kipper
like
that
He
time.
did.
George
He
done
did.
him like a kipper.
I was going to say, if Max gets any more positions after Norris, it ruins my entire prediction. I don't know
No,
how I
it
feel
doesn't,
about
because
that.
you can just say that you were meant to put Perez and Verstappen, but you just got the P and the V wrong.
No.
You meant to put 11, but
let's
you
say-
put 1 by
Exactly.
accident. You didn't
If
type
he
it
gets
in.
P1, that's my entire prediction done.
Yeah.
Not what I want. This is during the VSC. Oh, that could have ended
Oh, that would have been
badly.
an aeroplane crash there.
Oh, front left
Locked
block
up
up.
on the front, yeah.
That could have ended very, very badly.
Bit grainy on Lando's tyres on that.
Why was he going for it? Did he break? Delta.
I
It
think
would Delta.
It's
because
deltas, isn't it? You
It
still
hadn't
arrive.
gone green yet, and he was trying to capitalise, like time it to perfection, and he just got
Yeah.
it like just a tiny amount too early.
Yeah.
They look very happy down at McLaren. I'll tell you what, those F1 cars with the sparks flying off the black, you cannot
isn't it?
beat that.
Under the lights as
Incredible.
well.
Oh,
It just
mate.
looks beautiful, innit?
You know
Incredible.
what I love seeing well, they're on intermediates or now Silverstone, seeing the
Yeah,
spray
yeah.
coming off
Oh, yeah.
on after cops, seeing that spray. Oh, it
It's
was
when you're in the wet
beautiful.
as well. I don't know if it's so much with these rear wings, but the little vortices of the
Yeah.
rear
You
wings
don't
in the
see
wet.
it on
Oh,
TV,
You
but
nerds.
in real life,
so good.
there's so
very,
much you
very
don't
good
see on the TV cameras because you just can't. But when you're there, it's just a really different, and the noise. It just sounds so good.
Do they?
I was gonna
In
they
real
really?
life.
disagree on that.
In
one.
2022?
Let's calm it down, guys.
What do you mean?
We're showing our age.
They just,
Oh,
yeah, no,
yeah.
back in
Yeah,
my
if you're-
day.
If you
You had to
prefer
put
the older
earplugs
cars, then
in.
Flipping heck.
I like them. Maybe because it was my first ever race, so I'm still like getting adjusted.
Look, listen. Right. It's dry. Why have we not
Is
got
it
DRS?
though?
Is it? I
Give
can
us
only
the
see
direct
one
down
dry
the
line,
straight.
mate. There's
Russell is
one.
catching up to Magnussen in all fairness because he was 54. Nah, it's
Nah,
got
it's got
51
it.
then. Yeah, scrap that. Put it in the bin.
Wow.
Maxon probably just made a mistake,
Yeah,
or he
yeah,
he
it's
tried to fight no one. He just saw someone around, just like I'm gonna.
All of the
is that it?
straights are completely dry and the braking zones are as well. Do you reckon it's a talking point, maybe at least? We're halfway through the race, by
Well,
the
no,
way.
because we can just look at George's Delta.
That's
so
all that
no.
you need.
Yeah.
George is
Sorry.
George is
No,
the
no, I
guinea
don't
pig.
mean going on to dry tyres. I mean just opening DRS.
Oh,
No, lane straight.
I think they should have done that for ages.
seeing Albon 2 laps ago. Was it 3 laps ago?
Yeah, bin it, I suppose.
Been
yeah.
it. I don't think it's worth it just yet.
Just carry on like a procession. We're just just chill here at the moment. Perez is fast as lap after fast. Oh, never
Oh, no,
mind.
Leclerc's taking it.
He's-
Let's get the drinks out.
He's
Come on,
turned
let's
the
just-
wick up. Here
get
we
the beers
go.
out.
Why is Sainz so
3.1.
far behind though? What's going on?
Yeah. We just spoke about that a second ago.
I know. But
You just got on that bus.
what's going
Said that
on?
later. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not
17
good
seconds
enough,
is
mate.
wild, I'm going to be honest.
Wild, mate.
Wild.
Perez must be having a sublime drive here, though. If there's,
Mate,
there's
Perez
that
likes
much.
90-degree turns.
He heard what we were
said it.
saying about him at the start of the show, and he was
He
like,
likes
right, I've got to prove
90-degree
these boys
turns.
wrong.
It just, yeah.
All right. The question is, how hard is Norris gonna make it for Verstappen to get past? Because Norris is quite a well-rounded driver, especially defensively. He can hold up.
Yeah,
quite a few drivers.
he is to be fair, but equally like I think he knows what battles to pick. I think in this situation he's happy to just keep him behind because Max is not challenging him at the moment.
Yeah.
Realistically, he's obviously right there, but he's not actually able to make any sort of move. So, but I think once it gets to a point where it's not viable, I don't think he's going to fight
If
it too
Max
much because
Get side by side, then it'd
yeah,
be like
he's
it's
not
worth
going to
it.
force him around the outside. I don't think because P6 is still quality and he's
Yeah.
not under threat from anyone else behind.
He can just if Max gets past him, he can just like, I'll just bring it home, drive at 90%.
Yeah. It's an easy race from that point onwards because Gasly's like 10 seconds back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But P6 over P5 doesn't sound as good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I'd
You're right.
rather
Put
get-
it in the wall,
I'd
put it in the
rather-
wall.
You guys obviously know Lando better than me, but I think
Lando-
Lando's. I think he's going to see Max in his mirrors, and he's going to be like,
Oh,
"No,
yeah.
I fancy this.
Yeah.
I fancy
Fancy
this.
this.
I fancy this because A, the track is super difficult to pass around. B, Max doesn't look that racy, right? He's struggling already.
What do you mean? You just saw him send it up his inside a minute ago.
Mate, look,
Yeah,
watch.
illegally.
Lando's going to fight for this. Come on, Lando, let's go. So look at that. Great exit out of that turn, Lando. Let's go.
You know what? Max has got a really, really strange driving style because he understeers into a corner, but he always makes it. And it always baffles me how he does it. Like if you watch him turning, it just really understeers. It's not sharp.
He's one of those ones like Lewis. He manages to understeer through throttle, right?
Yeah, he does.
That's why he likes the twitchy rear end.
Lewis's car when he drives is very like one input in, one input out. It's very clean. But Max is like you see it understeer, but then somehow just get the rear end out and get it out. Really, I can't wrap my head around it.
That's how happy he likes it.
He does.
Russell's sort of like matching, I think, at the moment. At the back, it's staying around 54, 53, so maybe...
That's still technically negative, though, because the Mercedes obviously should be going faster than the Haas.
Yeah, true. But it looks like maybe we're going to get to a stage.
Yeah, it looks like we're coming up to a transition point.
I want to put a little shout out to...
Lewis! Oh, no!
No!
What are you doing? Wow!
It's all fine.
He's
Just
put it in the
reverse
wall,
up.
but he's able to reverse. Is he?
Wait, he's got no damage on that front wing. There's no way.
But how
He's put that in hard as well. I think Norris, Lando, and Max are going past now.
Right there.
Oh, no!
Oh, wow.
There's no way he's got no damage. He must have
I
damage.
think
To be
he's
fair,
all
we
right.
saw it with Russell, didn't he? He put it in the wall twice.
I was
in-
gonna
in
say,
practice, and they
There's
were
a
just-
little bit on the nose, but
I was going to
somehow he
say,
managed to stay on.
reminiscent of Hungary last year, right? Just before the safety car.
Wow!
Come on, Lewis.
Hamilton in the wall. He's come out literally right in between the battle between
He's
Lando
won
and
a
Max.
fight with Max again.
Max
He's
is
like,
going to be
bored.
effing and blinding, seeing that silver arrows car come back in front of him.
How's he got no damage? I'm actually
It's wobbling a
amazed.
bit. He has got damage. It's
Yeah, but-
wobbling over bumps a little bit.
Is it?
Yeah, you can see the front left is sort of bent out a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, that end fence. He's going to
He'll
get
be
black.
Is
and
it
orange
black
like
and
that.
orange fireball?
I mean,
that's the
Ferrari are out in the
question.
pit lane with some mediums out, so this could be the crossover point.
But are the drivers just going to ignore it again? They're like, shut up.
no.
You don't know what you're doing.
Charles like, what strategy? Yeah, I'm good, mate. Put the phone down.
Oh, no!
Oi, oi,
Lewis
oi.
has got...
Is the
No
meatball
damage.
going
What's
to come
going
out
on
for
there?
him?
Is the meatball going to come out?
Meatball, mate.
The
flag.
car looks intact.
The car looks intact. Yeah, you're driving it, mate. You can't see the front wing. What are you talking about?
It doesn't look like it's. I
Oh,
mean, he's
yeah,
obviously.
the-
Oh,
the wing
it's gonna be
blade.
that end
meatball.
fence is a problem
Yeah.
on the left-hand
Yeah.
side. We'll get
Imagine
the
if it
black
makes
and
them
orange for that.
faster and they're like, maybe we should just do this.
Do that as the...
At the start of every formation lap, they just put it in the wall. The first time it's like, no, we're quicker.
Do we need front wings, mate? He's gone wide through there. I think it is hindering him.
He's understeering like crazy. Is he? He's still
defending.
defending it though.
Oh, yeah,
Verstappen's
look at
gonna
that.
He's gonna.
Look at
He's,
that.
dangerous. He's struggling now,
He's gonna
to be
get a
fair.
meatball. That left end
He's
plate
going to
is
get
hanging
meatball.
off.
Gasly
Gasly
into the pit lane, by the
pitting.
way. Yeah.
He's taking that.
Come on, Lewis. Let's go, son.
Well, like I said, we've just got so much chemistry.
Yeah. We're Bluetooth right now. That's crazy.
We'll get a room later.
Yeah.
I'm more worried that end plate's going to come off and
I
then
tell
he's
you-
going to get so much understeering
Mate,
going
I
for wall
tell you
again.
what Lewis isn't going to do. He's definitely not going to make Max
It's scrapping
Verstappen's
him.
life easy.
That's
gone-
that
they got
end
the
plate.
sparks
It's
on
sparking
that
on the floor.
crazy.
You're going to
Yeah.
get
Gasly's
black and
gone
orange
dry.
coming out.
Yeah.
Black and... Yeah.
Black and orange flag has to come
But
out.
it's a perfect time if it is the time for dries because now he can come into the pits,
Change
put
the
his
front
dry
wing,
sides,
put some
front
dries
wing,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll watch the
Shouldn't
times then
lose
for
much
Gasly,
Is,
Tsunoda, and Bottas in as
yeah,
well, by the way.
Russell's,
Everyone's
Russell's
doing it.
gaining
Yeah.
now.
Russell's just on a
gaining.
purple
Yeah.
per sector.
Yeah,
So
there
this
we go.
is it.
Oh no, the sparks on the front wing. This could see the car launch.
That was an interesting cutaway. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm a bit concerned about what we're going to see.
Tense now.
Good,
Yeah.
good game,
Oh,
producers.
wow.
Oh, that's...
he
a-
just-
What did I say? What did I? Oh wait,
He
no,
hit it
replay.
hard as well, yeah. It was a lot harder than Russell hit it.
Did you just do what I think you just did?
I didn't see the big replay at the
Next
front.
question.
We'll move on.
He's done it again. He's in the
He's
wall.
done exactly what he said he was going to do. No, never mind.
Leclerc in, but Perez stays out. Interesting.
Yeah,
Is-
George Russell's going fastest. It's time.
Yeah,
Bottas
it's
on
time.
the
There you go.
softs.
Can you make it to the end on those?
No, I don't think
Doubt
so.
it.
Surely not. But they've got to take a gamble, haven't they? Try and see if they can maybe overtake.
So Bottas on softs, but Leclerc is on two mediums. which is
How
probably the
slow
safe
was that pit
option.
stop, by the way?
It was quite slow.
Hamilton's
The
lost
front left
Hamilton's
didn't come
lost
off.
2 seconds
Was it from right?
to Norris, and he's really holding up Verstappen now.
Let's go, son.
What I will say about the pit stop times, obviously, it's a bit wet in the pit lane, so like actually just stopping is a little bit.
But they look like... the car had pulled up and Ferrari looked like they were having like...
Yeah,
not
front
pitching.
right was just
Like
being,
lunchtime tea or something. Like, are we going to get moving here?
Having a nap. Right.
Just
Lewis is
Hamilton in
in
the pits.
with his dodgy front wing.
Yeah.
He'll get it changed, obviously.
I've never seen Lewis make so many mistakes in a season before.
What?
What did you just say?
this season.
He's made a couple. Go on then. Let's go through the Lewis Hamilton mistakes. I don't think he's made that many. Like I can recount. Okay, so the Alonso incident, that was dodgy.
Yeah.
Barcelona, I want to say there was something.
Barcelona, yeah, him versus Magnussen.
Yeah.
I feel like that was
That was
more
K-Mag.
Magnussen
That
kind
was
of turned in
K-Mag.
a bit too much.
That
on
was
the outside.
Magnussen, you're on the outside. going through
Yeah,
turn
that was
four, why
K-Mag.
doing that sort of thing.
Why
Quali here, he locked up. I don't think he's made. I think he's doing him. I think
Austria,
he's
he
doing him
crashed
in
with
the
George. They both crashed in, not with each other, but they both had a crash, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sorry, I would just like to say that because of the front wing change, Lewis is now behind Sebastian Vettel on the track. They've come out. They pitted at the same time. Vettel and Hamilton onto mediums. They're both out ahead of Gasly, though.
So,
And yet he's still going to win the race.
He's
and
still-
it's going to be, what a charge.
It's going to be crazy. What I will say is I think it's taking these
this.
tyres at least a lap to
Yeah.
get anywhere near
Yeah.
any sort of tyre temperature. So you're going to see them struggle for the first lap. So I don't know if the undercut is necessarily going to do the business.
It's the way with these tyres because you don't have the blankets like you used to. So they're going to be, and round here it's slow 90-degree corners, so you can't get those fast corners to get the temperatures up.
Yeah,
so it's going to be
yeah.
difficult. It's going to be a lot longer around here. The
Interest-
overcut is better.
You will see Perez come out ahead of Leclerc, I think.
Yeah,
It's whether Perez can hold on
Yeah.
on the outlap. That's going to be the question.
yeah. Sainz staying out, or is he just too far back?
No, he was
he's
very,
very
very
far.
far back, to be fair. George is still setting fastest laps, by the way.
Yeah.
So now he's got those tyres up to temperature. He's living his best life.
Rapid.
how much?
Rapido.
He's going to have no advantage here then.
Lewis.
Anyway, he's lost so much time.
Oh, mate, who'd be a Sir Lewis Hamilton fan? It's
Yeah.
a labour of love at the moment. Can't get a break. Can't get a break.
Science is in. Lando carries on.
in.
Verstappen is in.
So now I'd like to see a safety car because it'll spice everything up again. Get a little restart of the race. Everyone's confident to send it in. That'd be nice to see.
Well, your wishes
got a
might
yellow
be coming
flag.
true. We've got a
The
yellow
F1
flag.
gods have just
It
listened
It's
and
down to Singapore
provided.
Sling, and I think
It's
it's
a blue car?
It's a blue car.
Oh,
you.
man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're getting a safety
I'm
car.
sorry.
Yuki Tsunoda's binned it.
I actually just stopped talking at this point. Is that the same corner as Lewis as well?
No, it's the Singapore. Well, it's
Yeah.
where the Singapore Sling was.
Yuki.
That's the definite safety car.
Well,
Singapore Sling. I'd say it's more of a sling now because you sling it in rather than the chicane.
I think
I'd
that. But
say-
they've kind of changed it, haven't they? Like,
Yeah,
it's not
but I
the
think
Singapore
it
Sling
will
anymore.
always be the Singapore
Oh, he's not
Yuki's
pleased,
fuming,
is he?
bless
that
him.
car's getting a beating.
His
right
4'6" self is stepping out the car. No, Yuki, I love you, bro. I actually genuinely love you. He's my favourite man ever. That's
Safety
safety
car.
car.
Oh,
He's actually fuming. He's fuming. It just shows though, even though it's technically the time for the dries in terms of pace.
They still have to be
If you
careful.
dip a wheel off the dry
Yeah, you're
line,
finished.
you're in the mud
And
or in
it's
the
so-
barrier in this case.
Oh.
This is actually great for Lando.
Also, because obviously I'm looking at the time screens for one certain individual has managed to jump up to P7 and jump his teammate. Go on, Lance Stroll.
guy
Thank you very
is-
much.
Go on,
there you
Stroll.
go.
The GOAT! He's getting the race win.
Lando's about to get
Could I just say,
he's
Lando's
free
about
pit
to get a
stop.
free pit stop.
Where
He's
is he
gonna
at the
stay
moment?
third. He's going to stay
Oh,
third.
nice.
He's 20 seconds out of sign, so he's going to stay third.
firstly, could I just say that you guys have cursed Yuki with all your praise of him earlier on in the race, and look what he goes and does.
Heavy,
And secondly, it's absolutely hilarious the way he loses his mind with the hands device piece at the back, and the very gently puts his steering wheel back. What an absolute! That is a
Look at this.
meme waiting to happen. Look at this. Oh, look at it away.
Oh, George is in
Say,
again.
Someone else who's going to gain from this massively.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
go.
My
Look at him.
Anyone who
boy!
left it late
He could
on
be.
Twitters is
He
living
could be
here.
in P6.
He's
here.
still in the Inters
He
apparently.
could be in P6.
Well, he hasn't appeared.
This could be huge for Ricciardo.
It's
'cause
massive
he was,
for McLaren, generally
Yeah.
speaking. Like, Lando is going to stay third here because he's got
You
21 seconds
reckon?
over sign.
Is he going to
Let's
box?
go,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, come in now. Free pit
Ricciardo's
stop.
definitely staying sick because he's got 10 seconds to Verstappen, then another 17 seconds to Stroll. So
Yeah, he
he's
won't
staying
stay
sick.
ahead of Verstappen, but he'll stay ahead of Stroll
Yeah.
easily.
That is mad from them.
All right. That's Norris in the pits.
McLaren have accidentally done a madness. Possible Norris podium, indeed, Lorenzo.
Now I wish
Indeed.
Stroll stayed out another lap. He was
Perez.
P5.
Did anyone put Norris up there? I think anyone did.
Someone
didn't
put him in P5, I'm pretty sure. Was that
No, I didn't.
Well, we'll have a gander. We'll have a gander in a second once this is all shaken out and we're in the safety car. But this is great stuff if you're a McLaren fan.
We got what we
Stuff.
wanted.
Oh, he's behind science. He's behind
We're
science.
only just
How?
over halfway in this race.
McLaren? What?
Bonkers.
Mate.
Flipping heck.
How have they fluked that one? What's going on?
And then you've got your average two
It is,
safety
I think
cars
it is the
already.
longest pit lane here as well. So I
Yeah.
think you lose quite a
Yeah,
bit of time.
true, you do. Ricardo in.
You should come out behind Verstappen here, right? So P4
Yeah,
and
should be
P6.
should be ahead of Stroll.
Yeah, I think he's going to be P6.
But
I think.
hopefully not ahead of Stroll.
It's a good day.
If you're one of his only three.
I'm wearing green today. There's a reason.
Yeah, there is a reason.
That is a bogey green though, and it's a horrible colour.
Oh,
wow! Why would you have that, man?
Excuse me, sir.
He's just sad because we rocked up with the same colour on, and mine's a little bit.
Why is that bogey green though? That is. Maybe it's just me.
So Ricciardo onto softs. Interestingly, you probably could get those to the end from here. 37 laps, 61.
Ricciardo.
That's on that high.
Yeah, degradation is like quite large supposedly around here, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Lewis apologising to his Merc team.
5 DNFs.
He fucked it up.
Don't sweat, mate. Still going to win the race, and you will. Everyone's going to love it.
Difficult being a Hamilton fan in 2022.
Mate, like you would not believe, like labour of love settings, I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
It's all right because next week we're getting that 8th title, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
We're getting
Mate, I
that
tell
back.
you what, you're joking.
The court of arbitration.
But the optimism, as far as Lewis Hamilton fans, is strong. Is strong. Here's hoping, Suzuka.
I got a little bit of a shower there with the water coming off the barrier.
I reckon one or two more
Big
DNFs.
time.
I'm predicting 1 or 2 more DNFs. I don't think this race is done in terms of victims.
Well,
We're down to 14 people at this point, aren't we? If you
15,
finish, you're getting
yeah.
points at this rate.
14? It might be 14.
Yeah, it's 14
Yeah,
with
14.
Tsunoda out now. Ocon, Albon, Alonso, Latifi, and Zhou all out
Victims.
as well. Victims, if you will.
Zhou was a victim. Let's be honest there.
Yeah, Zhou was a victim of a serious crime. Serious illegalities. That's not even a word, is it? But we move. Tsunoda.
Bottas and Ricciardo on softs.
Oh, Yuki.
What if? What if Ricciardo just does an absolute blind
just
here
overtakes
and
everyone and wins?
Yeah. Softs just work out better.
I would actually love that. I'm not even going to lie. I don't even
Everyone's
care.
talking. Do you know how much of an L that would look for McLaren as well?
Oof.
I'm just saying, like, if he gets another race win and 2 seasons in a row, he's the only person to get a race win for them. That's
So, guys, we'd like to announce that Ricciardo is staying for next season. Well, now that
we're sorry about everything, Ricciardo.
sorry about everything.
You stay, please, mate.
Now that we've got a bit of a calmness under the safety car and we know what the order is, we'll take a look at the predictions again and see what everyone's saying now because things have obviously changed quite a lot.
How did I not put you?
Come on.
So,
I'm still confident.
Outrageous.
Dirk on to... Well, Dirk's still got 2. Things have changed. Charles obviously in P2, Carlos Sainz in P3, which I also got. Hayden, you've got 1 as well. Cameron, I'm not going to lie, the Lewis shout, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Everyone's let me down.
It's still going to happen. We've got to believe.
I mean,
okay?
I also
It's
put him in
still gonna
P2, so I technically have to believe as well. Max has got a much better chance of a podium realistically as well now that the safety car is out and everything's been bunched up. He's got Lando in front of him who theoretically got the pace to overtake.
You still can't
DRS soon
overtake
too.
around here, though, mate. Is the
That's the
truth.
problem. It is still tough. It is still
I don't know.
tough.
I feel like DRS is around the corner.
It has to be surely as Lando.
Oh, the mediums are acting up.
He was just going for the late turn-in, so you over-rotate the car to get the tyre to...
Yeah, smart way of driving.
exactly.
Very smart way of driving.
Right, Sergio's almost hit the safety car. No, he's telling him to go quicker.
Get moving, mate.
Get
Moving.
Have you seen these tyres we're on? They're cold. Move,
Just
man.
wait, we get to hear George Russell again be like, yeah, but the Mercedes safety car is actually 5 seconds a lap quicker than the last one. So it's going as fast as it can, guys.
Bloody hell.
Russell's still 16 seconds behind everyone. He's still catching up.
Yeah, we pitted again, didn't he? He wants
Yeah.
some fresh mediums to attack with.
He's gonna, he has a good shot of getting
I'd
points
be
here,
fuming
actually.
if I was George, by the way. You were the pioneer of the whole scene as far as like this dry situation's concerned. He's
Yeah.
still last.
He walked so they could run.
Yeah, he did. Well, he walked very slowly as well.
Very
we
good.
got visor up.
Visor cam, yeah, visor up.
Why is that just so
Sort of a
exciting?
bare visor
The
cam.
proper.
I love visor cam, mate.
The onboard is
Proper
decent.
onboard.
Shout out to the producers for doing
Why you don't
something
like
right
visor
for
cam
once.
so much? Because that's what you basically run when you do play F1. You're on visor cam.
I am on visor cam. You're right.
You're a sicko.
I'm wearing sicko mode, but honestly,
It means that you can look around.
my
like,
head
look-
moves with
yeah.
the game camera.
Have you
I
guys
am
mad.
Have you guys heard the rumor about them putting the rear view in the visor cam?
What's
Pardon?
the
Virtually. Yeah.
That must
you
be
heard about it?
heavy.
Well, so you can see what's going on behind you as well.
Basically, yeah. Just
Wait,
apparently
as
they're
in
doing
like a
different
little-
formula. Just like visor cam, you've just got it digitally imposed.
That
on
must
there,
be
so you-
so distracting. That would be so
Apparently
distracting.
it's in
That's some 2060
Yeah.
that's
seconds.
like
If
I'm
I
not
was
even
a
gonna lie.
driver, I wouldn't want
We
that.
got the timer up.
Oh, we're on to a timed race. There's no way we're finishing the laps.
We've already had a timed race this year, haven't we? Was it Monaco? I feel like Monaco was a timed race as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one race I didn't watch this season.
Oh,
Despicable
wow.
behaviour. Call yourself an F1 fan. You
I
you didn't watch a race.
busy.
You missed a race.
I was
dare you.
busy.
You
It
call
wasn't
yourself
out
a
of my
fan?
option.
How
I was
dare
on the road, I think, doing something for someone. I can't remember who it
Highlights
was.
merchant. That's what
I love the highlights.
There in the
me.
comments, like, oh, I enjoyed watching this live. You weren't there, bruv.
I think I rewatched the race later on anyway, so it's fine. I just didn't watch it live.
Where were you when Sergio Perez won the Monaco Grand Prix? Where were you, Dirk?
On the M1. That's where I was.
Having a race of your own.
Oh,
Getting a
Yuki.
replay of Yuki's mistake. He just went far too deep in. I'm not going to lie, pause.
Pushed it too
Oh,
far.
Pushed it too
my
far in.
God.
Like, literally, and he went into the barrier.
That's crap.
You got to warm it up first. You got to ease into it. You can't just go straight in like that.
You got to ease the rubber in, you know, on the tires.
He's not gone back to the garage. He's just like where he is. I don't want to leave.
Oh,
bless him.
he's shedding a tear, isn't he,
Herbert's gonna
Yuki?
shout at me. I don't want
Bless
that phone call. I don't want that phone
Safety
call.
man, I
car
wanna give him a
ending.
hug.
Why
Safety
is it,
car
again,
ending.
like, I don't feel like the pack is bunched up.
It's very odd. I mean, it's because last time we just didn't get, like, Sergio kind
Yeah.
of just went immediately, so no one really, you know.
I think we still got half a lap to go. I think
Yeah,
they're down
yeah,
by
yeah.
the main overtaking spot.
Well, obviously, when the safety car's lights go off, Sergio will slow down and, you know, bunch everyone up again.
You'd hope. He didn't do that last time. He just
Well,
went.
he didn't. Yeah, true. He didn't. So
Well, look back and up. No one's here. I'm gone.
little rain check as well, obviously. So Sergio still leading. Obviously, Leclerc, Sainz second and third. Really good day for Aston Martin still so far. 7th and 8th for Stroll and Vettel. The under the radar, I think.
McLaren.
Legend.
Performance of today.
It is Lance
Nailing
Stroll.
Yeah, done well. Lewis obviously now down in P9 behind Sterling Gasly in P10.
Can Danny Ricciardo hold
He'd
P6?
be
So
a
that's
Lewis Hamilton fan at this point. It's madness. I can't be.
Stroll ahead of
You're right.
Hamilton right now is crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
You're just watching P9 thinking, can you revive from this?
I didn't want Niran to remind me, even I'd kind of forgotten. It's too painful.
Like that of memory.
Painful,
To be
mate.
fair, what? Vettel and Stroll, he'll cruise past. It's when he gets to Ricciardo and he'll cruise past Ricciardo being honest.
I
But
don't know.
Dirk,
Will
you
he
watch the
though?
same race as us. Have
He'll
you
get-
seen anyone overtake
I
anyone?
think, that was the wets. Now it's the dries. We're in different
We
conditions.
will get DRS, I'm guessing, soon.
We will get
Not
DRS,
already, but-
and Hamilton will be out for vengeance for his mistake. Just to recover from
Don't let the bright lights fool you, mate. This is just Monaco with in the night with lights. That's what this is. Struggle to overtake.
Okay,
I'm looking
Sergio's
forward
actually
to
back. Sergio, he's doing it again. He's actually doing it again. He's not bunching them up. He's just leaving immediately.
I think that'll be Max on the radio telling Checo Perez to get a move on, mate.
Well, Lando's just nowhere near.
It's happened again.
gone.
It's literally happened again.
Oh, it's not too
They've left too much
bad
of a
this
gap
time.
again. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and those tyres
oh, it's
warmed up.
Ricciardo, isn't it?
All right, lovely.
Lando.
Here we
Sergio
go.
weaves down the straight. We're back racing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the gap between the
Now this is going
Astons,
to be
mate.
interesting. This is I'm looking forward to see if Leclerc can actually catch now, especially Sainz. Sainz should be right up there.
Kind of don't
with
mind a Sergio Perez win. Oh, we got a. Is that a wheel to wheel?
Yeah, the Lando went a little bit wide out of turn 3, but he's recovered it now.
Come on.
I think we'll see Verstappen overtake Lando.
Russell's
pretty quick.
overtaken. He's no
No,
longer last.
Nah.
He's 13.
Come on, Lando,
He's on
get-
the
Yes,
charge back.
go on, George.
George Russell can still win this race, guys. Do
Max
not
and a
switch off.
slipstream here down the inside.
Those tyres are done. The tyres are
Massive.
done.
That's a huge lock-up.
Oh, mate. There's no way.
200 IQ from Lando.
good.
Loving that.
Lewis
Oh,
versus Max.
I can
It's on
see
again.
the car
Mate,
vibrating.
those
Get me
front
out.
tyres
Get
are
you
50p
out.
coins now. That's outrageous.
Russell is flying. He's up to 12.
That is
Massive
mate.
moment. And
Here
for
comes
all the
Lewis.
slander we've given to Daniel Ricciardo, up 11 positions.
Crazy.
Yeah. In P5.
Aye,
Killing it.
Driver of the day. Why laughing?
That was fire. I don't know why.
Driver of the day.
Lewis and Max reunited again. Let's go. Part
They're
seven.
just the best of friends
They
now.
are,
They
they
put
really are.
2021 behind them, and they're now just wanting to hold hands down the straight.
For all
Mate,
the
those mediums are going to be done on Max's car. They're
For all
going to be
the
horrible.
Big
Massively
lock-up.
flat spotted.
Huge.
That's the
all the,
problem around here. Once it dries up, there's still that wet line over there. Like, you're going to be on the wet, and
That'll be Max moaning
He's just,
about
said,
flat
he's
spot.
just said on the radio he needs to pit, so he's going to be coming in at the end of this lap because the vibrations.
how
are
did
mad.
we sound when we were saying it? I need to
Let's
Yeah,
go.
he got on the wet
Lando.
stuff.
yeah, you're on
Oh,
the wet.
that
You
was
got
a
no grip.
grim
To be
lock-up.
fair, fair play that he managed to get it turned around because
Yeah.
you're on the wet there, and you could just easily just put it in.
Let's
He did it
go,
very,
Lando.
very well to keep that out of the wall
Yeah.
as well, because that was heading straight for the
It
wall.
was heading for the cameraman as well.
And
Right, you
props
just
to
saw
Lando.
If another
flying.
safety car comes out, if we get another safety car, there is still a chance that he can get back into the points because George Russell's making moves at the moment. So I think George has a chance of getting the points as well. He's right behind Mick Schumacher. I think
Safety
it'll be
car
moment time.
infringement. Perez.
Yeah. Now, you know what I thought about this? He technically, I don't actually know the nitty gritty of the rules for safety car overtaking, but he technically overtook.
No.
Well, the safety car wasn't actually in between the walls of the pit lane before.
Yeah.
I don't know, or he didn't bunch them up enough.
Oh, so he overtook the safety car too early.
that might
it was.
be
It could
was
be
in
that.
the pit
As
lane.
George has got a puncture, by the way.
Oh
my God.
What is going
So
on?
George, what is going on this
What is
Grand
happening?
Prix? This is
That's
development.
got to be a clash with Mick, surely. Yeah,
think
Mick's
so.
dropping down.
Yeah.
Oh no, Mick.
That Mercedes
well,
with those
he's doing so well.
blue
Yeah,
wheel
it's a
bars.
It's a
really good job.
bad day for Mercedes.
Pretty
Bad
much. If you
day.
finish this race, you're getting points. 'cause
Literally,
these two-
quite literally, the amount of incidents Merck have been involved in now is
Yeah,
crazy.
right.
George needs to just throw that tyre off his car so he gets another safety car. It's the only way he's staying in this race.
This could be Lance Stroll's highest finishing position this year.
Yes, that's what I like to hear. Give it, keep it coming, keep it coming.
Max Verstappen now on his fresh tyres, well, about 25 seconds off the rest.
If
He
Leclerc
overtakes
gets a
George.
penalty here, if Perez gets a penalty here, that's a clear win if you can just stay with him.
And that could be a Norris podium. Yeah, these
Norris
two come
podium
together.
potentially.
How's this happened then?
This is just
So George at the
George
inside.
He pushed him out.
I think
He
it's
pushed
the
him
same
out.
thing. You braked on the wet line.
Oh, George, that's far too
Yeah,
aggressive,
man,
mate. You
that's
can't do
It's
that.
just unnecessary. It's
You
an
can't do
unfortunate
that.
error as
It
well.
was fine, but the problem was he was aiming to the outside.
Tell
of the
me
corner.
he's
He was
blaming him.
braking in a straight line, but he's going to the outside.
The
Did he
problem
blame him?
is he had a
Disappear,
cheeky
isn't it?
I
love
don't
kiss
know.
with him. Don't touch. This isn't a contact sport, F1. As that last
F1 drivers
digest.
don't kiss, all right? Not on track.
Not on track.
Off track.
Off track. Well,
you know.
Cheeky
Love a
little
safe car. Spices everything back up.
Yeah.
Great.
We'll hopefully find out about
As
the
it
Sergio
stands,
Perez infringement
Verstappen
later
will
on.
not be champion.
Oh, there
As
we
it
go.
stands.
Oh.
It's back on, ladies and gentlemen. The battle's back on.
Ferrari, don't throw away your dreams and hopes just yet.
Strap yourselves in.
The podium is going to be the three drivers that managed to survive this mess.
Genuinely, yeah. At this rate,
And it's
honestly.
going to be Lance Stroll.
Max is pushing those tires. Did you see him slide into that corner there? Just literally little counter steer to stop him from
I believe
going
that
in.
was Perez, wasn't it?
Was it Perez? That's what I thought it was Max.
There's a Ferrari behind him, so I think
No, it was a
Perez.
different
Yeah,
shot
no, no.
before.
Was it? Okay.
Leclerc's right on him as well with the fastest lap of the race. Poor Mick and Russell, both getting investigated.
Yeah.
But
I think
they're
it's on
both
Russell. He's
It's on Russell,
aiming
yeah.
to the outside of the
Yeah,
track.
yeah,
The car's
yeah,
not going to disappear.
Yeah, it's up to you to make the
Yeah.
overtake cleanly, and he
And
just has to.
Schumacher's going really slowly as well.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on the delta between Ricciardo and Norris just to see if those softs actually are working. And if they are, then half an hour
I
on
don't
the
know, 2
softs.
seconds gap is dropping. I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
what I'm
just,
keeping an eye on.
Oh, oi, oi.
Oh,
Yeah, really
Big handful of
struggling.
opposite lock there for Leclerc.
sure.
Schumacher pitting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Schumacher's
He's
got a
got a
massive
puncture
puncture as well.
Him and Russell are done, pretty much.
Dunzo.
Might as
Dunno,
well. Well, I don't know. Would you retire the car? A safety car, like I said.
No.
You finish
A
this
safety
race,
car again,
You're
yeah,
only 3
yeah, yeah.
places
Points
off.
are viable
You're
here.
only 3 places off the points, yeah.
Yeah, you got to go back out. Like one more incident between two drivers.
Oh,
and you're back.
oh,
Mate, this track is going to take some more victims. I'm
Aye,
telling you.
round
Look
here, it's
at
crazy.
This is some sexy driving. Like
Yeah,
getting
I
the
love
back
this.
end out, drifting it around. Oh,
this is where they get paid. This is what they get
He's-
paid for.
He's taking a lot of curb though, his Scholl, to be fair. And
I tell you what, yeah, under the hotel. Is it under the hotel?
no, it's a grandstand.
Under
It's
the
like
grandstand.
where they have their football pitch,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. It is still quite damp there. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
These two are just checked out again.
Yeah, they're
Again,
gone.
Checo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Checo
Checo
in out.
down.
Oh, blue flags.
good
Yeah,
stuff,
he's
mate.
just like, I
Well
don't want
played.
this.
I'm not getting involved. Russell's still not even made it to the pit lane yet, by the way.
Nah.
Actually,
No,
I
he's
think
already
he
paid.
has,
He's
yeah,
already
he's on
paid.
softs, he's on softs now, yeah.
how about that DRS now? That was just perfect.
Spicy. There's no way they're going to put it.
Having issues with the drivability of the engine.
Oh, no. Oh,
no.
no.
We haven't had
No.
engine issues for them since what? Second, third round, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They started the season so badly.
Everyone
in terms
thought
of,
they
like,
were
everyone
like,
thought they were
it's gonna be
done.
terrible.
But said they
Yeah.
fixed it.
It's ended up being the
Fixed the issue,
Ferrari.
yeah.
Yeah, it's ended up being the Ferrari power unit that's been the one to go bang.
Well, yeah, especially on the Alfa
Austria.
Romeo.
No.
The amount of I think they have a rock paper scissors between Bottas and Zhou. Which one's going to get the engine failure this week?
I honestly think for Alfa Romeo, they've got the gearbox and the engine in the wrong place. I mean, that's what
Oh
we're at
my
accident.
God.
Genuinely, it makes no sense, bro.
Disrespect.
Camera's not loving your standing, mate.
Oh, a little wiggle.
Scholl's going for it, isn't he?
I would under braking or on track. I think Perez.
Both, yeah.
Both, yeah, I was about to say it. We both, yeah.
It's just bad everywhere.
Watching him, yes, both.
If he doesn't win this race, I'm gonna feel so bad. Oh, there you
Check
go,
that, yeah,
mate.
DRS.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
feel
just saw
so
Leclerc
bad.
with
for
his-
him.
Let's go.
Rear
Here
wing
we go.
open.
About time as well, if I.
few laps too late, in my opinion.
About
Now it's time for Lewis Hamilton to overtake
Promi
the
accent.
field and win the race.
It just comes out so
Podium.
strong.
Go on then, Shaw. Let's be having you, mate. What have you got in your locker, Shaw?
Oh, it's just so
Mate.
beautiful.
Oh, he's so close. He's so close.
Leclerc is pushing him round the final sector here.
Don't know which is the best part to overtake, down the start-finish straight or the...
I mean, if he can
Start
stay, he can
from
stay that
section
close
straight.
with DRS,
Yeah.
I think he might
As we,
actually
saw
have a
with,
chance.
as we saw with Verstappen, going down that other overtaking
Did
spot
not
did not
work.
I
work.
tell you what, he's in.
Definitely
can't-
straight.
he's
He's not
must
going.
be.
He's not doing it down into
You
turn
can't
one.
have a
surely.
lunge, you're just going to take him out.
There's
Have a little look.
shades of Mansell and Senna all those years back at the moment. That car's clearly quite quicker. And then also
Ricciardo's
shades of Lewis and Max Verstappen at
Yeah.
Monaco a few
Yeah.
years back ago. Shaw all of a sudden has got pace to burn. Let's go, Shaw.
Oh,
Come
he's
on,
wiggling
DRS
though.
open, wiggling
Just
about.
losing a little bit too much time before.
what odds
Next
on
one,
Shaw
yeah.
being in it?
What's that? Sorry?
What odds on Shaw being in it before
Oh
we?
no!
high.
Don't do this.
Quite high, to
Because
be
they
honest.
are high. That's the problem. They
The
are
thing
high.
is, I'm wondering if Leclerc's strategists or engineers or whoever
Norris
is
on the back of Sainz, by the way.
have communicated to Leclerc that Perez is having issues because there's no point in him pushing at this point. Just wait to see how it works. You've got 25 minutes. Just relax a second and then wait on if you know that he's still going to finish the race, then push.
Sorry, I know we've spoken about it, but I have to say it again. What is Sainz's pace?
Man.
It's going to be overtaken by Norris. Norris can get a podium here.
Lando's all over the back of him, bro.
Yeah.
All over the back of him.
Carlos Sainz, listen.
And the McLaren should not be doing that.
I'll explain to you what's going on. Carlos Sainz, everything that we praised Checo Perez for being at the start, as far as his characteristics, managing the rear limited tracks perfect. Carlos Sainz is the antithesis of that, right? If it's not Maggots and Beckett's, then he can't drive round it. That's the truth. It's just the truth.
point.
So he just waits for Silverstone every year. Just to keep going.
No, I just rate Sainz, but he's having a howler here. He's
Yeah.
having a howler. I'm not going to
But
lie.
it's still P3, so it's not the end of the world. But you
he's
have got
getting the
He's
slap.
the perfect recipe for a number 2 driver
Yeah.
with Bottas last year, and season's gone with Hamilton. He can stick it close to Leclerc and beat him on qualifying pace a few times, and he can beat him occasionally on the race. But most of the time, Leclerc's getting that job done, and he's getting a gap as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's Ferrari's golden boy at the end of the day. So
Just need to get title sponsor Banco Santander on board with that, don't you, lads? That's what you need to do. Scuderia.
Ricciardo's lost in those softs as well. He's
Yeah, that's a weird one,
nowhere.
actually, isn't it? With the softs just not really working.
Nah.
He's ahead of he's comfortably ahead of the Aston Martin. It's great, but bro,
8 seconds is nuts, by the
Yeah.
way. We've only been green flag racing for about 4 laps.
I was just about to say safety car. That's like two
That's
seconds.
like 2
a lap.
seconds a lap. What's
Come
going
on,
on?
Carlos. You're better than that, son. I'm sorry.
not Carlos, Ricciardo, mate. That's what
Well,
I'm
both,
looking at.
yeah,
Both of them
both,
lost.
fair.
Well, yeah, Ricardo's on the softs as well, so I guess they're just overheating. Like too
Maybe they're
much
just
temp in them.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're not warming up, or I don't know.
I'm still holding on to
no,
my
is that
point.
the two Astons?
Oh,
Is that
that
the two
is the 2 Astons going
I think there's
side by
still
side.
gonna be a
at the moment.
victim.
It's a back marker. It's
Yeah.
a back
Is it a back
marker?
marker?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was like, what's happened to Stroll? What's happened to
Flipping
this
heck.
car? All good.
Sure, we've got two more victims coming. I'm just waiting to see who it's going to be, but 2 more victims are pending.
What, you think 2 more people are going to get?
I think 2 more people are still not going to finish this race.
Oh, there's
Come on,
Leclerc.
Shaw. Cheeky lockup. Let's
Back
go.
on the back of Perez. What does the chat think? Right, I want a poll in the chat. Who's winning here, Leclerc or Sainz?
or Stroll.
Or Stroll. Not Stroll. It's not Stroll. Who's winning out of Leclerc and Sergio Perez today? Or neither? Could they end up in an incident together?
Could you
'Cause they were getting
imagine?
Very close.
And then Sainz, for some reason, crashes into them as well. Just goes the wrong way. Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, podium, job done.
Yeah, sorted. Easy.
All 3 of us here are happy. I don't know about you, Cameron. Would you like that? Would you like the Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll podium?
Mate, I'm down for it. I wouldn't. I'm not averse.
We'll have a bit of that.
Be very different. That's what 2020
Yeah.
Monza
Hamza
vibes,
and
is it?
Cole, they're my
2020,
people.
2019?
Just want to say, by the way, thank you very much, everyone. We've hit 20K during this
Hey.
stream. 20,000
Let's
subscribers.
go.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the love.
GG's.
Only just started this show, but it's only going to get bigger and better. So
God.
thank you, everybody.
TV somehow.
Latifi somehow.
the race.
Get him back in. Come on, Jaden, make it happen. I tell you what, Leclerc is closing in. Is this going to be the
he's gonna have
move?
a look.
Let's go.
Little look.
I feel like maybe they could come together. We've seen it with Verstappen on the inside.
shout.
with Norris.
All it takes
A
is
little
one bad
knock-up.
lockup.
Wrong part of the track on the brakes. And
That's the thing. You've got to get off the dry line to overtake here. That's where it's going to get a little bit techie for Charles.
How long's it lap? 1 minute 52.
Yeah.
So it's about 20 laps worth. No?
1 minute
No, that's
50 if
wrong.
you're Max Verstappen.
23, 24 laps worth of racing left.
23. What do you want about?
I'm trying to work out the maths. Sorry,
Yeah,
no,
one-
10.
Mate,
11,
yeah,
10.
half
Come
it,
on,
fam.
man.
Half it, fam. Come on.
Listen,
I tell you what,
the
though,
weekend.
good
Bang.
games.
It's been a heavy one. It's been a heavy one, fam.
Are you in charge of the Red Bulls account? Is that the problem we've got over here?
Right, so we spent 300 mil. It's just, it's 150.
Capex the
You know what it was? It's the electricity bills, mate. That's why they've been
True.
running up the left.
Yeah, they're in the UK, aren't they? So,
Yeah. That's why they've overspent,
Someone
mate.
needs to talk to
Finish.
Eon, bro.
Good
Right,
game.
really
Good
done.
game, Singapore. Though we got a race on our hands at least.
Yeah.
It was a slow
fellas.
burner, but we've
So
done well.
this
at it.
is.
Got there
I'm
eventually.
I'm
Well, we
enjoying
love it
this.
because anything can happen.
And usually
I have to
usually
like
does.
no, you know what? I know you've said it already, Cam, but like Perez has been exceptional. Like he's been winning this entire race.
Really limited.
From lap 1
He has
straight
controlled
away.
it very well, to be fair.
He's
yeah.
not looked like he's put a foot wrong, apart from that little lock up a moment ago. But he's been in such good form.
Rear limited tracks. He excels around. That's his style.
It's his
Checo.
bag.
Put some respect on Checo Perez.
His ball bag.
Oh, Charles. He's
Oh,
going
just
for it,
tweak,
Charles.
Tweak.
Don't take too much out of the tyres, Charles Leclerc. Like go eat, like chill out. I think it's these moments when he kind of just needs to just rein yourself in a little
Yeah.
bit, son. You know, don't get too eager. Don't be. He's like a virgin doing it for the first time. He just needs to.
What am I hearing, mate? What am I hearing?
Just needs
Bit of a
to.
weird analogy.
Just needs to. Just take your time, son. It's. Let it.
Let it
Present
what?
itself. Let the opportunity present itself to you.
Oh, Cam, please.
I know.
Please.
Apologies.
You're just digging that one.
Waffling, bro. I love it.
Driver of the day, fellas.
No, yeah, driver of the day,
Oh,
actually. Yeah,
have
we get,
you?
yeah, actually. Who does the chat think was driver of the day? Lance Stroll. Gotta be.
Gotta be, yeah, goated. Verstappen could still get points here. He's right on the back of Magnussen now, and then if he gets Magnussen,
He will.
it's 7 seconds
catch
to get to
the-
Bottas.
Yeah, realistically. Oh, lock up again for
Stroll,
That's the same
driver
place.
of the day, yeah.
Where are these Stroll fanboys coming from? I don't understand. Where are you getting bread from? I don't get it. Huh?
Yeah.
Where are you getting bread from? All these Stroll fanboys coming out
I
of
don't
nowhere.
know, but I appreciate the Stroll
Charlie's
fans coming
closer,
in.
fellas. Look at it visibly. Very, very close.
Yeah,
happening.
Perez has made a lock up into that
Yes.
that right hand
Yeah.
2 laps in a
It
row.
just feels like the Ferrari's quicker in this wetter section of Sector 3, but
but
then
then
when you
Sector 1,
need the DRS,
They
just...
push the NOS button, don't they, in that Red Bull car?
Yeah, the NOS button.
Yes, Danny Rick, boys, come on. We love that. We love to see that. Shout out Danny Rick.
No one's
Oh,
getting a
he's
penalty, by the
close.
way.
He's very, very close. Look. Oh.
Oh,
It's just not close enough.
What's the delta?
The next straight's the longer one, so that's the chance. You just need to be close. You
Yeah.
do not make a mistake.
You
You
need
need
run
to-
wide.
you
Check
need
those
to,
run wide
like,
a little
to
bit.
be on it at
You need to
this
get
part of the track.
such a good exit.
he just
on
doesn't
it, though.
quite have the pace through the first
No.
sector. That's the
No.
problem. Like, already he's too far back again now.
The exit's so
Sector gap, to be
important.
fair, he is actually quicker in Sector 1. Sector 2 is where he's losing it, but maybe it's just
Just not
those two
close
corners in
enough.
Sector 1, then he's gaining back
in
down
the
the
DRS.
straight.
Oh, it's looking tasty. This little scrap though. It's just
We have a race.
Lewis has dropped off the back of Vettel a little bit. He's still kind of
Haydon,
there,
don't
but he just
even
can't
do it.
overtake. And then Aston Martin are just playing the game. Vettel won't overtake Stroll because they both got good points here.
Yeah,
so there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
need to fight.
And whilst they're close to each other, someone like Hamilton isn't going to make a move.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
can just drag each other
Yeah.
along. Just a quick one, by the way, lads. We've got 20 minutes left of the race. I know we've got a lap counter up, so anyone not watching right now, 18 and a half minutes left till the end. We get a +1 lap after
Yeah,
as well.
+1, yeah. At least you should do.
We're not going to be far away from actually finishing a lap.
It's a white flag, isn't it?
close.
If it's a timer, has to be
White
a white flag.
flag.
To indicate final lap.
I guess so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you have it in other racing series, don't
Yeah.
you? That are done
Go
fine.
on then, producers. Why are we getting the bloody
This is
bird's
F1,
eye
mate.
view? Like, let's see the racing, surely. Like,
This is all we're gonna see now
Yeah.
for the next 20 minutes.
I'm
We're not gonna see what's
happy.
happening anywhere
I'm
else.
big mistake.
I'm happy with that. Charles
mistake
flopped
from
it.
Charles.
Oh no!
I think
He's taking it out of his tyres, hasn't he?
Oh no.
That's what's
He's
happening.
taking
See, the thing is with
These
Perez, especially during
Oh,
the
here
race,
he is.
he manages his tyres so well.
Here he is.
He never has. these.
Strategic 200 IQ Mattia Binotto.
Okay, so Charles,
A
we're
little bit
thinking
too deep
about
there.
bidding for the software. Let us know. Plan X.
Plan X.
That's so true. What a
Slow
clown.
button on. Stop the car.
Yeah, he's taking it out of his tyres, hasn't he, Sean?
Exterminate our championship
1.3.
He's taking it too much out of his tyres.
Verstappen,
1.4.
He had the go.
distance,
He had the
can
go.
get P10.
Yeah.
Could maybe even get more than that as well. Gasly's there for the taking. Even Hamilton.
Gasly could jump out of the way realistically as
Yeah,
well.
I
But
don't know whether he would though, because there's lots of talks he's going to Alpines. Does he really care anymore about
No,
doing
he doesn't care.
the job
did he
for them?
care that much anyway in
To
the
be fair,
first
he
place?
has done. He has done in the past. I remember
jumped
Qatar.
No, when he was on
last
the
year, he got out of the
payroll.
way.
Oh, yeah, true.
Lads, everybody cares when they're on the payroll, but now, why would he?
Yeah.
No longer.
He's not invoicing them anymore.
No, he's not. He's not shackled. Free-man Pierre.
What a day for McLaren.
I know.
Fifth.
Who
Incredible.
would have thought as
Bloody
well
hell.
with Ricciardo being? Where did he start? He was-
17th.
Yeah, he was out in Q1, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So fair play,
We're qualified 17th, but he gained a position from Russell.
And he was running in the points before the safety car, so it's not
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
case of he just got the safety car and it was up into P.
He's got a bit of luck.
P5,
I mean,
like-
Stroll would be
Yeah,
fourth
yeah,
right now. If
yeah.
it was, but
also Stroll gained from it a bit as well.
Yeah.
So
Looking like a funeral on the Red Bull pit wall.
Well, not
This
Perez.
This isn't a familiar sentiment, right? Not having Max winning. They should be celebrating still, but they're not. They are not.
I think that's something that happens across. Ferrari when Carlos wins, they don't celebrate the same way as when Leclerc wins.
Well, it was like
Similar to
Bottas and-
Ferrari
Bottas
inside.
and-
or Mercedes with Bottas
Bottas.
and Lewis. I
When
remember there was like
Bottas
a
won.
camera when Bottas won in Turkey, and it pans to Toto. He sees himself on the camera. He's like,
Did he?
Literally.
Yeah.
There's a common theme about the golden boys being the ones that get all the love, and then the second driver essentially just went, "Oh, well done, good job."
hello, George on Mick.
Faster slap from Perez.
do they come together again?
Not again, lads, please.
Yeah, he's thought twice about it.
To be fair, Schumacher.
Defending like it's the
I
race
love
of his
it.
life.
I love it.
Schumacher's defending. He is very cutthroat with his defending.
Yeah,
Like,
he is.
Yeah.
Joe sent me his last lap from Hungary, and Schumacher's defense on that last lap was insane.
Yeah.
Like he was not leaving any room.
Yeah,
he wasn't
yeah.
letting you past at all.
The
George has
the
done
asphalt
He did
doesn't
manage
fall
to-
off
yeah,
the
There was a bit of
tree.
space, at least for George.
Tell you
I've
that
always
much.
said that Schumacher. One credit I give to Schumacher is he's very good defensively. It's just he's still not there yet.
But lads, what else would you expect? He has the Schumacher surname. Come on. Remember that.
I think it carries two. I'm not. I'm not
I
the
think
biggest.
a lot of
advocate
people have been a bit harsher on him. At the start of the season, yes, he was not up to scratch. Magnussen was the better driver, 100%. But it's flipped. It's a very similar situation to Zhou and Bottas. Now the car is
Yeah.
not where it is, but Schumacher is doing a lot better than Magnussen. Magnussen is
You
usually
don't
one
notice
hitting
it because
but you
that's
don't
nowhere.
notice it because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
nowhere. Yeah.
I still think is it at this moment in time a little bit overrated. Not a lot, but a little bit overrated for. And I think the name carries.
I think the
quite a
name
lot.
carries.
Yeah.
that is true. The name
Humongously.
does carry, and I think that it gets a lot of fan base, and it's overhyped
Overhyped
a little bit,
yeah.
for sure.
Until
He's not exceptional for me.
It's a tough one because it works both ways. It's like two sides to the coin. Like he ultimately gains from it in the sense that there's the notoriety of being a Schumacher, but then also gets more flack because ultimately throughout his whole
compared.
junior career, he was not.
Well, he raced under his mum's surname through his whole junior career, so that people wouldn't
know that.
look
Yeah,
for him.
yeah,
so
yeah,
there wouldn't
yeah.
be that spotlight on him.
Yeah. But he was, it's a tough one because he didn't really show at any point during like junior series that he was going to be, a champion, like a multi.
he always
F1
took like a
champion.
while, didn't he? Like F2, F3, always took like second seasons. Max
But I
makes
think
his
he's a
way into
solid
points.
driver. Max passed Bottas. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised Valtteri didn't fight that, but like a point's on the line, mate. Come
Yeah.
on.
Niran, please. Bottas and Max Verstappen. Has he ever fought Max Verstappen?
Not ever in life.
I remember a lot of 2021 Lewis Hamilton pain over there.
Coulter, right round the outside. Come through, Max. It's fine.
What about
We're not
Russia when they
competing for a
both started at the back with like the
the
engine
second
penalties?
one.
He was like,
No, that's it's being
yeah,
investigated
after-
after
you know,
the
I
race.
should read more,
Just
bro.
quickly, yes. Yeah, so
And-
Sergio Perez is getting investigated after the race for the safety car infringement.
I say if you got two, that's,
Harden,
that's a
19
long day.
second gap, by the way, to Norris now.
What is going on with it? Because it's not even like Stroll. It's like right on the back of him either. The softs
Yeah.
just aren't there. That Orlando is just driving and like.
But
out
they
of his
are,
life.
because like Verstappen can put them
Right.
up
True, yeah.
You see this, right? And admittedly, the safety car has helped Ricciardo, but you see him still like he's not losing out to Stroll Vettel. That he's still holding position quite nicely. Admittedly, again on
there. No,
the
yeah,
softs.
he's fine to those guys, but obviously
19
should be
seconds
better than
is
Verstappen.
mad.
I get that.
fellas. Max on Gasly.
Yeah, that's
Up to
done.
P9.
That was quite passive from Gasly. I'm a little
Yeah,
bit
done it.
disappointed, I must
He
say.
knows. He knows not to foul that too
He's
much.
getting a bonus at the end of the month.
What was I going to say? No, you see that, but like you see that he can still drive though. Admittedly, he's had an advantage, but he still can fight. Why wouldn't a team want that?
Gasly.
No, Ricciardo, not Gasly. Ricciardo.
Because you've got to fight, but yeah, you've got a good fight on you, but fighting for 15th, does the team want that? Like, just because you've got a good fight, and one driver's fighting for P4, P5, P6, the other one's fighting for P15. Like, it's not. You can't keep that. You
Given the right
have to change something.
package though, but he'd be happily up in the top in the points every time.
Exactly, but that's the thing. They can't give him the right package. You're not just going to change the whole dynamic philosophy
what
of
I'm
the car
saying
around
is,
one driver.
if you're Haas,
Especially with the cost cap, because they can't afford to do that. They can't change the whole car completely around one
if
driver.
you're-
no, I'm
if
not on
you're-
about McLaren. I'm on about like a different team here who's got.
No, but the worst thing that ever happened to Danny Rick was Lando Norris, right? He's outperforming the car every single race. Why would you then shift the design?
No. I get that.
For the guy that's underperforming the car, you can't do that. That's not sensible.
But if he can be given a car from another team, let's say Alpine or Haas did pick him up, and then he's happy with that car, he'd perform. So I'm thinking, what's the worst thing that happened in terms of that? Or
Alpine, he burnt bridges.
No,
Switched to McLaren, he burnt bridges.
Yeah.
He switched to the same team on the other side, basically, of the river, and you know they don't want him back because of that. Haas, he comes with a big budget as well because he has a massive deal, and for him, the reason he's taking a sabbatical because I believe that if he races next season, he doesn't get the payout for his 2023 season. So if he takes a sabbatical, doesn't drive for anyone, he gets a big payout.
The bag's the bag.
But if he goes to another team, he doesn't get that. So
bag's
that's
the
the
bag.
way he's going
The
to
bag is the bag, to be fair. The bag is the bag. Ooh.
But then that also leads to some bad decisions, right? Stay at Red Bull.
But we're talking what 2014, 2016.
Yeah. Leclerc's overdriving, by the way, here.
he's
Oh,
got
massive.
that.
I've already accepted that he's not
made like
winning
3
this
mistakes
race.
back-to-back laps, so...
What's Perez saying?
I think, just being told that he's under investigation for the safety car thing. So I think that's also why he's improving his
Why would
pace.
you
and
tell
been
him
checking
that?
out.
Yeah.
Just in case he gets like a 5-second penalty, he can be like, well, I've got 5 seconds in hand and it's all right.
I feel like it's just providing a worry in your mind that you don't need. Just tell him, can you get a 5-second gap, please, just to cover some things?
Yes,
But then you'd question it. You'd be like, why? So you
Yeah.
you would just have to, unfortunately,
Oh,
say
it's
it.
close
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
ball.
pull off that band-aid.
22 seconds.
If you could just drive
so
faster, Sergio.
depressing, man.
Yeah, that is a bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was giving him his flowers earlier for gaining places, but I don't know. Maybe the softs you just can't get any temperature into them, or there's no grip or whatever. But it's a bit wild.
Charles is struggling out there.
Not
now,
so
though.
smooth. He's taking it out of those tyres, hasn't he?
Right, go on. Let's get some more rain.
10 minutes.
More rain to end the race. Everyone has to go on tinters again.
Hamilton's firmly been stuck behind the Aston
Yeah,
Martin
he's going to have
as well.
Verstappen going for the overtake.
Hamilton needs to make a move at some point. He has to make a move.
Russell retiring, I believe. Saving the engine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Russell's in, might as well.
It's a bad day in the office for him.
Bad day in office for
an L for
Mercedes.
Mercedes, to be
Yeah.
fair. This is a
pretty
track
cool
that
day.
everyone bigged up and said this is their last chance of a race win this season.
Haydon with the salt and the wound, of course.
I'm
now
feeling
Hamilton.
sorry over here.
Now Lewis might end up behind Verstappen.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to do it.
It's just a shame. I'm just hoping that maybe there's another track that they're going to be strong at to get that win. I want that win. That one win, okay? I want the one win.
He's left the pits,
Yeah,
apparently.
he's actually great. He's not retiring. I don't
No,
know why.
no, don't worry.
Fastest lap, take
Yeah,
off the
just
Red
take-
Bulls, I
yeah.
don't know.
It's not even your. I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
not even who they're fighting.
Not even
with,
your
but-
fight, is it? Realistically, they just want to be a nuisance.
Yeah.
Causing problems. Why not?
I don't want
I
peace.
just want problems.
Always. It's Toto in the back.
I mean, that Checo Perez bet is looking quite sexy now, eh? Decent
Yeah.
odds, 11-1 at the start of the race.
He's been a hot topic for a lot of people, to talk about his performance, and he's just pulled this out of the bag, and he just throws a spanner in the works where people are going, actually, no, maybe he's still got it.
He can still win a race. you know.
Yeah.
He's still good enough to win a race, but is he good enough to win the championship?
Well-
no. Bottas won races in Mercedes. You know,
I don't think that's
drivers
his
in the right car can win a race on the right day.
Mate, to that point, is Checo Perez not the perfect second?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying exactly that. I don't think that's
That's who
his
you're
job.
going to have in that second
I think his
car.
job is to make sure that they can win the constructors and just consistently get good points. And he's been doing that. And
I think the great thing about Sergio as well, he's one of those drivers that just, when those races that happen that are crazy, he's just there.
capitalizes.
He always capitalizes, and that's great to have in a big team. It's great to have in the middle, like in a mid-table side, if you like.
You need it if you want to fight for both championships.
Yeah, 1,000.
Because, like I said, you can finish first and sixth and you'll still win the title.
Yeah.
You just finish like that. Obviously, you're not going to do that every week, but if you can do that every week, you're going to win a title first and sixth.
I tell you what, he doesn't get a lot of credit for, especially if we're talking about 2021. Every time Lewis rocked up behind him on his gearbox, problems, mate.
He got credit for that. What do you mean? All I was seeing on Twitter is the Mexican Minister of Defense.
Racing hot, fair,
Abu
but
Dhabi.
firm.
Abu Dhabi defending was insane, and it was
Turkey.
completely fair.
Yeah.
It didn't force the driver off. He just closed the door. He put it in the middle of the track, drove slowly, but not too slowly that you're going to cause an incident. It was beautiful, and it worked perfectly.
Turkey
and in all fairness, that's
same.
not
And where was
the race.
Bottas doing that?
Exactly.
Not to dig up all
No,
those.
but you don't. You could not.
Yeah.
Bottas is not
just-
going to
Bottas was
provide
a
that.
perfect number 2 driver in terms of pace, but in terms of defending and trying to help out your teammate, it wasn't there.
Zero,
But in terms
mate.
of backing up the team when they were winning championships all the time, he was perfect for that. You know, he didn't have to fight with Lewis that you'd worry about the Nico Lewis situation.
Yeah,
that they had.
temperament-wise, it was never going to,
Yeah.
you know, explode into some massive argument or anything like that. But yeah.
All conversational roads always lead back to Abu Dhabi. Is so annoying. Let's move on swiftly.
I was going to use
alright, we'll
Turkey as
stop
an
it.
example for great defending.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was
remembered that we did race in Turkey, and that's where Perez was just blocking Hamilton from getting through.
days,
Just driving
yeah.
off. It was crazy. I was loving it. I can't
What
lie.
a race that was, by the way.
That was brilliant.
Max right on the back of Lewis right now. But Lewis is kind of getting pulled along by the Aston, so I think he might have a bit of a chance of holding on here because he's just got DRS from Vettel.
You should have been able to train now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think we've got our classification for the race. I can't lie. I don't think there's going to be many. Maybe Verstappen gets past Hamilton, but I don't think anything else is going to change throughout the board. Look at the gaps; they're crazy right now.
By the way, we've got Hamza asking us who we think our driver of the day is. I want all of your opinions. Who is yours?
Always feels like a cop out when you go for
Yeah,
the
you
guy
can't
who
go for
won.
P1.
I feel like you can because I think Perez has just not put a foot wrong, and that is the perfect situation for a driver of the day. Hasn't put a foot wrong.
But
if I wasn't going to go for Perez,
if you can't, let's say you can't go for Podium because he is the top driver of the
do
day.
you know what? I can't not back my boy Lance Stroll.
on
He's had a
brand.
he's had a very strong race.
Yeah.
P6, both drivers not into Q3, didn't start in the top 10, being very solid, and this is where he's probably going to put it in the wall in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Dirk, what about you?
Commentators curse.
I'm gonna hate myself for this, but I will say Lance Stroll. I don't rate
the
him.
club.
I don't.
Join us.
I don't rate him, but today he hasn't really put a foot wrong. He's been one of those drivers that's just, kind of like been under the radar, just kept quiet, doing his own
Overhated.
thing. He's
driver.
done his job well. P6 is his best position this year, and that car doesn't usually finish in the top 10. So, Lance Stroll for me.
It's a good shout. I'd love to back Lance Stroll. He's been brilliant all weekend, let's be honest. But got to give that to Checo Perez.
Give
Exactly, like Ron Seal, exactly what it says on the tin. Listen, rear limited tracks. He's nailed it again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it again.
In all fairness, he called it. He called it right at the start. He called it,
I did
but you
call
didn't
it,
back
but
it in
I
the
didn't.
prediction.
Did not in the prediction, but we don't need to talk about that. We don't need
Didn't
to
back
talk
it in my
about that.
chest.
You were put under pressure. You saw that message come through. Like, what do I say? Look through some stuff
You're
out
not
there.
wrong,
Didn't
Kate.
think
I'm
about
telling
it.
you, you're not wrong.
Saw it in the
That's
group
exactly
chat
what
on the way. Like, oh, fucking hell.
That's exactly what happened.
You
I
were
had the
running late
playbook.
for the tubes. You just had to write it
I
really
had the
quickly.
playbook.
There's no
and I
data.
Yeah, flopped it. But no, Checo Perez absolutely for
Yeah,
driving.
and I think I've got to agree. As much as I want to give it to Stroll, and in my heart I'll give it to Stroll, but in my brain it's Checo.
Clear
Like, he's
cut,
just
yeah.
been.
Join the club.
That's okay. I'm halfway in the club.
Okay.
I'm there.
I'll tip my toe
dipping
in.
in.
I'll dip my toe in.
Yeah.
Not committed to it, though.
Man, you can't say that.
You froze the chat.
Oh, my brain's
All right, Lewis is half a second off Seb. Verstappen's there as well, but
Russell's
just
got
in
that
this
fast
situation,
Yes, he does.
Russell's just a nuisance. Toto Wolff just got on the blow and was like, listen, you know who's going to hate this? Christian Horner, mate. He's going to...
George, it's
It's going to make it into drive to
Toto.
survive. When he did that,
Go for
ruined
fastest
my
lap,
day.
please. George, go for fastest lap, please. Yes, it will piss off Red Bull, yes.
It sounds like the Terminator.
I was just
He
about
does.
to say, I don't
He
know.
does.
Get to the chopper.
They're both Austrian, aren't they?
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
In positive news for Sir Lewis Hamilton fans around the world, he's still in front of Max Verstappen. Take
It
that.
just goes to show that he is the GOAT.
Yeah, conclusively.
The Red Bull's got a better car.
You're
Can't overtake.
you're just stirring the pot at this moment in time.
I love it.
You know you're going to get nibbles.
It's why I own like a merch from each team, and I just wear one.
You know what this guy did once? He wore you wore a Ferrari, shirt in Austria.
Yeah.
Carlos engine blew, and he started cheering.
I was like, Lewis on the podium.
I was like, what are you doing, mate?
Serious question though: is Sir Lewis Hamilton the GOAT in your humble opinion?
Statistically,
You can't leave this question for
1,000%.
2 minutes till the end of the race.
I know.
I grew up with Michael Schumacher when I first was getting into F1. So for me, there was a spotlight in my eyes for him. But I got into F1 properly, I think, as a lot of British people did in 2007, 2008, when Lewis came onto the scene.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, that's why I think a lot of Dutch people would be like, Max Verstappen's my GOAT, because he got them into the sport. So I think there's bias, obviously, to who you do
statistically.
support.
Statistically.
Statistically, he is as well. Like,
What do you mean? Don't do that.
Around the outside, but unfortunately, can't quite pull it off with a DRS.
Vettel's struggling a little bit now, isn't he?
Oh, come on.
And again.
Crying out loud!
Just as we called it.
He gets on the wet line, goes wide, and
Trying to make a point here.
Everyone's going to be like, so what you said about Lewis Hamilton being the GOAT?
So Michael Schumacher's the GOAT, everybody. Just to... that's poor. Got 1 minute of the race to go.
You know
Plus
what?
one extra lap, and Verstappen is through. That means he's going to get Vettel now as well. That buffer zone's gone, so...
You have to try it, though, right?
Pain. You do.
You have to
but
try it.
Yeah, on the wet line like that,
wet
it's always going to
line,
go
yeah.
badly, you know.
He didn't learn from Imola when he overtook George Russell and then put it into the gravel and got away with that one.
Yeah, he escaped that one really well, to be honest.
Lewis, what have you done? I agree. That's such a to-the-point message. What have you done?
Vettel, defend the boy. Defend him, okay?
Defend like a lion.
Hold him back for Lance Stroll.
Oh, that's a point. Yeah, true. I think he might just be okay.
I think he'll be fine. There's a lap to go.
Well,
lap to go.
there's
There's
another
another lap.
Yeah, your boy's done. Your boy's done.
But where are the leaders though? They're a little bit further around.
Yeah,
so-
they've already gone through. Like Perez has already crossed the line by now.
Yeah.
Check
like a
6-second gap
we
to
got 2
Leclerc,
laps
man. He really destroyed those tyres trying to get past.
Yeah,
him.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Sergio just had a lot of pace in hand as well.
Yeah,
And just
I
like,
agree with
The thing
because
is,
as soon as they've asked him to get that gap,
Yeah.
he's been like, yeah, safe, all right.
he's extreme. Like he's really well known for managing his tyres, and he does it. So I think
Tyre whisperer.
end of the race, he's just completely clear because his tyres are fine. He's good. So they go push, and he's like, all right, cool. Well,
Unless it's at Baku.
unless it's a Baku.
Yeah. Right, can Max get Seb then here? Going down the back straight, down towards turn 6.
I think it'd be
He's
easy, right?
not
he's
actually there.
looking.
No, not there.
It's not worth the risk. He's going to try it anyway, but it's not worth the risk.
Don't say Lewis. You just watch what happened.
Got a
I
bird's eye view. You saw what happened.
Take
he'll
it to
give
his
it a
club.
go. Nah, he's...
And Seb, by the way, not a massive fan of Max Verstappen.
Is he not?
No.
Allegedly.
I'm sure he was rooting for Max to win last season. I'm pretty sure he was.
Really?
Because they given the question in Abu Dhabi and around the drives. Obviously, Alonso was like, yeah, Verstappen. Norris wanted Verstappen, even though he said like, oh yeah, I don't know. but
Maybe he's
like, I have to
forgiven.
pick one.
Maybe he's forgiven him for the comings together that they had in previous years. I don't know, mate. Maybe.
We have ticked down to 0, by the way, on the timer. And so we are on to the final lap with Perez now 6 seconds clear. And if he gets a 5-second penalty, then he's living. But if he gets anything harsher than that after the race is done, obviously he's still under investigation for that little safety car infringement.
Is Lewis now on the back of
At
Max?
this point, he's going to get a 10-second gap, it looks like, and he's not
Or is that George Russell?
I think that's
and-
George a lap down. Yeah, I was about to say, how's that? What's going on? Yeah. Yeah, no, Perez just lapped George.
Championship game on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc back into it.
Sergio Perez back into it.
Also,
He's coming for it.
Oh, he'll be second, won't he?
Is he mathematically allowed to
No, I
actually...
think he's just behind still. I think he's still quite close.
1, 2.
Maybe not. I don't know.
By the way, we'll
Maths
see the...
is not there. Maybe I was doing the Red Bull numbers.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see the standings after the race, but
I think Checo's in second now on the back of it.
yeah, it could well
Yeah.
be. Checo just got to bring it home. He's been told on the team radio, and he's got that 7.5 second lead. He's living his best life.
Stroll.
Is Max
Bring it
Verstappen
home.
going to make a move here or not?
Yeah, well, he's about to
He's
go on to the
right.
back straight, isn't he?
Yeah, he's right on
So
his
this is going to
tail.
be his option. Maybe he was harvesting last lap, and that's why he wasn't able to make the move. But
Good exit here.
He is very close, to be fair. He's going to have the slipstream. He's got
Push
the DRS.
to the line.
Why? Oh, yeah.
Through goes Verstappen
down
on
the
Vettel around
inside,
the
yeah.
outside.
Down the inside, around the
Easy,
down the
easy.
inside for that corner.
Lovely,
Back
lovely
the
See,
stuff.
there's a 3-second gap to Stroll.
Yeah, no, your boy's fine. Your boy's fine. Stroll's keeping P6.
Say that.
Sergio Perez, for now, is keeping P1. Round the final corner,
drive.
he wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Sensational
solid
drive.
drive.
Sensational
Solid.
drive, I can't lie.
check
Leclerc
it.
in the
That
background coming P2.
P1 from the start, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Took it
Led
off the
from-
line.
Yeah, led
Took it off
from
the
turn
line.
one.
Into turn
Cracking
one
job.
and never looked back.
I wanna see this last little push from Vettel here. Is 1.7. Still trying to catch a. No, it's 3 seconds. What am I
Yeah,
talking
no,
about?
Verstappen's not catching
My
anyone else.
eyes are deceiving me.
Sainz in P3. He managed to extend the gap in the end over Lando. Must have just taken a bit of time to get those tyres up to temperature. We're waiting a while for Daniel to come in P5, but he'll be there.
Do you know what?
For
Stroll
McLaren
actually caught back up to him. 2.8
did.
seconds.
Yeah.
Make a mistake, Danny Rick. Come on. Come on.
I still don't know how he lost half a minute on softs, but we move.
That's a great weekend for McLaren, though. That's their best weekend they've had this season
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Has to be best of the season.
Yeah.
Watched it on a weekend where
I
they were
think
supposed to be
any
nowhere.
weekend that Ricciardo's up in the top 10 with Norris, then it is a good weekend.
I don't accept the slander, Haydon, mate. Don't accept it.
He was good in Monza, man. It was unfortunate, but he's finished 5th, Stroll in 6th. Yes. Perez almost runs into one of the Ferraris on the formation on the end lap, but we move. And yeah, a race of attrition. That flipping
very,
heck.
very
you
good.
14
finish the
finishes.
race, you're finishing the points pretty
Yeah,
much.
I mean, George flipping pitted about 4 times. It's more like a 13 and a half finish yesterday.
That was a solid drive, man. I'm genuinely shocked at how well Perez drove. I wasn't
that was
expecting
good,
that.
that was good.
When I was on the way here, I was like, oh man, Leclerc, Max is on the comeback to be interesting. Lewis, maybe a podium. No, Perez was just
Yeah, I honestly did not back Sergio before today. And yeah, it was a really good drive. I think one of the comments they're just saying that McLaren 4th in the constructors now.
Okay.
Obviously, double Alpine retired as well.
Yeah, it's massive for him.
Really,
How they
really.
pulled that one out of the bag?
Sensational stuff.
What's the gap between them and Alpine?
Well, you can find out here on screen. That was great timing from you.
Aston Martin jumping up past AlphaTauri.
Yeah, big weekend for them.
Close. Hell,
Shocker for
hella close.
AlphaTauri, who have not had that much pace recently as well, so that's going to be a struggle for them. But yeah,
Haas
McLaren
also
fourth.
dropping down as well. Yeah. So Haas got jumped by AlphaTauri, and then Aston Martin jumped them both.
Yeah. Wow, what a weekend for Aston Martin.
Jesus
And Red
Christ.
Bull, obviously, clear. We might as well get the Drivers' Championship as well, actually, and see how that's been affected after today's
Wow, I
race.
love that.
Max Verstappen still over 100 points clear of Charles Leclerc. But the title lives on for another day. The battle continues over into Japan. Sergio Perez up into third, well, staying third, sorry, but closer to Leclerc.
Do you know what?
Look at your boy, Lance
Do you know
Stroll
what I
up
love
to
most?
15.
Me, obviously, Tommo, who's usually on this show, he's an Albon fan, and we've been so close on points, and now we've got a big jump.
You've slapped him.
Suck on that, Tommo. Let's go. The back marker battle is won.
That marker battle has been secured by Haydon Goulash.
Goulash.
The fireworks going off here in Singapore. It's an
love to
aesthetically nice Grand Prix.
Mate, I'd
It
love to
always
go
looks
one
lovely.
day. That's my aim. A Singapore race, Abu Dhabi, and probably Mexico.
Apparently, it's a really good race to go to because you can just get the metro to go to different parts of the track as well. So you can just jump on the metro if you want to go to watch the race.
You're living the life.
So,
That's decent.
So that's your F1
decent
bucket
day out.
list. What's
Eyes
yours?
on there.
Right to me.
I'd really love to go to Imola. I've been there for GT racing, but to go there for F1 would just be incredible. Yeah, I think more like the historical tracks for sure.
Yeah. Cameron?
Silverstone paddock has to be done. Best circuit still on the calendar.
I'm on the Brits.
That was
on the Brexit.
Incredible. I've driven around there a number of times. I just want to go there.
Spa though, if you've never been to Spa, you get there
Incredible.
and it's just Eau Rouge is just a wall, and you look
Yeah,
around. You're sat in just around some trees. Some cars go past, and then you can just spot in the distance as well. Like I was down at bus stop, and I could see them flowing through Puon in the distance, and you're up at the corner with no name, and you can see the start-finish straight, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, sensational.
That's got to get done as well. Second on there.
Well, let's take a look at the predictions then. Come the end of the
on.
race,
Do we
the
have
official
to?
results.
Do we have
to see who got what? Dirk, you are our winner for
Thank you
today.
very much.
With
Thank
two
you
of your
very much.
predictions coming in correctly. The two Prancing
say.
horses, second and third. Good stuff from you.
Thank you
Dirk's
very much.
first win.
Oh,
And only win.
I'm not going to nibble.
Hayden, you got Leclerc right. I got Sainz right. Cameron, you were relatively close with none of it. Congratulations. no, it was Charles, obviously, coming in second in the end, but you had him as the winner. None of us rating Sergio Perez. We've been made to eat our words, eat our
Yeah.
predictions.
I mean, we put him in the
Scram
top
them down.
5. I almost didn't.
You.
I can't lie. I almost left him out
put him in the
top
top
5.
five. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. Honestly, really good performance from Sergio. I'm impressed by him today. he just brings that out. It's like you said, he's the perfect number 2 driver. Like he'll just bring that sort of performance out when it's needed.
George
Out
Russell,
of
the
nowhere.
fastest lap of the race as well.
Take
Who
that
actually, have we got the driver of the day yet from...
I'm not sure if there's the official driver of the day yet.
F1.
They might not have collected the votes in. The lines are
too many.
frozen.
The lines are down. And
I reckon
we are
it'd be quite
counting.
high for Sergio. I reckon the top 3 would be Perez, Ricciardo,
Stroll.
and then
Ricciardo's a shout.
I feel like Stroll should be in that top 3, but I
They
feel like
won't.
the hate
He'll just get
won't be up
overlooked.
there.
Yeah. I'd
Get
imagine it'll be
over
Leclerc.
So maybe Norris because he got that the P4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I
he's got
mean, let's be honest. Most of the positions he gained today were just due to capitalization of other people's mistakes.
that. Yeah,
There was no-
Ricciardo, the
apart
reason
from-
why I put Stroll over Ricciardo because obviously Ricciardo gained more positions. I think just because he gained massively. The safety car for Stroll came out like as he was exiting the pit lane, so it
Yeah.
didn't really gain him too much. Whereas Ricciardo gained a lot of
Yeah.
places. In all fairness, from it.
No, I can understand.
Well, your official driver of the day is Sergio Perez, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Having control of the entire thing
be.
basically
Course.
from the start. Well, let's flip it. Who's your stinker of the day?
Oh.
The worst howler of the day.
Latifi, I mean, just squeezing Joe into the wall. Like, how dare you? How dare you throw my
bloody
man
dare you.
into the wall like
Yeah,
that?
wouldn't have it.
So, yeah, I got to go Latifi.
that was dumb.
Latifi.
You just all I had to do is look left at the mirrors. That's it, and he was fine. But he just
I can't lie, lads.
squeezed and squeezed and squeezed.
I can't lie, lads. Cameron, you're not going to like this, but I think there's a shout for
Lewis.
Yeah,
I think as well.
Lewis, I can't lie.
he's put it in the wall at
Much as I hate
third,
it.
and then he's made the mistake as well, overtaking Seb. Like it's a bit of a, it's
He was
a
in
bit
a
of a poor day at the
solid
office.
position there.
I can't argue. Niran, as much as I want to, he's had a bit of a mare. He has had a bit of a mare. I don't know if I'd put him a donkey of the day. Latifi. That might be a bit of a reach, to be
Yeah, no,
fair.
it's just a shout, but it was a poor.
I agree with you.
I don't
So
know,
Lewis
you
has
could
had
also maybe throw Verstappen into that shout as well, because the big lockup on the overtake on
Yeah,
Lando
yeah,
Norris
that was-
cost him
that was
what I reckon he was on for a podium for sure. P3
Yeah.
was there in the bag.
got a bit eager.
And maybe even further up as well. He could have joined that Leclerc-Perez fight. If he
That is
just
true. That
wasn't
is
too
true.
eager.
He'd probably overtake science, in my opinion, if he didn't
Yeah.
actually make that mistake. So
I was backing for the podium and worried for my prediction.
we would have actually had some good predictions there if Max had just kept it together. Russell is the only
Started at
answer
back
as well.
He started at
Yeah.
the back of the grid. They used him as a guinea pig for the mediums. I don't think
He did crash into Mick Schumacher in pretty terrible circumstances.
And
know what I mean?
that
He
as
did put
well.
on a show though with the drifting. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
when the
true,
race got a bit
true,
boring.
true,
How,
true.
how is everybody pouring water on himself, but Carlos looks like he's just stepped off the bloody... It looks like he's just stepped off a model
Beautiful
set,
man,
doesn't he?
dude, honestly.
What's going on there? Everybody's like down, like water, like sweating, and he just looks like...
He's had a good day in the spa.
He looks like he's
had
ready
a
to
dip
go
in the
again.
ocean. Yeah,
He looks like
yeah,
he's ready to go another 61 laps. What's that about? And Charles, to be fair.
As much slander as we give Ferrari, a P2, P3 today is a
Good job.
very good result.
It
for them.
is, but they did have pole, so they have technically bottled the win
Yeah,
again.
but
Just
they
about to
when
say.
they start on pole, they don't like it. They're like, we've got pole. That's going to give us the most.
said-
points. We don't need to win.
That F175 doesn't like to launch very well. There is something inherent in that design concept. We'll see it again. Charles will nail it on pole, and then he won't get a good launch. It's
Yeah.
happened before. It will happen again, I promise.
Damage mitigation, basically, at this point, getting pole. We're not going to lose a position. May as well cover it somehow.
Charles looks happy, at least, that for the podium.
Yeah.
Good
Charles
news
just wants
story.
to sleep. Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
finished. Obviously, this is the most grueling race on the calendar
Yeah,
in
he
terms of
said.
humidity and heat and just general race distance, and it was the longest again today. We literally went through the full 2 hours because of the wet. Sergio's loving his life.
Well, I know
Even if
Sainz
he's
said that he trains. The only race he trains for is Singapore because if you're prepared for Singapore, you're prepared for every race on the calendar.
Yeah.
Smart, to be fair. Smart way of
That's
doing it.
actually, work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. I like that
Apart
from
from-
him.
I mean, it
By
is kind
doing
of
that,
working hard
you are
though, isn't
working
it?
You are literally working hard as well, yeah, to be fair. Yeah, I hear that.
I rate it.
Smart and hard. Pause.
Whoa.
Whoa.
4th career win in Formula One.
It feels like you should have more than that. To me.
Because it's had Abu Dhabi, Monaco, last season.
No.
Checo Perez.
Checo Perez wanted Abu
Are
Dhabi
you
last
having a
season.
laugh?
Sorry.
What?
No,
Last
that
season?
was-
What are you talking
Two seasons ago,
What are you
before it signed
talking
for Red Bull.
about?
Which race?
Bahrain.
Was it Bahrain?
Bahrain,
Bahrain.
yeah.
Right, listen, there's confusion between these night races. My head gets flogged. But yeah,
You can't just merge the Middle East together and just say it's the same thing. All right? You can't
don't
do
put
that.
words in my mouth.
Can't
Man.
do
That's
that.
not what I said.
Can't be doing
Baku,
that.
and then
Baku, Bahrain, Monaco,
and-
this, yeah.
Yeah.
I always say Abu Dhabi though. No, I always say it. I always get those two mixed up. Not just that win for Checo. I always
They're both very
track,
warm.
yeah.
They both. You go outside at night and it's still
And
40
it's still
degrees.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abu Dhabi last year was outrageously hot.
You went in the winter.
It was
over here.
December and it was quite literally 35
I went in the
degrees every
summer
day.
and it was just. I come out at night and it's 40
Just for the
degrees.
avoidance of doubt, you do know what happened at Abu Dhabi last year, right?
No, I wasn't on about last year. I was on about
Oh, 2020.
Oh, 2020.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Force
before,
India.
before,
Sorry,
before
yeah,
it was
yeah.
signed
Cool.
with the upside down cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's the thing. That's the I think with Sergio, you kind of you think he's got more wins than that, but he's only just had he's only just arrived in a race-winning car.
Podiums wise, he's got so many.
Yeah, he's got a decent amount of those, but
He looks chuffed, doesn't he?
as you can see, Drivers'
Peacocking.
Championship there again. George still up in P4 despite a bit of a disaster class. Sainz in P5. Then Lewis 70 points clear of Lando, who's still easily best of the rest. And Ocon P8 kind of just slips under
That's
the
what I'm
radar. I
saying.
feel.
Like,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's because again he had such a good start to the season when the Alpine was clearly best of the rest.
Yeah,
and then Alonso
Yeah.
just had so many technical issues that he's just lost out when he's been able to. Like Australia, for example, he could have had pole. He was nearly on
Mate.
the pole, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
there was a problem with the car, and it went in the wall.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I feel for Fernie. I do feel for him. He's
It is
been
unfortunate. It
he's
is
been very unlucky. Brilliant driver still. Questionable man.
Yeah. And as we mentioned, McLaren now above Alpine in the Constructors' Championship by 4 points. Well clear of the rest.
Tight battle.
Big hit for Mercedes when they were looking at maybe getting P2 in the constructors.
Why, Aiden?
I'm sorry.
Why are you
man.
bringing it
Just
back
gotta-
up?
We've got to call it out. Like this was a great chance for them to capitalise on that. You know, they're one of the teams that are probably pushing this cost cap thing, and they're having words with Ferrari, just like
Yeah.
come back us. Like we'll win last year's championship, and then you can win this year's championship, and then they'll probably at the end of the season overtake Ferrari and be like, sorry, didn't mean to take that from you. But
And by the way, actually, Aidan, it's worth mentioning,
hello.
exclusion is an option, right? If you look at the punishments that they can hand out for a
is.
material breach of the cost cap, exclusion from last year's championship, that is on the table depending on what the cost cap adjudication panel decide.
well, we have seen it before in Formula One. McLaren back in
Yeah.
2007.
Michael Schumacher.
when he decided to crash
97.
into Villeneuve. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Lewis Hamilton is the go over Schumacher. He didn't win a championship
never
by
happen,
crashing
right?
into others.
What's the cameraman
You need
doing?
to,
He's just
you
like,
need to
oh,
ask Mark
That's
Vlogs
the
to
Perez
stop
girlfriend.
watching races.
Fair enough.
You need to ask Mark Vlogs to stop watching races for you, mate. It looks like that's where the issue lies.
Charles has 9 poles with 3 wins.
Every time I watch a race, it's the
His
worst
percentage is
race.
so low of conversion.
I'm pretty sure it's more poles than that. Is that
I
just
think
this
it's 10.
season?
I think it's 10 this season.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
mad.
That's
The
just this
conversion
season.
is- Oh yeah, because he's got more wins, doesn't he? As well.
He's
than
literally
3,
only won like,
Yeah.
but he's only won like 5 races. I'm pretty sure.
10 second.
No, I don't think it's actually a 10-second penalty for Perez. We would have heard
They
about
just,
it by now.
he just
What
What was the
messes
gap
us.
between?
You can't meddle with us like that in the chat. Come
What was
on.
the gap between Leclerc and Perez?
7
7.5.
to 8. Yeah.
So if it does, there's a 10-second penalty for a safety car infringement. It'll be 5,
Depends.
won't
I
it?
don't know. There's a safety car infringement. Like if you catch up to a safety car at full speed, that's a GT car with a Formula One car. That's dangerous.
That
Man.
is
I mean,
That is
so
dangerous.
basically what happened, like the safety car was like, obviously, you know, the entrance
pit
to
entry,
lane
yeah.
in Singapore, like you're in the pit lane, but you're not like, there's no wall in between or whatever.
Yeah.
And he overtook before the safety car actually got into.
I don't know. I don't see it.
I don't think it is that. It might just be lack of bunching up because, again, there was no.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a bad thing because you don't have to. Like
Yeah,
you
that's not his-
dictate.
that's-
the
You
speed.
dictate, you become
So-
the safety
yeah,
car. That's
so
the
if
thing.
you
So I'm not
decide to
entirely
go
sure what I would've
early
thought.
or
Yeah.
whatever, but if he's gone too early, then
You can, you can
Ripperino.
realistically choose.
These
what you
cool
like.
down conversations, always
nah,
the
10
best.
seconds is not going to catch up that much.
Just they've calmed down, to be fair.
Mate, I love
used to be
these
worse.
cool down conversations. I
It's
just
lovely.
proper insight into what
Was that
man.
one of Lewis where he was just lying on the floor?
true. Yeah.
What happened in the restart?
I did miss these when they like just obviously because of COVID and all that they didn't bring it back, and when they brought it back it was just so good because the best moments have been in the Kvyat, Vettel, Massa, Alonso,
Mate.
the
Rosberg,
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 Hamilton.
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
been so
Hackgate.
many good moments, but
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Holston as well.
Where
when
Multi-2
Rosberg
one
and
was,
Hamilton were first
born,
working
wasn't it?
together back in the
I
day.
tell you what, I don't like when bloody. I love Brundle and I love Crofty, but when they talk over the cool down, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
you're
just wanna
showing
hear
it.
what's
I
going
want
on.
to hear what
Yeah.
they're saying.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I want to hear when two drivers are getting angry with
Yeah.
each other and
Yeah,
having
yeah.
about. And I'm so glad that this is back as well. Fans on the track.
Agreed. Yeah,
Although
it's great.
running at Belgium, I don't know what happened this year, but they only wanted to open it at turn 1. I had to run the whole start-finish straight and then run it back.
Just to get to the
I was
podium. Yeah, yeah.
dead. I am not a fit man. I struggle big time.
Just leave
man.
Fenn behind.
Huh?
You just left them behind.
Well, basically, we got stopped off by a gate, and there was a guy next to me who was just like, if we push through this barrier, because we can just open it, will you come with? And I was like, yeah, but we all have to go, because otherwise they just stop one. So he barged through, we all went through, and I was looking around for my girlfriend. I was like, where are you? She was just miles back. Like, I found her 2 friends before she got through, and then I was like, okay, you're all safe, nothing's happened to you. There's your friends. I'm going to go to the podium now.
I'm sprinting. I'll see you in a bit.
I am running.
I was like, because I was worried that
Belly
something
down.
might have happened to her in that crowd. So I was like, okay, I'll check. And she was all fine. So I was like, right, see you later.
Right, well, solid race there. A bit of a slow burner. What are we rating it out of 10, that one?
All right.
Because it was terrible for the first
For the
half.
company of watching this race, it's a 10 out of 10.
Hey, come on. You're too kind.
There you go.
I'd have given Dirk at least a 7. But.
Yeah, true.
I was
see
going
too
to say
much of
something I
him.
can't say on here. But it's fine. It's fine.
what do you rate
I'd
it?
give it an 8, if only for the few laps that we got between Charles and Checo. I thought that was really decent racing, notwithstanding the fact that Charles ultimately took too much out of the tyres, but I think he had to do it. I enjoyed that. 8 out of 10 from me, man.
Yeah,
Decent.
I thought it was decent. I'd probably give it a 7 just because the first half was a bit dull, and also I would have liked a little bit maybe more of a battle between Perez and Leclerc, but Perez just had pace in hand. So yeah, difficult one. Sergio loving his life on the podium.
Where's his dad? I want to see his dad.
No, being hysterical somewhere. Just like, wait,
I want to be. I want to be at the after party. The Checo Perez.
Those
It's
tequila.
not
I
a
got the
repeat of the monitor.
tequila.
that was my reference.
Get the tequila out. Right, well, I think that's about it for today's show. Here at the Singapore Grand Prix. You'll be able to catch us again next week live for the Japanese Grand Prix, and it's an early start, all right?
You're going to be okay getting up there.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that one, mate. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to need to get the
race.
coffees out. It's 6 o'clock start.
You might as well just stay up.
Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, I might as well go out on Saturday. No, it's a 6 o'clock start, and we'll be live from 5:30 here on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the show and you want to see more and you want to see next week's show. We've also got a podcast coming out on Tuesday, which will be great stuff. So yeah, until then, thank you everybody for coming down. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Thank you for
soon.
inviting me. It's been fun.
Yeah,
Really
it's been quality, great race, and we will see you next time. Adios, guys.
Bye.
Peace.